Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Digital TCG podcast. I'm your host Lumus Digital. Today I have joining me the usual suspects. We've got Trevor, Adam, because we call you Adam. I want to call you Shadow, but everyone else calls you Adam. I've noticed it in the video, so I'm just going to say Adam.
Cool, hi.
We have Shiro and we have Amy. Today's main subject we're going to get into in a bit. We're going to be talking to Banlist predictions kind of thing, talking about what we feel should happen to the Banlist, what cards should be hit, what cards should come off. This will be for Digimon primarily. We might touch Yu-Gi-Oh! At the end and stuff, because like I say, we do various other cards games and that. Okay. Four of us play. Not well. I said might.
You just know shiny cardboard.
I mean,
Yeah.
you say not well.
One of us plays it well.
Hi.
Guess who?
I am still undefeated.
Technically, I am, because I've never played before.
You're not wrong.
I have one win and one draw.
So, before we get into the main subject of Banlist stuff, just quickly touch base. Since the last podcast, anything big been going on? Any local-wise, any funny plays, anything?
Do you want to talk about your online tournaments?
I played in 2 Ultimate Cups. So over the past 2 weeks, I played in, I think it was No Heroes Online Ultimate Cup, and I got 1 win and all the rest were losses. Then I played in the Organized Play Events Ultimate Cup, and I got 1 win and 1 draw, so we got improvements.
Really don't look good on this channel.
Yeah, also, in terms of by the time this video's out, last week would have been the Demon Lord deck. By the time this podcast is out, and obviously that'll be last week's video. So by then that deck's been taken apart.
Yeah, no, it's taken apart now, yeah.
You've made a profile, it doesn't exist anymore.
I'm gonna be honest, guys, like, if you've seen that profile, I immediately took that deck apart as soon as filming was over. I like that deck. We need to lose some on cards out of it, I'm sorry.
We have plenty.
I still have the rest of the cards, I can put it back together anytime I want, but yeah.
Between the last podcast and now, me and Trevor, we played in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Regionals.
Yeah, we decided to renege on our deal.
I was helping Lucas out.
Yeah.
Excuses.
Look, if he had one Lebellion himself, I could have kept to my end of the bargain. So we went, and we didn't actually go to win. The entire idea was we were going to go as just have fun and
Ruin someone's deck.
try and steal a win or two from people wanting to win. That was the idea. So originally I was going to go with Dragoonity. That deck profile is on the channel of the finished thing. I was going to go with that, but at the time I didn't have any extra Lebellions, and a friend of ours that went with us called Lucas, he wanted to play Dragon Link. It was his first ever regionals, and I thought it'd be best to help him put his best foot forward, so I was like, right, I'll lend you the Lebellion, which meant my Dragoonity deck was then unplayable because I didn't have Lebellion. And the only other person that had a spare Lebellion was this man, who also lent it to Lucas because Lucas had 0, he needed 3, and I had 2 and he had 1. So there was no extra Lebellions going.
Another deck.
Yeah. The entire time for me that day, every round was different. I didn't go against the same deck twice, which was quite shocking to see, because I want to say
Wish I could have said that.
on a rough ballpark from when I was looking around, I want to say about 50% of the player base top was playing the same deck of Tenpai, and I only seen that deck once.
I've seen it 2 times in a row.
I was there. I didn't play, I was there. I watched a lot of people play it against other people. It looked the same every time. It looked so boring.
Oh, it does. But no, ultimately I got 2 wins in the regionals. One was against Lucas, and another one was against another friend of ours playing Altergeist.
Looking after him and then beat him, you know. Yeah. Totally.
The deck I actually ended up taking was Sword Soul, and the entire day.
Yeah, sleeve.
It's not even meta. It's completely off. It's not even meta.
I can't argue that.
Shiro, is it meta?
It is meta.
There you go. He's the expert.
Oh, Shiro,
You've been told.
I'm our expert. But no, honestly, like,
He's undefeated.
You only play meta decks, man. Come on.
right now, if you were to go to people's tier list, like they'll go to Sword Soul, I'm like, yeah, just don't touch it this format. Like Sword Soul's one of the worst decks you could play this format, and I played it.
To be fair, I kept with our original deal.
You did, but like I said, I had reasons why I couldn't. I really wanted to, but I will say the entire day I was playing, all I was going through my head was, I wish I brought Dragunity, or I wish I brought Salaman Greats. But my Salazar I did not touch. You, on the other hand, probably took...
The majority of players were just like, what the fuck am I playing?
Honestly, out of any fun deck idea we can come up with, you probably took the most funniest to have fun deck available.
Which is Lightsworn Skull Servant.
Yeah.
60 card pile of just, I'm going to take my deck and I'm going to put it in the grave.
Where majority of these casual fun decks, they die to a single hand trap. But it's like, for example, when I was going to take Dragunity, I get Kadurg on field, and it's like, right, cool, Kadurg effect, they go Ash Blossom. That's the entire deck now shut down unless you've got an extender. Well,
to stop me.
You go Charge of the Light Brigade, mill free as cost. They could still go Ash Blossom and Assertion. You go, cool, I got what I wanted, which was the mills. That's going to trigger more things now, and just keep popping off.
It's fine. I took 1-1 off a Snake Eye deck.
So you did
good enough for us.
I did beat him out of the deck. I put Tempai, lost both them. Then went Snake Eye, beat that. Then went into Mimigul.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. So I seen Mimigul for the first time that day, and honestly, I thought Mimigul was.
There was actually a group of spectators around us watching Skull Servant Lightsworn versus Mimigul. It was like going to time, and it was just the most hilarious matchup ever.
Trevor's normally doing that when it comes to card
always. But everyone always wants to watch Trevor.
But no, honestly, looking at Mimigul that day, and like when I watched Lucas do a practice match against him before the tournament, I'm looking at Mimigul and I'm like, oh, this guy's just come with another have fun deck. That's what I thought it was the entire day. And I remember coming home, and it was a day or two later, I was watching someone's like tier list of meta and stuff. Mimigul was pretty high up, and I'm like, oh, it's actually a relevant deck. Okay.
Yeah, they beat me with 3 seconds in the clock by declaring battle phase.
The entire time, I remember like we were all watching that, and like everyone around this dude was looking at the match. Look at the clock. Look at the match. Look at the clock.
He was like, just watching.
Is this about to go to time? Is he about to screw it up? And the dude playing Mimigul the entire time is like,
they're not even looking. The clock's up here. He's
just do this play. Yeah, okay, gonna do that now. Go battle phase. That's time on round. I'm in battle phase attacks. Like this dude didn't even look. Just like just 6 cents.
Bear in mind, he also dropped a
timer going off in his head.
He dropped 3 hand traps against me turn 1 to stop me playing.
He was just Dr. Stoning.
We should also probably
just
because Shiro he is new to playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Has no one actually told you how time procedure works, have they, for Yu-Gi-Oh?
There's a chain.
No. So time procedure in Yu-Gi-Oh. It used to be the thing where, like in Digimon, there was a certain amount of turns. Well, eventually that.
Oh, you mean when you go to time?
When you go to time,
yeah. Okay.
So that used to be. So it used to be a thing where there used to be a set amount of turns and stuff like that. But eventually, people were staying till midnight at tournaments because of time. Like that's how long decks were. Like they were like, no, we're going to do something about this. So they eventually fixed it. So time at the moment is to the end of the current phase.
Highest life points.
So if it's like Trevor's turn and he's in main phase 1 and time's called, he has his entire main phase. The moment he tries to exit that phase, that's the end of the game.
At that tournament, there was 3 minutes.
Well, there was 3 minutes.
If the results were down 3 minutes, it was a double loss.
Normally there isn't.
Normally there
isn't. I didn't know that.
Well, no. Sorry, it was normal time. You had 3 minutes from time being called to put your results in.
Otherwise, it was a
double loss. So still normal time procedures. But the way how time is done for who's winner is just whoever's got the highest life points. So if you're both on the same, it's a draw. If you can somehow during your phase adjust the life points and then go to end it, so that's why there's people playing the side decks called time cards. So like this guy plays.
Oh, that's the thing.
I was playing 3 bugs, like increase my life points by
to gain 1,000
1,000.
life points, and then most life points are higher than his opponents. And
If I mill them from deck, I just gain 1,000 life points. It's great.
it's why people play them, because there are people that play for time.
Well, you have to have time cards. If you don't, you're not playing into
This
the
is what
We
makes
love
it.
a spooky dogwood.
So this is what makes it
We
so
love
impressive.
spooky
That
dog
3
winning,
seconds
you
of the
bell.
clock, the guy calls battle phase. If he didn't call battle phase when he did, and time was called, the moment he tries to enter battle phase, the game's over. And at that moment in time, you were higher on life points.
I was high enough points, yeah.
But because he called battle phase and then time was called, he's allowed to do all of his attacks because it's still the current phase.
Bear in mind, he hand trapped me into Oblivion, so I had literally nothing on
Yeah.
my board apart from a couple of defensive cards, and that was it.
That's what made it rather impressive. Like, the dude just didn't look at the clock once to kind of go, do I have time for these moves? And just went, now's the good time to go battle phase. And then time was called. It's like, this guy's just purely looked into this.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, but oh my god.
The other 2 rounds was against Snake Eyes, which I lost to. That was very close, actually. And then the last round was against Altergeist as well,
Yeah,
which I drew.
He was
Because we were going into the 3 minutes, coming up to the 3 minutes of time on time, and we were like, still haven't seen a bug. I think I'm out of mills now.
So, you've done a online
I did
regional?
a Digimon regional.
Yes, how did
And I
that
played
go?
against Blue Hybrid 5 times, and I never want to see it again, and that's the end of it.
Hi.
No, he didn't play against you.
I wish you would.
Don't need to talk about that no more. So that's all.
This boy hybrids, forget it. It's been there, done that.
Yeah.
Essentially, you got what I had at Glasgow, where it's just like, I've seen this deck so many times.
So yeah, I just had your deck.
The biggest issue with the whole tournament is we got told there was top 120 at prizing. So I played all 8 rounds to get a top 128, and then they told us there was no top 120.
At the very end,
So
they're like, it was a miscommunication, we're sorry.
Yeah,
It's like, piss off.
no, because honestly, the thing is, like, even at Glasgow, people were asking, is it top 4 or top 8 for the Omnimon? Because on this particular section of regionals, they've got one set of prizing for like standard, and another section of prizing for once you hit November.
yeah.
So it's just like when November hit, like, okay, from November onwards,
Goes down
it's
to 4.
like to get the Omnimon, you've got to get top 4 instead of top 8, and then like they adjust all the other stuff. So like to get top 128 prizing, the tournament has to have more than 256 players. If it's got 256 or less, then there is no top 128 prizing.
Yeah, the vagueness about that is why people got confused, because we were at exactly 256, but on Bandai's website it says 256 or higher. So
Yeah.
people assumed that if you were at 256 you'd get top 120, but no, it's only if it's like a 500 and whatever format, whatever.
Yeah.
The size above 256.
Yeah, the next round of Swiss.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Like your Ultimate Cup would have applied for, because I think it was up to 300 and something.
384, I think, was the
I
max
didn't
amount
realise
of
your
players.
Cup had that many players.
No. That was the max amount of players they were able to have.
Okay.
There was 125 when we started. So, 128 was easy business.
Nice. GG.
Played no rounds, got 128.
No, obviously you've done 2
Played
Ultimate.
one, got 128.
You've obviously played 2 Ultimate Cups and stuff. So to quickly go into this, before we go into the subject of Banlist, what did you play in the first Ultimate Cup?
What deck did I play?
Yeah.
Shine, because Shine altar cards is prize.
Yeah. What did you play in the second Ultimate Cup?
Lucemon.
Okay. And
Wanted to play Purple Hybrids. Purple Hybrids didn't get built in time.
What's the one artwork you care about from the Ultimate Cup?
I had a look again. I actually do care about the rises. They're the BT13 rises. I didn't realise that. I thought they were the BT12 ones.
Well, even now, we're going to say Geo, which is top 64. Have you got top 64 yet?
No.
Okay. So try again next time.
Wow.
Well,
that's
actually,
fast.
No.
Actually, to be fair, I never looked at my placement from the last one I did, but I really doubt I got top 64.
You can borrow
On
one
the
more
bright
deck.
side, you only need to get one Geogre.
Yeah, you only need to get one.
That's
That's a good point.
That is the plus side.
Look, there's more in February.
Until
I'm
it's
going to do the
until
9th.
it's unrestricted.
My birthday's on the 8th, and then I'll have an Ultimate Cup on the 9th. I'll be fine.
You can borrow one of our decks if you want. Mine would do better.
By then you'll have don't worry. By then you'll have Purple Hybrid.
I was going to say I could just take a Pilger. Just
become
I've
a
offered him in
meta
Pilgrim. I'll be honest though, Purple Hybrid's probably the way to go.
I'm going to be honest.
There was so
I
much
would-
purple.
The decks
I remember seeing it on the tournament.
The decks I saw last week, well, like it'll be a couple weeks ago now. Like that Ultimate Cup I played Lumus, the decks I saw were so.
You also, I will say, so in fact I'll say this in a moment. What deck were you playing for your regional?
The Omnizone.
Omnizone?
But the EXO set or BT 2.0 wasn't legal,
Fair.
so I could use Shadow Seraphi, so it was very solid.
But yeah, something I was very I don't know why it shocks me, because I mean it does make sense, especially when like I've looked at Japan meta so much time, like advanced and stuff, and it was a thing at the time, but still seeing Magnemon around, like I say,
Still a good deck.
I remember like so your second Ultimate Cup, you're like, hey, they're streaming it, and I didn't tune in straight away, and I remember being like, okay, this whatever I was watching time, I was like, I'm bored of this. Oh, there's a stream going this Ultimate Cup, let's pull it up, and like I pulled it up, and it's. First of all, I recognise the name. It was the guy that normally runs the online NCG tournaments and that normally wins them. Will. I seen him playing because I seen his name in replay and stuff, and I was just like, all right, cool. I know that. And I was watching Digimon to Magna X. I'm like, I'm shocked to see Magna in this tournament.
I don't know why
Still a
Magna
good
isn't
deck.
talked about anymore. Like,
It's just
so
kind of
big and just
it's
weird.
it's still the same. Like
Yeah.
in reality, it's kind of got power crept.
It hasn't been innovated since like BT17.
I played against Blue Hybrids Magnax, and it was the most horrible thing we were playing against.
You won't let me remind Axis. You won't let me remind Axis.
Shiro has spoken.
You
I'm
just
not
straight
gonna
up-
lie.
Yeah, I remember.
I was
played
tempted to
the
bring
Magna
Magna
X
X tonight. I
line.
decided against
Yeah.
it.
You play Magnax line, and you run 4 promo Lubimons and 4 ancient Guru.
I mean, like, that works.
Ancient Gurumons.
Yeah.
And you just go into Magnax, and then every single turn off that, you just
Lobo.
Lubimon, ancient
Ancient.
Gurumon.
Lobo.
Security,
ancient-
game protection. Yeah.
Careful with
And like when
Magna.
I played against it, he did it every single turn, and in my head it's like, is this guy running like 6 of these? Because
Don't forget the
Like,
Canadian
like
bag.
that.
I asked to look at his trash and everything. I was like, how the hell is he getting these every single turn?
But
You knocked out, does
There was at one point in my Ultimate
You don't
Cup,
even attack with
I
it.
was playing against Mirage.
Don't need to.
And
that's
they
the
did a
problem
bunch
with
of
that
effects.
card.
I had like, they went into burst mode, did the things to put me down to 8 cards, and then they hit a card in my security, which made me play a Lumus, which made me trash a card in hand, and then they went, okay, cool, sweet, whatever. They didn't care. They went burst mode, swing, tap Thomas. We both draw one. Burst mode effect again. I went, you don't get that. I'm at 8 cards. They're like, but you just drew. I'm like, yeah, I drew to 8 cards. And they didn't understand why, but they didn't ask. They didn't ask at all. I'm just like, if he asks, I'll just be like, remember I trashed a card, because Lumus said trash a card. And then they were just like, okay. And then they just proceeded to do other Mirage stuff.
They just proceeded to win with Mirage.
But
Well, as we say though, like it's like you say, Magna's not talked about more often. Like you say, first of all, it has just kind of been solved. It like the people know, like almost every variant of the deck, people kind of know, like okay, like
What you need.
There's Imperial Magna, there's normal Magna, there's
Vaccine Magna.
people still trying to do vaccine Magna and stuff. Like it's kind of been a solved deck, but in terms of like it, one of the things I feel like it's not talked about that much anymore as of like an idea to take to a tournament, like, hey, I want to do well, I want to play the meta. I was like, the idea of Magna being that deck, I feel like is less talked about now.
it's still
And, like,
just what it's always been, which is a gatekeep. It's just a gatekeep.
Yeah, and it's just
deck.
like it feels like it has faded. In reality, it hasn't. Like it's still very good, it's very solid. It just feels like it has just faded into the background of existence. Like
it's
with
so
people are
weird.
just forgetting about
I
it.
feel like a lot of people keep playing newer and newer stuff, and because like it hasn't really seen anything, it just kind of doesn't get seen as much.
Yeah, the
it's-
last thing I seen was the Flame Digimon promo.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. So like without new cards coming, it just kind of
I think
At the same
Magnax,
time, it got
slowly-
Paladin mode. The thing is, it's just like
it's just a tier 1 deck, but people are bored of it. So like,
yeah,
they're just
exactly.
trying- they're
People are just
trying
playing
all
other
new
stuff. It's just
Yeah.
like they feel like they're stronger on the other decks than they are
it's
now.
kind of like BT11 format where Metal Garurumon wasn't any worse than it was the past few months.
It just felt
It
like
just
it wasn't.
wasn't played.
It felt like the same
I
stuff
think
again
it'll
and
get a
again and again. I was debating playing it today, but Argo chose
I mean, the
Nasty.
the funny thing is, like I say, I was honestly earlier today debating a play about Magna today, and by the time I was packing my bag and stuff, I completely forgot about it. So I only went with 2 decks. And I'm like, Can't remember what to play.
Okay. Then next locals, I'll play Melga, you'll play Magna, and everyone will be like, what the fuck's going on?
Now we got about, I'll take Wargray X, you take Mel. It's like, what, to bring this back to BT9, lads?
Put Alpha back together, yeah.
Okay,
lads.
Yeah.
Let's get on.
I mean, Machine Mon's still beating that as well.
So, are we going to go over
We'll
what's
go
on
over the ban list first,
Yeah.
then we'll go over this. So we'll go over the active list, if it should stay on, if it should come off and stuff, things like that. So like I say, we're going to go into the main subject of the ban list and stuff. Like I said, to my primarily Digimon, if the only reason we'd go into Yu-Gi-Oh! If it's a matter of like this somehow only takes like half an hour. Unrealistically it won't, but you know what I mean? Like, if we need to fit
I don't think we'll go over the Yu-Gi-Oh! Current list.
Oh no! That's gonna be off the top of the head subject. That's not gonna be. Let's look at the list.
Ban Ash Blossom.
Yeah.
I feel like
Hey,
but that's
he's
not the point.
undefeated. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'm actually a judge.
Wow,
He
we
reads
are
his cards.
judges.
He reads his cards.
So first thing, just because they are the newest stuff, promo Ukamon, it's staying there.
Yeah.
Oh, forever.
It's,
I don't think any of us disagree with that.
No,
it just
never.
feels so good when you
it
do
does.
it.
It needs to stay there, and honestly,
If it went to zero, would anyone cry?
I feel like a few people would.
Honestly, I'd rather the other one like dropped to match it rather than them drop that one to zero.
I do, and I'm guessing it's probably on that list somewhere.
It's actually not. I think the other one is fine.
Okay.
I feel like to stop the idea of Rookie Rush and to... Because I still feel like just... The problem I see with Ukamon is not the idea of... With the promo, it wasn't the gain of memory, and with the B16, it's not the searching. Both of them, the problem is the hatch.
I feel like as
the
well.
immediate raise hatch.
Yeah,
because that just
Yeah.
means
It does.
the moment you get one on board, I feel like if you can keep it, if you can, obviously, the moment Uko hits the board, it's a target for everyone.
Yeah.
So, but if it stays, immediately you're always, for every turn it stays, you're 2 turns ahead of your opponent, because your opponent has to go hatch, Digivolve, next turn raise, next turn hatch, Digivolve.
Yeah.
Where with
feel-
Ukomon, it's just raise hatch, Digivolve, raise hatch.
I feel it being
constantly going.
zero
Yeah.
cost as well was what made it actually
It is
a
a thing.
lot more, because the other one's one. It
Yeah.
seems a
Yeah.
bit slower.
I'm
That
gonna,
one is just zero.
I'm
The
gonna be
game was
fully
not
honest.
designed to hatch an egg every single turn and
No.
raise every single turn.
Sorry, say that from the start. What was that?
The game is not.
The game was
Oh,
not
yeah, the game
designed
was
to
designed,
raise
yeah.
and hatch every single turn.
I think honestly though, Rookie Rush is only a problem if you're bricked. Like, there's been times where I've watched my opponent Rookie Rush and I just go, okay, well I have everything in hand. I don't care if you're doing this. I'm just going to win. But like, there's been times where I'm sitting with like 5 level 6s in hand. I'm going, cool, you've got 4 level
So
4,
that's just
3's on board, swing, cool, my security's doing nothing, cool. Yeah, we'll go to game 2. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like only beneficial if you don't have your combo.
Oh yeah, I mean, agree, but I just don't think... I don't think it's causing a problem now, but I definitely see the potential future problem of BT16 Uko being a problem. And again, I put it all down to the idea of there's the hatch involved. Because like I say, I don't think the game was designed for it, and it is just for every turn it manages to live on the board, it does just
On top of
put
that, it's a
your
free swing.
keep getting 2 turns ahead. And
Yeah.
it's
You say a free swing, there is things that kind of
I
stop
mean,
it
yeah, but
nowadays.
you know what I mean. Like, it's there. It's a body. If you're already set up and you have everything you need, you just swing it at your opponent's
can.
For
finger, you
example,
don't care.
today when we were playing and I was playing my
Red Hybrid.
what do you call it? Emperor Greymon.
yeah.
And I had Ukamon out on the board for 2 turns, which was technically 6 searches. I had a Coremon underneath it, so I get another search when I check a security.
You just
gotta
get a draw,
draw.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
then because you were raising, it just meant there was a new egg straight away.
I feel the Koro makes it even worse.
it's
That's
like 6
it
draws and 1 card for 1 memory. If it sticks,
I mean,
if it
that
sticks
might be
around.
the thing of choice restrict. I don't know.
Just put it to 1.
But I feel like pointing to 1 would be the shout in terms of the Yuko, just because it's there. Louis, I honestly,
Again, stays.
it has to stay, and that's only because
Blue hybrids, and then you've got.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just hybrids.
It doesn't
It's-
matter
the
what.
only-
It's,
the-
It's not even that, it's
I'm gonna
the
be honest.
Gabumon and Agumon
Yeah,
with the
I was going to be honest.
ties
The
and
only
mats.
way this Louis. Now there could be other things that I don't know, but I believe one of the main reasons was those, like I say, those the BT6 Matt and Ties. More than Matt because of Blue Hybrid.
Raise Gabo.
Their effects too, when you raise as Agumon, Greymon, Gabumon, or Garurumon, is not a once per turn. So when you raise, you draw game memory.
Again.
So you were able to abuse it with the Louis constantly.
You could do the same
I
with
feel like you could choice
antibody decks as well, because you've got what's his name?
Oh yeah,
Yuji. Does the same thing.
So I feel like the only way this guy would, in Bandai's eyes, the only reason he would ever come back to 4 with the knowledge that I have is if he was choice restricted. Like, you can't play it with these.
I feel like it's too much.
Even then, the other thing is he was limited along with the promo, because if the promo got limited and he didn't, you would just run for him instead.
True, yeah.
Like, he is limited because he's essentially the promo as a tamer for any rookie, any Digimon.
Next one is Hammerspark.
Stairs.
You say that.
I do say that.
Bring all the other ones to 1 as well.
Yeah, exactly. I've got them.
Yeah, okay. If you're going to bring the other ones to 1, that evens out the playing field. At the minute, though, Hammerspark being a 1 just makes it unfair for Blue.
No. I'm sorry, blue is one of the better colours in the game.
Look, I might be being biased.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Just a little.
I will say there's only one that there's 2 kind of, but one that I am leaning more towards that you could when it comes to these cards of gaining memory. There's 2 in my head that I'm not fully agreed on that you just put to 1 for my own reasons. There is one more than the other though I feel like you could, and that is Blinding Ray and Gravity Crush. Is it that's what I called the red one? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Gravity Crush one I feel more that you could, just because people do
abuse it a bit.
Does anyone even know what the black one's called?
Parabolic Junk.
It is called Parabolic Junk. Do you know what it does?
Do you know what the green one's called?
The HBD?
No.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
It's not. The green one is called Tropical Venom.
Oh.
But no,
what's it do?
It's basically the Palmon BT14 sort of main phase effect. It's just zero cost. Whenever your opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, like, they lose memory.
That's pretty good.
Now, answer me this.
It's never been played.
Now, answer me this. For Parabolic Junk and the Tropical Venom, do they have security effects?
I don't believe either do.
So that's the only reason I don't know. That's the only thing that's holding me back from maybe they should. So Jack raid the purple one.
Does
that's 100%. I believe should go to 1.
Yeah, or 0.
I love Jack.
But the other 3, the only reason I'm not personally fully committed is because there is no security effect on them. I think that's the only thing that balances them out.
I don't think it does.
I think at that point,
really
though,
don't think it does.
If you're going to get rid of any of them,
The amount of cards that
yeah.
don't have security effects in general, like I don't think it matters. The fact that for Blinding Ray and Grav Crush, there's literal decks in the past and even current and in future, mainly Crossheart, that just run both as 4 and just use them to gain memory and then just win on that turn. Like, you don't care about losing security if you just win. You don't care about losing memory at the end of the turn if your opponent doesn't get a turn. You like.
It has the point.
No, that's what I mean.
Their drawbacks don't mean anything if you just win.
That's what I mean. Like, this is why I'm like, I'm not fully like, I am like, I do semi agree. Like, yes, they should be, because that's how people are playing these cards. But like, I mean, the best way to say this: should they probably get hit? Yes.
Yeah.
Will they? Probably not.
No.
Is the sad thing.
I think the problem with the ones that say that gain 2 memory when it's checked security,
they're all the ones 100% guaranteed. I'm like, they should be put to 1.
I feel though as well, Hammerspark is a good judge of this because blue has been very pro-dominant, which is the issue.
It has, but blue's starting to come out of fashion now. We're now starting to go towards purple,
which is where the Jacks.
Where's the Jacks is?
I think as well. I think I should just say this to begin with. Anything that was hit on the last list, I think no matter what, probably 1 shouldn't come off. They were all like kind of decent hits.
I don't know, Sean.
They've landed pretty well. At the time, I didn't agree with some of them, but they've all kind of landed pretty well.
I actually.
Secondly, they're just too recent to come off.
I'm thinking this one that you're about to go to.
Awaken the Golden Knights.
I feel.
If I remember correctly, the main hit for this was mostly trying to hit Armor Vaccine.
Armor Vaccine.
Yeah.
So I think choice restricted with bottom on.
I mean, you probably could.
And then you could
I
just
honestly
run it.
feel like the TK may have been enough for that deck.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that's kind of going slightly ahead, but we're on about the same deck here. They both kind of got hit for the same reason. I kind of feel like...
I feel like Awakening could come back if you choice restricted every power.
I think it's fine at
Yeah,
one
bring
though.
back
Like I
Awakening
kind of
and Ban Patamon.
yeah.
I mean, Patamon the one. Patamon is a bit stupid.
Patamon is a bit stupid.
We'll get back to
But
that.
I feel like...
let me ask you as the Magnamon player, do you care that this card is at 1 very much? Like, if it stayed at 1 forever, would you really, really care that much?
Honestly, no, not really.
There you go.
Like, it's more...
Yeah.
This card is the... If it was completely banned, we'd care a bit, because we would want it as one of.
Yeah.
But the more of it we have... Like, we would never play it as a 4. You'd maybe play as a 2 or a 3 of if it was at 4 type thing. The best way to describe this card, it's the cherry on the cake. Like, it's like the icing on the cake deal. Like, if it stayed at 1, we're not going to be like, give us it back. You know what I mean? But if it came back, it's like, happy.
The reason I'm saying it though is it levels the playing field with armor vaccine a wee bit. I feel.
Yeah. Honestly,
I
I
don't
feel...
think they need that though. Like you keep saying level the playing field. There's certain decks that don't need that,
Armor
and it's
vaccine
like
should
not
really be a
everything is not everything is fair just because they have access to cards. Sometimes you need to make things fair by restricting people's access to cards, which is why we have that.
I will say, I feel like, if anything, out of all the cards that were hit on the last list, I feel like this is the only card that has any form of potential of coming right back. I'm not saying it will. I feel like it has the highest potential out of everything, you know what I mean?
I see what the next card is. Let's...
We're not going to talk about that deck and die.
No, because I'm a Monsai player. I need that card.
I'm gonna be
Numi
honest.
X.
I'm gonna be honest. This could come back in future. I'm not saying it could come back right away. I'm saying this could come back in future. I don't agree that they hit this card. I understand why. There was other options.
There was options.
They
I
shouldn't
feel
have
it
hit
was
this card.
okay.
How dare they hit the most dominant deck for over a year?
It wasn't
dare they?
over a
It
year.
wasn't over a year.
It was 4 months. Mirage has
Oh,
been
6
around
months.
for 20
I
months.
feel like, if anything,
20
now
months.
my timeline is completely off on this. If it is close to the timeline of Numi is such a fucking weird one, because it literally went from being a anti-meta deck. Sorry, I think it was it went from being a rogue deck to then being the anti-meta to then being the meta over the
so
course of
weird.
its lifespan.
I will explain.
It just got
I will
popular.
explain the
It wasn't
timeline
just
here.
popular; it kept getting new cards that added more and more to its plan.
It started as a nothing deck because all it had was the RB1 stuff.
Yeah.
Then it got the BT14 stuff, and it was still a nothing deck, except maybe it was like kind of a bit fun, a bit out there. It was like, cool, you want to play a tier 3 deck and just have a bit of fun. Then BT15 happened, and BT15 introduced Numamon X and Monzaimon X, and from there,
It started getting
you
shit up.
actually had a bit of a shift towards, I can just float into things really easily, and I can play at level 3s really easily, and I can just have big wide boards.
No, that's when they
Play
had,
at level
like-
3s really easy. You can play at level 4s really easily, but we'll not talk about
Level
it.
6s.
Dude, that was
The
such
fact
really
when they
Yeah.
added the like metal edda stuff and the aces to
The
it,
Edamon,
that's
yeah.
what made it
That
into
was
the meta.
BT16,
I
and
thought that was
she's
16, yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
That is when the deck became.
But for me,
Let me
Yeah.
just make aces real quick.
That's what I mean, though.
do
Like,
feel though.
This is what I mean, though. This is what I'm talking about. Like, it had that journey of
Yeah.
it, which slowly was transitioning every. Like, it never stayed in one position of like. It never came out and was it's tier 1 and stayed tier 1. It was.
It was a progression.
it
It was
was.
a climb.
I
And you know
feel
what?
though
It
when
was
it
the
did.
little deck that could.
the issue with that deck in the comparison to Mirage's, this was like 50% of the actual like player base in tournaments.
It was
Because it was
played a
really
lot.
cheap.
Yeah.
The thing is, all
I
the
don't know if it
Numa,
was cheap.
it was
It was
all of
cheap.
the actual Numamon archetype cards.
The engine was cheap.
Apart from RB1 Monzai, was like every card
And
was like
I feel the
30p.
reason-
That's
and
it.
maybe your aces if and stuff.
I
The
feel like-
RB1 Monzai was about 15 because no one picked up RB1. Your aces were all somewhere between 5 to 15, depending on what the ace was. Like Valkyrie at the time was like 20
Yeah.
quid maybe, but then it dipped after
I
a while.
was going to say, I kind of feel the biggest problem with this deck was the fact the level 4s were like so cheap in play cost.
But They were Numamons.
I know, but then Numamons didn't stay Numamons, and I don't know.
They usually did, actually. They usually did. They usually just died and played out more
Mine
Numamons.
level 4 for the cost of level 3 was pretty good.
Yeah, well, you get what I mean. Like
But,
you were
no.
playing a level higher for the
But
same price. Though.
It was also one of the decks where, like, I mean, you played the deck, you could probably still agree to this, where a lot of decks out there, when they would hard slam a level 5, that deck was normally, I've bricked and it's time to be punished for how much memory I've given you. Numi was the deck where it's like, I hard slam a level 5 and I don't care.
To be fair, more and more
Hard play
decks
level
are to
6.
go into
Yeah, I
it.
have levels. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I'm going to play my big guy. I still benefit somehow, and it's just like, what if I do that and I lose?
I Platinum Numi is another problem for that deck. That will not get
That
in the
could have
wrong
been
one.
easily been the limit, and it would have
I
been
feel like
fine.
Platinum Numero could have like easily done it.
I
Instead.
feel like Platinum Numi was just something like, so I pay this memory and none of it mattered because I
like-
just get the memory back.
Yes, no, that's what you played out with the X.
Yeah.
Like the cost off it isn't that much.
But
and
even
it's
the-
just so good to
The
be out.
Digivolve was like cost of 3 and you immediately gain 2 back. So
No,
it cost
wait,
1.
yeah, it was. It was.
So you were 1 costing into level 6 that had
It
not
was.
deletion.
But it was
for
also like,
itself.
all the majority of
It
level
didn't play
5.
itself, it played a new Monzai from hand,
But-
which would then gain memory, and then you just do the undeletion to play that back, get another 2.
You know the problem.
Majority of
If
level
you find
5s
a little
though.
cheeky, just win the room mode.
But yeah, if you're not a little cheeky, good room.
But no, majority of level 5s though in that deck as well, like their effects may have well said it's time for you to play awkwardly. It was like, we're going to minus DP
It is so
and we're going to either give you minus security or you're going to have to attack straight away.
I feel like
Which then when the deck was running a lot of aces top end, it was like, cool, I'm just running into aces. It was just like, it was the deck that was like, what is the most awkward way I can make you play?
I don't know. As a person who played the like actual casual version of it, and I'm playing the competitive version of it.
Oh, they were night and day.
Yeah, like mine was so fair,
Yeah, I
and
could
it
beat-
feels
I
so
could beat the
unfair.
Well, blame the people that built the deck like Adam.
I must say
I
though,
wanted to try out, like, I was like, okay, I'll build
And
it
then
how
you
all
did too
these
much.
scummy... Look,
You
it was
wrote
very
that.
fun. It was also still just very fun, like, that's the
It
thing.
was.
The biggest problem with the competitive version of the deck as well, all your level 6s are like toolbox cards, so like
Yeah,
you
but
could
that's
send
what
the
Platinum.
Venus Mall,
I'm gonna be honest,
except
I'm
Platinum.
gonna be honest, a lot of hybrid decks are doing that now. Like purple and blue hybrids are just toolboxing their level 6s.
But
Yeah.
Green's toolboxing their level 6s. Every deck's toolboxing.
Okay.
their
I
level
was going to
6s
say
these
before
days.
you move on though,
Okay.
one other thing about the new one. I feel like you couldn't bring it back even now. Because I feel like with all the new support for puppets we got, like...
I'm gonna be honest, that's why I say you could, because the puppet stuff is essentially doing the same thing it used to. But it's not as good anymore because there's decks in the format that just don't care anymore about it, about that kind of effect. The other thing is, it doesn't mix well with the puppets because most of the good Numamon stuff is black and pure black and can't mix with yellow directly unless it's the...
Well, you did get a new Monzai in it as well.
You got the new Shin, and I've thrown that into Monzai now, and it's good for Monzai, but it's not. You don't run Shin in puppets, and it's
No,
like
you don't.
you can mix it, but it's not anywhere close to how pure Numamon can be. So
So we're all in agreement it's 10 on. So next one.
So on to the next card. We're going to so TK.
We don't even need to talk about this.
TK
We all
needs to
know
stay.
this needs to stay at one.
this needs to stay.
As long as they keep printing the yellow angel-like cards the way they
Yeah.
are, yes, this card
I
needs to
hate
stay at
angels.
one.
The issue with TK is it set up your security, as Adam said, so well, because you just went Digivolve the Pada, play it, grab the top, then I just put this level 4 at the bottom, and you're never
I mean,
going to hit it, and I'm going to Digivolve into it. It's
big-
not
yeah,
gonna matter.
that's the thing as well.
Yeah.
You never hit it
You're
because
never
you're
going
putting
to
it at the
get through.
bottom.
You're
so
never
you-
going to get through 5 security that quickly. Yeah. So
well, to be fair, Numamon could.
Back to that.
we're not going back. We're continuing forward.
Okay, so I mean, one thing to think about as well is like Matt's Diminimon deck that he's playing. Like, how much more consistent that would be if he could have the TK deck today?
It was scary back when he had 4
See,
TK.
it's so weird. 'cause you
I
never
played
pick
against it
angels.
today on my
Even-
first game, and he got the perfect combo, so he got TK and all
Your
out.
guys' game was
Even,
so
even
quick.
when I was playing
Yeah, like
Seraphi Angels, when I
Palamon.
had 4 of them, it was...
I set him to 1 memory, he went straight up to Diminimon and played a level 5 out
No, you guys got to your second
on
game.
1 turn
Or-
with 1 memory
Yeah,
because of
you
TK.
two. And they were already done.
But that's what I'm saying,
I do
right?
remember
It is.
hearing them casually talking behind me while I was playing against Adam. That's what I'm saying. I remember like when I turned around to report results, since obviously we didn't have the app today and stuff. I remember like as I'm going to shout out, no one shouted because everyone's still in that mindset of wanting to open their phone for the app. No one took consideration we need to report results.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Completely forgot.
like I've won. And everyone's like, oh yeah, I've won. Oh yeah, I've won. It's like, yeah, I knew none of you did it.
This came off.
This came off. So ST6 Gabumon, has it done anything?
No.
Nope. But
It
I
will.
mean,
If the dog engine gets hit, they'll go back to Gurumon engine, and then I'll probably go back on.
no, I can't wait to build pure purple Gurumon.
The pair restriction of Sayoko plus
Can
the infinite
stay as
combos,
it
it
is.
can stay as it is. The overtainment needs to be choice restriction stuff.
I'm
Yes.
going to bring up this card and the other card later on because
That's
both
the whole
could go
thing.
to limit.
That choice. Bukamon for
I feel like it still needs
Stays.
to stay at one.
It's-
it does.
I'm sorry.
It's too
It
generic.
needs to go to zero.
Imagine for a second.
I think a one's fine because of the
You
ice
literally
cloud and
run-
stuff.
You run 4 eggs with it, so you'll run 3 of your other egg and 1 of that, just so you can see this more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how broken it is.
I still run 4 eggs and this in Melga.
That's
I know
interesting.
it means I have less percentage of seeing this, but like at the end of the day,
All I'm saying is we're gonna have a new Ice Cloud deck in EX8. That needs to that source strips like no other deck in Pass.
yeah. So
That
I
needs
feel
to
like
stay at 1.
yeah, it's staying at 1's not an issue because
Oh,
like
no.
as soon as you deal with that 1, you don't really have to worry about it unless they fucking turn around and go paladin mode, put it back. But
I mean, it's just way too generic of an egg.
yeah, I feel like it needs to stay where it is. Especially with
It makes me
Killjoy as well.
actually. It makes me think of an idea. Something they could do for cards. So you know, like how we have black text box at the moment for what you can digivolve, like how I can digivolve. Could you imagine like eggs or stuff having a black text box of
You can only digivolve
this can
from
like
this,
this, what can only
Arcturus.
digivolve on top? Like, is it an active effect on the field? Like, or like so say it's a Greymon with black text box of
I feel
could
like-
only digivolve into metal.
I feel like
Greymon.
you just
You
change
don't
the
even need a black text
inheritable.
box that. They
you
used
just
to do
change
that on the old BT4 Lucemon. It has text that says this Digimon can only digivolve into Lucemon in him.
And even without that, you could also just change the inheritable to be like, oh, if this card has a certain name or a certain
Yeah.
trait. Like,
Yeah, it was too generic.
yeah, it was very generic.
Yeah.
Pokemon, it's sadly going to stay as 1. Just
Not even
because-
sadly, that thing needs to stay at
Damn.
1. The issue with a Pokemon, and I've explained it to you, Cheryl, because you didn't realise this. The issue with a Pokemon was you would just go into a Pokemon as quickly as possible, and then even when you dealt with it, you would just
No, you just go into it
if you
again.
bounced it, if you deleted it or anything, unless you were bottom decking the sources somehow, all that would happen would be, cool, that a Pokemon's gone, all the things that were underneath it are now back in trash where I need them to be. I'm just going to play this a Pokemon for 3 and put them right back under, and you're milling again. You're milling again.
It's actually very similar to my Emperor and Greymon deck when you were playing against it. Because as soon as I get my trash set up, I'm just going into it.
Yeah,
Every
but this
single turn.
this was worse because they would mill a minimum of 8 cards after, because they would play it for 3 with 3 sources, and then they would tuck either a 4th one or they would tuck a 4th one, which would be sleep mode, which would tuck a 5th, and you're milling 10 cards as early as like
the main
turn
reason
2.
the main reason I say sadly is because it is one of those cards where when it was designed they had an entire deck, the Dark Masters, that was designed and built around,
Yeah.
and then we as the player base went, what?
Yeah, funny enough.
How can we abuse this?
This man, funny enough.
Because its effect was a little too generic of just level 6 type stuff, and it's just like,
Level 6 or higher.
yeah,
Level 6 or lower.
Lower.
no. So
And acting on
that's the reason I say sadly, because it was
It's almost like there's still people that
level
are
6 and
to
higher.
do stuff with Dark
No,
Masters.
that's the
right?
Dark Master engine. A Pokemon tucks level 6 or
Oh,
lower.
right, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's
I thought you were
mostly
talking about
used in
Searchers, the
Belfamon
actual
build, though.
engine.
yeah, Belfamon's a build for it and stuff, but
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like,
It was
It-
stupid.
if its effect was somehow strictly tied to Dark Masters, then it would have. I feel like potentially. Obviously, it's hard to say. It potentially would have stayed at 4. It would have maybe been fine. It's hard to know. We don't live in that world.
I feel like it was still being too much, but it is what it
We
is.
should, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's my boy.
EX5 Gabumon X.
I still say this can come off.
I want it to come off, and I only want it to come off for one reason. I am fed up decking out in my ML Kurumon.
I genuinely, I've never
real
thought
quick, before we-
Gabu X was as bad as Guru X.
I was, well, you feel like they're different?
Because
No, well, this is not as bad. This is not as bad.
Guru X was going plus 3 cards in hand and plus 2 cards in trash. Gabu X was literally just, let me look at top 4, maybe grab 2, and then I trash 1.
In the
It's
actual
not that
Kurumon
bad.
deck, it was
Yeah.
amazing because you find all your pieces. And the reason that it got restricted, it was only to search the pieces that you needed for the combo.
Yeah, honestly, the list that this got hit on is probably, I feel like, to this date still Bandai's harshest list they've ever done.
I was so like I had that.
Do you not remember all the Gabu hits on that one
I had
list?
Gabu
Like
for
they
like a
went
month.
over the top.
Yeah,
I
it
had
was pretty
Gabu.
hard.
I had Gabu for 1 month of 4, and then that was it. It was gone.
Floor. Like,
The suggestion you had though would fix all this.
what's
If
the
you made it so you could only digivolve into word like Gurumon, etc.
Well, I mean that's
So
the
you can
problem.
only use it in its own archetype.
Well, that was the problem.
That was the problem, that they were
that-
using it with the
So
Kurumon.
this ban list was when a Pokemon came, not Pokemon,
Yeah, they
Anubismon.
they would go into a Gurumon.
Sorry, it
on
was
top.
also a Pokemon. Yeah.
So they were going Gabumon,
so
Gabumon X, Gurumon,
it
Gurumon
seems,
X.
it seems Purple has a problem
it
where
does.
they always pick the best engine with that contrast the most.
But
and
this
it's all
was
in a row.
Exactly.
This
And
was
as soon as
literally-
one thing gets limited from that engine, they
You
just
just
move on
bounce
to
on
the other one.
engine, yeah.
yeah.
Because like they did it with the Eismon one, and then Scatter Mode got limited, and then they
Is
went
there
on
any
to
other colour that actually has
Gabu
is that, in that same way?
What does engine wise?
Yeah.
No, not really. Not off the top of my head.
Blue has a lot of generic stuff.
Green
but
has plants.
Green has a lot of generic stuff.
The
as
problem
well,
with purple is every single purple deck generically wants to trash cards.
Yeah.
Wait, well, it's like what we were saying earlier before we started the podcast. Purple has just become that engine color. It's not really.
know what?
It's not a
They keep
line.
removing
You
things.
asked before. Technically, there is a purple deck right now that kind of wants to stick to its own archetype because of how the cards are printed. It's getting more support, so it could become better. But right now, it's shit because it can't use the generic purple stuff.
Heavy metal. Drum.
Heavy Metal Dramon. It wants to stick to Dark Dragons and Evil Dragons and all that.
Fair.
And it
Well, I mean, to
suffers
be fair-
because it doesn't have good enough
Yeah.
trash power.
I mean, to be fair, I also said what's in the meta,
Yeah.
which obviously it isn't because
I
it hasn't got
forgot
enough
that part.
support.
I
Yeah.
feel like
But yeah.
it should be though.
Because if we
it's in the
obviously we
group.
didn't apply the meta stuff, we could.
Yeah.
There's probably a good few decks we could talk about.
I feel like it's that and what.
Beelzemon kind of as well, because
BL's, I mean, yeah, especially when you got 2.5 coming out, BL's is about to get more support.
basically there's two ways of playing purple. You either draw trash or you mill, and the only relevant mill deck for
Is
the past
Beelze.
10 formats has been Beelze.
Beelzemon's actually
But
got
now
a
it's
few
purple
wins
hybrids
recently in the
too.
fun.
Yeah, it has.
Bells is good, like.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I guess
Well-
we'll move on. I feel like it should come to 4, but I don't think it will.
I feel like if they were to touch this engine as a whole, this is probably the card they do bring
Yeah.
back.
Gabu X come back, Guru X die. Still stay dead.
It's such
A
a,
level-
good card,
a
but
level
it's too
4.
generically good.
It's not even too generically good, it's the fact that it's a level 4, draw 2, trash 2,
gain a
refund
memory.
a memory. And if you're going protoform into this, even
Actually,
even
you
if
don't
you're
even need the performance.
it doesn't matter. Okay, disregard. If Garurumon wasn't a thing, if there was no decent Garurumon for purple, think about this. You're going into it for reduced by 1, so you're going into it for a normal 2 cost, and then gaining a memory back because you have an X antibody underneath. And then if you've got Mats or Goblimons underneath, or any other effect that goes, or if you've just trashed a Nidhogg that also refunds you a memory when it's
I
trashed.
feel like
You're going into this for 0 all
they
the time,
should
so
have
its cost means
changed
nothing.
the effect on this before it was released.
They
For
could
when
always bring out
digivolving, it should
fixed
not.
versions of the card.
Yeah, it should not have been draw 2, trash 2 immediately. It should have been like the entire effect should have just been if there's a Gurumon underneath, or maybe if you wanted to change it up, maybe there's Gabumon and name underneath.
It
you know.
draws 2 trashes too.
It draws
Draw
2,
two,
trash
trash
2,
two.
just generically.
So it's draw 2, trash 2. Then if you've got a Garurumon or X antibody underneath, gain a memory.
yeah, so it's just cost of 3, draw 2, trash 2. Yeah, it was a bit stupid.
It was
It-
incredibly
it-
dumb.
Maybe put that to 0.
But
I'm
no,
gonna be honest, no one runs anymore because Double X.
also
Yeah.
the thing is, like you saying about like fit a fixed version, like that is something I feel like there's a few things I feel like Bandai overall is kind of touching this lightly. We'll talk more about it later on. Bandai needs to start looking at other ways of using the list and other ways of fixing problems. Like to take so we have the ability to play cards at 4, and right now it's either played at 4, played at 1, or it's banned. I feel like, I don't know off the top of my head, but I feel like maybe the restricting things to 2 or 3, that needs to get used more. Or taking a page out of where, like, flipping Konami's book here, where it's like, okay, ban a card or restrict it to 1 or something, and then it can come back to 4 with an errata. Like, we're changing changing a small...
Erratas need to happen.
Like, a small bit of text changes.
Issues.
An example to give, a card that a lot of people know Yu-Gi-Oh! Wise, is Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon. So its effect was just revive, special summon a dragon from your graveyard or your hand. And that was not a hard once per turn, it was a soft once per turn, so you could make that card, leave the field, bring it back, revive another one. Leave the field, come back, revive another one.
It didn't matter how much you could do it, you could literally get +1 on
and eventually they were like, right, this card's getting put to 1, and after a while it's like, right, we're going to, as they announced the ban list, like, right, this ban list comes into effect next couple of months, and it was up to 3. And they're like, during this time, there's a set coming out where this card is getting reprinted with an errata. And all they changed on the card was, you can only use Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon's effect once per turn, which means it's now a hard once per turn. It does not matter how many times you bring it back, you can use it once in the entire turn, that's it, it's done. And that fixed the entire card. And like, so it's a prime example of, they don't need to go over the top to fix a card, but they do need, I think, erratas maybe need to be utilised to help bring cards back to 4, make certain things playable, and like say, touching more, like say, making cards a 2 or 3 to like, help with maybe deck building choice, this is a card, an auto player 4. Let's put it to 2, so you can only play 2 of it.
I do think someone should do more though. Like, you know, like Magic sets will re-release older cards from older sets.
Yeah. We do need a lot more reprints.
Whereas Digimon is every single card is brand new. Like, they should maybe like.
But the thing is, a lot of times they'll print new cards, but it's just a reskinned old card, really.
Especially since 14.
Yeah.
Like from 14, it has just been like, this is like that BT1 card, just better up to date,
more generic.
And then
this Muchimon Koromon combo. This is just Gyomon Gigimon, but for broke people.
I actually would argue that was better.
It is better. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't think I want Digimon to do like limited to 2 or limited to 3, only because I feel like it makes it very, very simple and consistent. This card is at 0 because it absolutely breaks the game. We don't want it in the game. It was a mistake. This card's at 1 because at any more than this, it's stupid and degenerate. Or this card is at 4 because it's 4.
But I feel like you could take that
this is a good thing with the next card coming up.
I don't like the thought process in my mind of going, right, okay, I need to look at this card. It's on the list? Cool. What number of things on the list can I play this at? It's like, what about this one? Can I play? And I get that in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm like, Trevor, is this on the limited list? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, cool. Is it 1, 2, or 0? And you're like, I don't know. I can't remember. I'm like,
to be fair though, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been like a 25-year game of like bans and limits and stuff.
But I'm gonna be honest, give Digimon like another year, and it's gonna have pretty decent lists of cards again.
So what's your opinion on the idea of errating cards?
Errating, I think, need to happen more often. There's been ones in the past where I'm like, okay, this needs errated, and then a few sets pass, and then they don't really matter anymore. So like, I understand why Digimon or why Bandai don't errata cards, because they just wait and then bring out more bullshit and they don't care.
But I feel like this is the issue though. Bandai power creep very quickly, and that's a we've touched on this before.
That's a whole different podcast.
An example I can think of is the OG Doru Greymon.
Yeah.
It should be errated so you can't place another Doru Greymon with its effect.
But it doesn't matter because there's so many other cards in Alphamon that place more. Like, Alphamon places 1. The Tamer places 1. The other Doru Greymon places 1. Like, there's like 17 cards in Alphamon's archetype to place, so I understand why it's so limited.
Yeah. So next on the list, Anubismon.
0.
I'm gonna be honest. Every time I see this as a one-of, I'm like,
it's broken shit.
No, it's like, it's good, but I'm always like, this has no protection on it. I can just kill this.
Getting
It's gone forever.
for free was great before
It's
I got
like-
my last aces.
Yeah,
I mean.
it's like, oh, that could probably come back. And then I just remember way back playing against Anubis one going, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes.
and they're
I've
still
watched-
going.
I've watched them play out 30 Digimon, give them all rush and attack me. This is just Yu-Gi-Oh! Anubis Mom makes Digimon Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't want that.
Yeah,
So
it should be
I
zero.
think they're like once per turn on it.
The
Like
pro-
if
if
your
it wasn't a
turn-
main effect, if it was just when Digivolving, it would be fine.
Yeah.
Again,
or-
I liked
It
playing.
is once per turn on it.
No, the your turn effect.
Oh, your turn?
Oh, the your turn also
That
should
should
have
have
been once per
really
turn.
been once per
Yeah.
turn.
Because if you
Yeah.
don't kill a level 5 or lower, you're drawing a card. So you're refunding your cards in
Again,
hand.
before I had Master Ace, it was great to be able to play Gatomon for so cheap. But I mean, like, I understand why it's there and why it should stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
The undulation Gabos. Yeah.
anyone else got any opinions on Anubis? I mean, I agree, you should say it
No,
once.
it's just that one.
Zero.
There's some cards you just know.
So you say, again, I feel like Bandai needs to realise
If you
the
play out
band
an Anubis
section
one in the Lord Nightmon deck and the Anubis one lasts more than one turn, you win.
That's the thing. If Anubis stays, but that's why I'm like, oh, it has no protection. It could probably come back off. Like, if a card doesn't have protection, it's pretty shit nowadays. Now I remember, oh wait, no.
I feel
Then
like
you just play Anubis at 4, you see it all the time,
Yeah.
and you just spawn your board with Digimon and just go.
The problem with it at one as well, there's so many ways now to just recur stuff from your trash.
There's a couple more, yeah, than there used to be.
I mean, now I have to pay
Actually,
six
to be
do it.
fair,
Like, you only need to say it
Anubis
once.
came out after all the cards that add cards back from trash came out and were printed. You just didn't need them back then because you just played it 4 and you just drew into your copies of Anubis Mon.
See, now I'm just. I have to pay 6 for Anubis Mon on these wort. I mean, it's the same difference, really.
So,
Sword was Anubis one before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly.
so on to the next, BT2 Goblin.
Yeah, it's there for the same reason the other Gabo. I mean, like,
Do we
we're free.
feel like it could come back? Because this is the part of this.
I feel like they'd be better bringing Gabo X back than bringing back Gabomon.
I don't think this card matters. Like, because Icemon is gone. And
Well,
Scatter Mode.
it's on deletion, isn't it? the
On,
draw?
on deletion, draw 2 trash 1.
Yeah.
I wanted to stay gone purely because I hate that kind of playstyle of I'm just going to fire my thing into security and hope it dies to
Yeah.
get my draw trash. I
And then
don't
if it
like
doesn't,
it.
I'm going to play Calling for Darkness and kill it anyway. I'll just get the
Yeah,
draws.
I'm going to be honest, it promotes a playstyle of I don't care what's on my field early.
I mean, I understand that. The caveat being, it is the inheritable does that, and
Yeah.
there is a lot of cards where that's the rookie
You
you're
have
swinging
to-
in.
yeah, you have
so
to
you
get
do
to a
have to go
level
up to
4.
champion.
I think
thing
it
is,
could
there's
come
a lot-
back,
there's a
I
lot
just
of good
don't care enough.
There's a lot of good champions that have
It just
on
doesn't
deletion
matter.
now. I feel like it
Exactly.
stays at
I just don't
one.
care enough.
Everyone doesn't care. It's
Yeah.
it's staying at one's better.
I sometimes forget it's on there. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. So if overall, do we kind of feel like it could come back and it would have
I-
zero
Yeah,
impact?
I
That's
think it
zero
could come
impact.
back and no one would play it anymore until they hit other purple stuff and then they
Yeah.
go back to it.
I feel like it doesn't need to come back. I feel like it shouldn't come back, but I feel like it wouldn't matter if it did come back for a while. as
It's
you
kind of
said.
like Dragon Rulers in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, it used to be very annoying. Now they're like,
Yeah, this is going to be a very
Annoying
different
is an
conversation.
understatement. Dragon Rulers used to be terrifying. Like they were so terrifying. I remember,
This is going to be the opposite of the
yeah,
last conversation.
Dragon Rulers was so terrifying that I remember to the point where every Banlist, me and Trevor were looking, and there was a new ruler coming off. Me and Trevor getting more worried. Like
Yeah,
they did a lot of damage at one each back in the day.
to be fair, honestly, I feel like the games just got that point though where
Oh,
Dragon Rulers did not matter anymore.
No.
Which is kind of scary.
So Geo Greymon,
Yeah.
BC13, it can stay at 1.
I
I
honestly...
so badly want to say come back to 4.
No,
I so badly,
That's a shine
but I
player.
can't. It's too good.
I feel like this is one of those cards.
choice restriction is
I-
the only way it could come back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Choice restrict with what? Patamon?
Patamon.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say maybe choice restricted. This is one of the cards I feel like if they were to utilize it, you could put this as a 2 of. You know what I mean? Like
Again, yeah, that would be okay.
I'm gonna actually say something crazy. If Patamon got limited, that could come back.
I feel like it'd still be a wee bit
because
too
they've then limited the best tamer for yellow vaccine and the best rookie that cheats into this for yellow vaccine. That card got limited because of yellow vaccine.
I must say as well, though, the fact of any red or yellow, like, this could become very problematic very quickly.
But it's a 3 cost outside of Shine Deck.
This is what I'm saying, though. If get to it,
the reason it got hit was because it got Marcus out too quick from security.
If you
rating. Because this card is vaccine and yellow vaccine decks also play tamers, plays the speed greater.
I'm going to be honest though, you have to look.
BT14 Patamon.
You have to look at new cards as well. Red hybrids with the new tamer that's red yellow. It's a free cost 5 cost.
Yeah.
That literally lets you chuck hybrids underneath and then digivolve into it. Like, you don't care.
They already
if this
do that for 2 memory. From hand.
It only reduces.
Or trash.
It only reduces by 4.
Yeah,
So it still costs them 1 to play. But what I'm trying to say is this would promote playing. So you go red, you just go whatever red rookie, you don't care. You raise, you digivolve to this, you get a free. Yeah, sweet. Even blue hybrids can play this because they just look and they go, "Hey, look, there's yellow blue."
The best part of this is you can go into your Flame One rookie from BT14, or I think it's BT14, with the undeletion to play a tamer from
Yeah, so you get the
17, I think.
You basically go into this. You get to look at security. You get one.
Then you just throw it into something. You don't give a shit.
It dies. You get to play
another
tamer.
I don't think. I think this would be the Power Boost shiny.
I would love this back because I'd be using a Emperor Grey.
I'd probably be. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd probably switch to yellow rookies.
Actually, hear me out. Bring it back so tamers become relevant in other decks again. Because I'm gonna be honest. Outside of
I would love
hybrids,
to have a master. I'm not
outside of hybrids. I feel like you either play tamers because they're directly related to your combo, or you play tamers because you play hybrids. If you don't need to play tamers anymore, like I remember people used to play like the BT9 dual color tamers in decks just because they were kind of fun, but they weren't overpowered. Like tying Karis. Like I would love generic tamers like that to come back again that aren't brokenly stupid like Shoto.
I'm not gonna lie though, there's a lot of ways this card can be like insanely good.
I think this
abusable.
card.
It is because you've also got it's red yellow.
Yeah.
So you also have the what's it called, Selfimon deck
Yeah.
as well. You've got the Dynasmon deck coming out. Like it's very easy splashable. It's very very good.
I think
it's out.
Sorry, Dynasmon deck is out.
I think this card does kind of what they want to do with like cards like Digimon. It makes jank decks a bit better, especially in red. Red kind of needs something.
It's the problem is it's yellow. That's the only issue.
What good yellow tamers are there apart from TK?
Mira, TK, Kari, let's see, TK and Kari. Then you've got
the yellow and red one for.
You've got the new yellow and red one for the hybrids. You've got flipping the one for the Selfimon deck. That's would immediately like.
I'm gonna be honest. Most of those aren't actually relevant at the moment. This card can make them very relevant. The only one that is relevant is the red yellow one.
I could mix them too relevant.
I don't think it makes them too relevant. I think it makes them the perfect amount of relevant.
I'm on the opposite side of this, honestly. I feel like this card coming back to 4 would make any of those decks, like having those timers relevant, it wouldn't change. But if this went to 4, I'm not rushing to go and put it in Valkyrie.
I would put a couple copies in. I would probably play it at like 2. I'm gonna be honest, I'd put this in at 1.
I've actually been debating playing this at 1 in fucking Master just for the
I'm gonna be honest, the only reason I don't put this in more red decks is because it's at 1, and I'm like, I don't like that. It feels a bit sacky.
The problem with most of these cards in the list are they're just too generic for too many decks.
But you've seen all these other timers and stuff. Like, I don't feel like, because this card's not at 4, I can suddenly play this tamer. It's like, well, you'd play that tamer if this card was at 1 or not.
You'd play that tamer.
The issue is,
but in a lot of, especially red decks, I want to say, some yellow as well, they don't really have ways of cheating their teamers out like other
Can
colors
you not
do.
just run like an Argo engine and this is your level 4 and then you immediately just get access to all your teamers?
That would be
It has
so
to be-
fun.
Dinosaur trait.
Yeah, but most of the dinosaur
Yes.
traded Agumons are
I'm gonna be
searchers.
honest. I'm gonna be honest. Yellow Hybrids was making a comeback because of this card, and it was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was a fun looking deck.
The issue with that is now you have all the blue hybrids that are yellow.
Yeah, but like again, I think this
Okay.
kind of promotes more positive aspects of deck building than negative ones.
Again, where like the point you're making is like, oh, the yellow hybrid stuff. Again, like, if a team is relevant to the deck, they're going to play the team that's relevant, and it's not about cheating out type thing. It's just like, for example, in hybrids type thing, like right now. So like, say ancient.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying make it relevant to the deck.
I
I'm
still
saying
think-
make it relevant to the game in general.
One, if you're
Well,
going to
what
bring
I'm
in-
trying to say is like some of the examples you give, like of seeing people play like some of the old BC8 stuff and that. Like, I personally feel this card's existence at 1 for non didn't exist, was never printed, whatever, shouldn't change someone's perspective on, hey, this BT8 team is really good for my deck, so I'm going to play it. It's like, if it's good for your deck and you want to play it, then you're going to play it. The existence of another card shouldn't dictate if this is played.
I'm not saying it dictates. I'm saying it helps. I think it helps.
Come on, just have a
I think that's
disclaimer
fine.
that Adam's favourite deck is Shine Greymon.
Yeah.
Not my favorite deck.
What?
What?
I never said it was my favorite deck.
Definitely is.
That's your favourite Digimon though, right?
No, Alphamon's my favorite Digimon.
Ah, well, I mean, like, to be fair,
I
it's in
think
front of a Shine right now.
I definitely think when I was playing Shine, it was probably my favorite era of the card game. It was my favorite era of the card game. It felt fun, it felt powerful, but it did feel fair. And
Honestly,
other people
like,
thought it didn't feel fair.
I
And
feel-
now we're at where we are in the card game, and I have to say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so.
I
You
feel-
weren't around yet.
I feel like you still have the choice for Twitter, even if you bring it back, because it can't exist with Patamon, and I feel Emissary is a
That's what I'm
problem with it
saying.
as well.
I'm saying, I think if they
Hit
hit
Patamon.
Patamon, that could come back.
Emissary is an issue with it as well, because it's cost 1.
Hit Emissary?
Yeah, you'd have to hit Emissary as well to bring that back.
I would hit both Patamon and Emissary.
I think we can move on. I think we all
Yeah,
know
I
where
think
we
it's
stand.
choice
we can.
restricted.
Patamon is a mistake of a card.
It's here for a reason. We'll get here eventually.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
How far do we want to go down this list of old
I'm gonna be
Don't-
honest. It goes for a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah,
We're
that's
halfway.
pretty ages.
you're now down to like
no, we're halfway.
halfway.
We're halfway.
We don't feel
Anyway,
halfway.
right, my Kagumon, we know what it does. It shouldn't exist in the game. Next.
Do you know what this card does?
I don't even give a shit what it does because it's Kagumon.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't even realise this card was on the list.
Yeah,
It's unblockable.
I'm gonna be
isn't it?
honest. If they just hit the level 6, this card could come back.
Yeah, if an opponent has...
I don't feel like any.
Alright, okay. So
It
if
was the
got,
unsuspended.
it's the unsuspended.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think this card should ever come back in any way, shape, or form because of the deck. But we'll continue on.
Yeah. Scatter mode, it's purple stuff.
Stay dead.
I mean,
dead.
realistically, they've all had new scatter modes and stuff. It's
But this one's on deletion, draw 3.
yeah, it's Graceful Charity. It's Graceful
We don't need to
Charity.
talk about it. It's not on the list.
Yeah.
System on that came off, right? Let's
Yes,
see if
it did.
Let's see if
It
you're
did.
This came off because
Yeah, so we don't need to talk about
Save
it.
your heart.
Tommy came off.
Yeah, we're not worried too much about Tommy either.
Blossom on.
Can stay on.
Can it? What-
Did it not come off?
No, that was it being put on.
Ah, yeah, no, Digisorption's too much for it.
A zero cost level 5.
Bring all the
Please.
others.
Zero cost level 5 that triggers your abilities by suspending. It's too much. Vegetation is
True.
just
Yeah.
vegetation. I mean, that is literally getting us into a Leopardmon for even cheaper.
But you could
Well, I
go 0 into your level 4, 0
Hey,
into your level
Trevor.
5, 0 into your level 6, and then go Quartzmon and gain
Trevor,
memory.
Imagine they actually give a shit about green decks in the first place.
Well, I mean, we give shit about Leopardmon. That's the only one.
Like, the only good green deck at the moment is Safakimon.
Hi.
And that's it. Or
Don't
Bloomlord,
worry, I
Bloomlord,
beat that
Bloomlord's
today.
making a comeback. Please don't put Blossom on back.
I beat that
To be
today.
fair,
It's not an
Leo-
issue.
I beat it as well, you just don't play Digimon.
Also should stay dead. Because
Right.
that's just Blossom on
Well,
with an
well,
inherited
yeah,
effect.
well,
On
get
to
that.
Implemon.
EX2 Impmon, Beelzebub around the corner getting new support. This needs to stay hit.
Even regardless
The
of
Amon, yeah.
Beelzemon getting
I feel
support,
like
purple hybrids would actually start running this just to get
I feel
no
like
cards in trash quicker
Yeah,
as well.
that's
That was one of
true.
the most broken cards ever printed.
I didn't
Yeah.
think about purple hybrids before. I thought about purple hybrids. I thought maybe you could go with the 2 rule on that one and play 2, but with purple hybrids, yeah, no, you're right.
It's
As someone who
just-
has played against
It just needs
Fieldsmon
to stay
extensively,
on one.
this
Honestly,
should not be
I'm not gonna
higher
lie.
than one.
a card that says when milled,
Look,
mill more.
Guys, I play a mill deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! I like to mill.
real quick. I am actually on board. For this card should go to 2 for one reason and one reason only.
It can't trigger itself.
To watch the look on your opponent's face when they activate one, they go to mill 3 and they mill the other imp one that can't mill anymore because it's been milled to flip one.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I also think it should stay dead, just because on top of the mill effect, it is also just like a searcher, and it what's the inherited again? It's like
2000 DP, I think.
yeah.
Or
I don't want
3000.
If it has
Beelzemon.
Beelzemon in the name.
I don't want Beelzemon to be strong. Kill it.
No, I don't want Beelzemon. That's a PTSD nightmare. No, like I said,
I know what we're coming to next.
like I said, I'd strictly put it to 2 just to watch the
think
look.
that could come back.
Like I said,
For the era this came out in as well, it's a very power-craft card.
oh, it is, but no, like I said, I would have to put it just watch your opponent's face, just to go.
Searcher,
Impmon, mill, Impmon, like yes, give me that salt.
Searcher, 2k DP, you trust 3 more.
Promo Wegarumon, this could come off.
Yeah.
It could.
I feel like these are all correct in that it could come off, but I feel like these all forget 1 point and 1 point only. I'm 90% sure that's a generic inheritable.
Yeah, if you got emo cards, get +1.
Yeah, so you have to look at Magna or Magogargomon or whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh my god, are you saying
Mirage
that we're
Gaga?
gonna-
Mirage Goggo, you could
We're
run
gonna
that, you
break
could
Mirage.
swing, you could unspend.
That's why you
could
just
swing.
limit Mirage, baby.
Yeah, but
Move
until that is a thing,
Problem
you can't bring
solved.
this back. As much as I would love to.
You could, because I'm going to be honest, even if this card was brought back, Mirage would not run it, because they would run extenders that just let them gain more memory and play more Digimon to hit you.
I feel like it's just
That's
too
just the way
generically
they
good.
go.
They'll unsuspend when attacking and fucking security +1 if you have 8 or more. As long as you have jamming in the line, you're pretty much sweet.
Maybe so, but I feel like the deck would truly shine in Melga, and I think
Oh, 100%. I would love it. I'm not lying.
I don't feel like it shines as well as it does in any other deck that's out not Melga, and because it strictly shines best in Melga, I feel like for that reason it can come back off the list, just because Melga needs to be brought back to the limelight a bit more. Bit like Greymon,
This-
which we'll get to later.
This could be errata just to say we're a Garurumon or name or a Garurumon.
Yeah, that would
could
be
be.
okay. Yeah, it would
Bring
still be-
it back, please. Grand Kawagamon.
Promo Grand Quagga.
What, Digiverse? And let's just
I'm
like go off
I'm
the
gonna be
massive
honest.
security attack, swing for
This
the
got
entire
limited just before BT13. BT13 happened. The ban list came out for BT13 that limited the Geogray. I then went into BT14 when the trainings came out. I'm like, I want to play a deck. I want to play Groundless. I want to put Grand Quagga at 4 and see how it feels with the trainings in it for more search power, because that's the way Groundless played. It just searched for its pieces and then OTK'd. You know what happened? It did shit. It sucked. All the decks at the time didn't care about it anymore.
I'm gonna
It
say,
would be the same thing now.
you know what though? I feel like back in that meta, it was
Back in the meta,
me versus you. It was Melga versus Grand Quagga. It was whoever fucking swung through their opponent's security first, and that was it.
Well, to be fair, you're about an era of Digimon that was built around the idea the meta is OTK.
Oh, it was 100% OTK on that one. That's why I think
We're
I'm
going kind of back to that a bit, but also like now with ace cards in the mix, it doesn't really do anything. It's really Digiburst
suppose
is a
that-
very, very mid effect.
The only
now,
terrifying idea to me of this
is going Tyrant on top.
is coming off is doing Grand Kawaga then go Tyrant on top. But even with that as a terrifying idea, I still think it could still come to 4.
Yeah, I
It's
genuinely.
just a class common, like, so.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think 3.
Move on. Move on.
3. Greymon X, it can come off. Let's
No, I'm sorry. Fucking Wargrey fanboy.
Hang on.
Fuck it.
Oh,
Zero.
man.
-2. Every copy of this card should be. Nah, it should come off. Yeah. It should.
Yeah.
totally come off.
I feel like you have to be very careful with it.
So-
No.
Automon lets you into level 4 for free, so I mean.
I mean, here's the thing. At the time it got
it's
hit,
level 5.
at the time
You
it
just
got
go up to the trading.
no, but here's the
Yeah.
thing. The time it got hit it's because it made the deck too fast. It was too speedy.
It kind of needs it now.
But that's where we're at in the meta now, every deck is fast and speedy.
Yeah.
So now, if the reason it was put on the list is how the meta is now, then I don't see why it should be staying.
I
on
feel
the
though
list.
we have to also talk about one thing that I feel lots of people don't think about with this card. And that is it's inheritable.
No, the protection.
The protection by putting a protoform to the bottom of your deck.
Okay,
I like
you lose the
everybody.
protoform then.
Yes.
You then
but
don't get a source back.
if you can get to that protoform again, you literally get another use of it for free.
I mean,
Or you can
It
just put it in
puts
your
a tough to
security
top
and
of
then put it back
security
to
to head
hand.
back to hand.
I was about
Trevor.
to say,
Yes,
Get it
but
for
there's
free
not,
anyway.
there's not many trashing effects or add the hand effects and stuff like that. Like, I feel like it's something that needs to be careful about because you have the X antibody reduction Digivolve, you have him reducing the Digivolve on top of it, then you've got the return to the bottom of the deck.
I do think
Well,
the speed
This
of the
card
game,
can come back.
the speed of the game is like all because of Ukamo.
I'm on the fence.
Not all because of
Per-
Pokemon. I
personally,
think it
I'm on
actually
the fence.
started with Patamon.
I think it could come back.
Patamon is the root of all evil.
I don't
Ban
think
Geogray.
it
Ban Patamon.
should just
Now-
yet.
now keep in mind, its cost reduction is only strictly for Greymon in there.
Yeah.
Greymon has had no support. Last time Greymon got support was BT14.
No, you got BT17. Greymon.
You do.
Imagine going
I'm
a
going in-
huge Greymon stack
Let's go into terms of
and then
relative.
going Greymon X on top.
Oh
of
yeah,
that.
because you can go Greymon X on top of Greymon, and then you can.
Again, no, I'm talking about terms of actual relevance here. So, yes, cool, Greymon, yeah, big stack that we go into this. In terms of his effect, I'm on about, we've had no support like for that effect since 14.
We are getting support soon.
We
I
are,
will-
we don't know full information stuff. Speaking of which, there's going to be a thing later on. We'll probably
I
talk about it in
feel
the
like
podcast.
it's on an edge. It could come back, but I feel like it could immediately become super strong.
I don't
again
think
and
it
just fall
could.
back
I'm
down.
going to be honest.
I don't think it could.
We may find out. I think that's why the fourth in mind. You remember? Because you seen when was the date that Bandai's doing
The 6th,
6th December,
Six-
it's this Friday.
this Friday?
same day PoE 2 comes out.
Can't say that. So on this stream, so just to say this for people that don't know as well as like, I haven't talked to you about it. I'm pretty sure Amy's probably aware because Adam said. So on this stream is what they're going to talk about is the big fact that next year we're finally hitting joint release from BT21, Japan, and English simultaneous releasing. We're no longer going to be ahead of one another, so we're going to be figuring out the deck builds at the same time.
Oh, we won't because we get delays constantly.
Well, no, the delay should be fixed. The last delay should have been set 2.0 because every set from now on is going to be getting flown over instead of sailed over. Let me fish, please.
I was just going to say meant to be, but go ahead.
Meant to be. I paid for this to be flown. That doesn't look like it flies. But yeah, that stream, I feel, because they're also going to talk about the roadmap and kind of plans for products they have for release of next year. And obviously, we already had an early reveal of 21 as well as the structure decks. So I feel like, if anything, we may get hard confirmation of what the theme and some of the cards of the structure decks will be. We already know one is War Greymon, the other is Metal Garurumon. And I feel like
Depending on how
they're
look.
going to BT21 and these structure decks are going to be the deciding factor if this comes off.
I think no
think-
matter what those cards are, if they're broken or not for Greymon, this still can come off because one, you
think
can look
it-
at it, they'll just bring it off for hype.
This is me being cautious for one reason.
They'll just bring it off for hype.
They'll bring it out for hype, maybe, but this is me being cautious for one reason. I am scared with like the idea of power creep because it just means eventually, because Bandai's going to go, well, we've done it for level 6s and we've done it for level 7s, so why don't we just make a triple color level 5?
Yeah.
And I'm scared if they do that because then he really becomes busted again.
Honestly,
Don't even know
I
for
feel like
option
you could.
cards.
I feel like you could bring him back and try and see where he sits.
But right now, outside of with the card pool we have, he could totally come back to 3.
Fuck it.
Sorry, 4. Not you. It's not you. It's 4. Digimon.
Fuck it, bring it to
Fuck
2.
it. One idiot. 0.
I do think I do think they could do with slowing the game down in general.
Yeah, and I feel like reduction effects is a big issue for that.
I'm
but
gonna be honest,
it's way
I
too much to
actually
slow down.
Trainings and stuff.
I think speeding all the decks up together does slow the game down because it puts everything on equal pace. The issue isn't the
I feel
game's
like
too
this is what I
fast.
said earlier.
The
You
issue
said
is
that's not what it
some
should be.
some decks
I don't
are
know, can't
too
remember.
fast than others. If this deck gets brought up to this speed, it's fine. If this deck gets brought down to this speed, it's fine.
Remember when I was saying equaling out the playing field earlier, and you were like, "Nah."
No. That's in terms of speed. I'm talking about in terms of speed. You were talking about in terms of power.
The same difference, right?
No.
I mean, if you
Speed is how fast I hit you. Power is how hard I hit you.
I mean, to be fair, if you're talking Jeremy Clarkson terms, and power does equal speed.
Speed equals hard times.
I think they need to
Zero.
reevaluate what, for example, one memory is able to do, what two memories are able to do, what three memories are able to do.
Yeah, that is.
Actually,
It is a big variation between decks. Like, say for example, Podamon. Podamon with the new Magna Anja stuff can go into level 6 for like 3-4 memory. Whereas other decks just can't do that.
I could be wrong here in saying something, but judging from a Yu-Gi-Oh standpoint, when the ban list was at its best, and we had tons of different decks in the meta, because they were all sort of equal playing ground, power and speed. They were all equal, and it was cool. It was fun. You didn't know what you were going up against because any deck could have been played. It was fun because you could play your favorite. And then they ruined it by power creep, but that's a whole other matter. But what I'm saying is, like, that is where you want the game to be sitting, where
I feel
every
like
deck can compete at the same level.
Yeah, any card game is at its most fun when it's just pick a deck and play it, and it has a chance.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what I'm saying. So you kind of need to get to a point where everything's sort of equal, which is what you're trying to do with
It's-
ban lists.
very difficult, but we are kind of close to that in Digimon.
I feel like
Digimon-
the only way to really perfect it into that, though, is like the fine tunings of using every aspect. Like I say, using the 3 limits, like fine tuning those is where you really start to get to that perfect balance.
Still
form.
don't like
To-
the idea of it, but I'm not fully against it.
To go on to the next card, though,
Yeah, to go into the next, Calling for Darkness, it could stay at 1 or get
It
banned.
actually
It is
could go
banned.
to 0.
I think it needs banned because it has too much potential to either lead to infinite combos
The fact that
or
the way
just
it's worded is you don't even have to delete
yeah,
anything,
you
so
don't
if
have to lead.
nothing
You just
on board-
add
Yeah,
2 for the
I'm
cost of
gonna be
1.
honest,
It's too
one-
good.
One of the biggest things I feel this card could go away for is how a lot of people are using it in purple. And it's just recycle ruin mode.
It feels so sacky though when it comes up against you, and they
Yeah.
have no pieces, and they just go cost of 1, add back the 2 pieces they need, and then go full combo. It just feels too much.
I would love it in version Imperial though.
Yeah, I honestly see this now.
Sunrise Buster.
Adam, I'll let you talk first because you have the shine map in front of you.
The reason
just told us it's not
Sunrise
his favourite
Buster,
deck.
the reason Sunrise Buster was limited was for Crossheart because this came out before Shine did.
Yes.
This got limited before Shine was even a deck. re-
Yes, because it was the old shine that came out.
It didn't even come out with an old Shine. It came out with Rise Grey X.
Oh, right, okay.
It was BT9.
Sunrise Buster got limited because of Crossheart. I feel like Sunrise Buster, arguably same issue with Geogrey, except you're not playing from security, you're playing from hand.
I feel, though...
It's a 5 cost option that you need both colours on the field for.
I'm
It
gonna-
probably could come back.
I'm going to say no. Blue hybrids.
There's a certain
Red,
very
yellow
good
tamer
at
that
the
they play
moment.
for the memory set. That's red, yellow player, and then all the other blue
But you
hybrids.
can only play yellow tamers, so you're
all,
only playing
all the blue, half of the blue hybrids.
No,
No,
it's literally just the red yellow one.
Yeah.
So, like,
you
I
could
think it's
though, in
fine.
actual hybrids run this quite well. But
Look,
I still feel like Adam's right. I feel like it
it's not
could
relevant.
come back because I don't think it would be
No one
relevant
runs
enough.
it anymore. It doesn't do enough.
I wish it
Also,
would be.
don't forget Cross Art's about to get new support.
Again, it's either not doing anything right now, or the builds of it that are doing things wouldn't care about this. They more care about
Believe
the
it or
actual
not,
Digimon from Crossheart
I
rather
actually-
than Tamers anymore.
I really agree with him on this. I actually do think it could go back. I don't think it is going to be broken enough. It's one Digimon that you minus. It is a 5 cost option, and realistically, like most decks probably aren't going wrong.
Anyway, best boy.
I feel like you're underrating it.
I would love it in my Emperor Gremlin,
But
because it's 5 cost, which the tamer costs, by the way, which is 5. Only I get an extra effect if I get the DP minus on Digimon.
I mean, I get why you said that, but I feel the same about Grey.
Honestly, like,
yeah, I know.
like Emperor Grey isn't like an amazing deck. It's a good deck, but it's not an amazing deck.
Yeah, it's
So
very
again,
nice.
unlimiting
I
a card
feel-
like that,
I feel like
unlimiting a card like Sunrise Bester could make it actually pretty good in the meta and diversify the meta away from, I'm going to play this purple deck, I'm going to play this purple deck, I'm going to play this other purple deck.
I feel like
It's
it would
just
be
really
good.
different top ends,
I feel
honestly.
like it would help rein in Impaledra a wee bit as well.
Impaledra is going away.
I know it's slowly going away, but it feels like it's too slow.
How do you feel?
Imperial is not going away, it's only going away.
How do you
'cause
feel Sunrise Buster would help reel in Impildra?
Well, partition in general. It reels in partition a bit because the DP minus, if you
It
minus
triggers
enough-
partition.
It triggers. Wait, DP minus triggers partition?
Yes,
Still partition strong.
it's still in effect.
You know what? Yeah,
It's
no, it
not.
doesn't
It's
matter.
not. It's not like Armor Purge.
Sorry, Armor Purge is what I was thinking of because
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah,
in
I'm trying to get this thought process.
Armor Purge happened in the game
Let's
against
go to
Dargo,
Dora
so
Grey.
we'll just move on.
Well, let's move on. Don't worry, Trev. We'll save you.
What
So
you
don't-
need is a
don't-
Crimson Blaze that DP
Yeah.
by
Crimson Blue,
16,000.
the DP minus is by 16,000. That's what we need.
BT7 Dura Grey. Like the alpha people speak.
This was put on the list because of the protection effect.
Yes,
Now everything has protection, so it could come off.
Was it not
But
the
I think what's actually keeping on the list is the security,
I think it's going to come off.
because you can just stuff 4.
I think
You
it's
can
going to
just
come
stuff
off.
4 of them and swing for 4 checks, and then unswing and
It's
swing again.
too much with the security.
I
I
think
think you could bring it to 2
Whenever I play
maybe,
against
but
it
I don't
in
feel like you
Dorgar,
could do more.
It hurts.
Honestly, I think it's going to come off with the new Alpha Monster.
I think
I
you
think
could-
it'll just print a new level 5 that trashes instead.
They could
straight
print
up
this
level.
new level 5 and just take away the security tackle one.
I feel like you could bring it to 2 maybe. I feel like any more than that it would be a bit too much.
I think it should stay at 1. I hate it, but I think
Yes
it's
though. Limit, we're not even going to talk about this. This does never deserve to come back.
No.
cross 4, or sorry, yeah, cross
Shoutmon
4.
Cross 4.
Yeah.
As a man that wants to build a Shoutmon deck, which
Not
is
with
more-
12
not
rush
with the
sources
cross.
anymore.
Yeah, no, this is just no.
See back when this only had 4 rush sources, which was the 4
It was
original.
brutal enough.
It was brutal enough. But see when we just had those and we didn't have the new ones coming out that also do rush, I may
feel
have
like
been
they-
more lenient. I may have been like, maybe,
when
because
they
they're
had-
not really doing anything
I believe
right
when
now.
they had 2 memory, they literally just had this, and as long as
They
they
would
had
just
more than
win.
1, they just won.
They just went
See, I think you and me have had this exact conversation.
12 rush sources.
Where we literally sat there, we looked at the list kind of idea, like talking about like before the last Banlist came out, and we were talking about like, yeah, Cross 4 could maybe come back. Cross Art's doing nothing.
And then-
They're getting new support
was that
soon.
night.
They were getting new, and then the sets start getting revealing. It's like, that's got rush. Maybe not. That's got rush. Really not. Wait, they've all got rush. Fuck that. It stays on the list.
That's 12 rush. No,
I feel like with the amount that's coming, this probably just needs to go.
no, they don't even play this in the new stuff. Well, they play it as a one-of, but like it's not even the main thing they go after anymore. It's
Well, yeah, they can't run it as 4 for this one.
yeah,
I mean, like, you know, it just has to
they
go.
play it at the mandatory one, but it's not really.
I can only run it as a one-off because it's
I-
limited to 1.
I feel like it could. I feel like it should just go. I feel like it's just too much for what it does for its cost.
Jet
Let's bring
Selfie.
this back
Should
before.
stay.
Stay at 1.
Before all this new hybrid stuff came out, I was on board with Jet Selfie coming back, and then the new hybrid stuff came out, and I was like, nope.
No, it stays.
Tommy has came back.
Megatron Fusion.
No, we
always
don't even
stay.
need to argue this.
Always
Like, we
stay.
all know this is
Not
staying
with
on.
aces.
My deck
Not
would be
with.
so good. With
They brought out a
Megatron
miniature
Fusion.
version of this, and it did nothing.
I would personally like it to come back to 1, just so I can play my Judge Stamp one time, and then they re-put it to ban.
Look, you hang on. You got your judge stamp after it was banned, so you don't deserve that.
I'll just put it in my Omni Zoo deck, go into Sword for free, then go into Alter B twice, and then win the game.
I feel like this should stay at 1 just because of how yellow hybrid is right now. Like, not yellow, but just yellow decks in general. So this is reinforcing memory boost.
I feel like for
I'm
the cost
going.
of 6,
I'm actually
it's a
going to be
lot.
honest. I'm going to be honest. I think this could come back, and I think it could only come back because It's a 6 cost thing. It refunds 3 memory, which
I
is
feel
really,
like-
really good. But the thing is,
Until
like,
that new Securiumon stuff got announced, I feel like no.
no, because it can only play up to 5 cost options.
5 cost options, okay.
So it can't even use them. That.
Okay, fair play.
I
In
think
that
it could come back.
regard, then yeah.
The problem with these type of cards is high cost option cards are a damn thing. So like,
Yeah.
But I mean, the 3 memory is a bit brutal. Like,
Here's another thing as well. This could make Lusamon really good, and I kind of like that idea.
it can.
So no one
also
stays
make,
at 1.
it can also make
Not
yellow
only
high.
could it make it really good, Lusamon kind of counters it as well, because it can
make-
trash options.
It can
now.
make Vaccine Angels very good as well.
That's why I was originally stayed at 1.
I think if they limited Patamon, this could
No.
again go. This could come back.
I think
Disagree.
the ability to manipulate security is enough for this to key stay at 1.
I feel like it could go to 2 maybe, but I don't feel like any more than 2 it'd just be too much.
Honestly,
0.
I want to be completely honest. If it wasn't for its inheritable, I feel like this card could come back.
No, because the reason it wasn't the inherited that got it banned.
I
It was the
feel
fact
like
that you would just keep dropping 1 cost
Yeah,
ice
you-
walls every single turn.
You
Your
did
opponent didn't
3 a
swing more
turn,
than
then
once.
it's just okay.
I mean, no, at the minute where we have super heavy aggressive decks that constantly unsuspended swing, I feel like it needs to stay at least 1.
Before I came back to the game, this is when I played the game, and this was at 4. And what you did, you
I don't agree that it should go past 1.
you just played 2 or 3, and then you essentially ruin moded your opponent because they would do 1 attack and pass turn.
Yeah, you can't.
That's another one thing I wanted to add earlier.
Yeah.
These option cards that say gain 2 memory when hitting security is too overpowered for like the type of game we have at the moment, because that basically says pass turn.
That says end your turn.
Yeah,
Cool. You didn't want to do that yet. Too bad.
I mean,
which is why
There's a
Jack
lot of
Raid
things
should
to
be
do
hit
that
to
for.
1.
I think
I
there's-
agree. Anything that has that as a security effect should be put to 1. But I actually also very much like.
I feel a 1.
I like the idea of like, oh, you've hit security and your turn's been took away from you, just because it is that it allows to come back. Like, if I've got 4 security and you've got 5 rookies, it's like, oh, cool, I've lost. But then that 4th swing is like the ice wall that was Scale's turn. It's like, yeah, you could have got game, but I've managed to steal turn and now I can make a comeback
But
play.
we've evolved past that in the game now, so it's
I don't know. I feel sometimes it can be good, but
One
I think
turn-
it needs to stay at 1.
It says at 1 should be fine.
Unfortunately, I get where you're coming from, but I think it needs to stay at 1.
Honestly, one of the biggest reasons I would love for this to come back to 4 is because we have the Metal Guru on X from EX5.
That does lose 4 memory.
Yeah, I would
No.
love to see this go 1-1-1 and Metal Guru on X. So if you swing, I'm going to go to 10.
I feel like though,
That's
although
why it stays at 1.
I know that Melga Axe
You've
is
proven the
really
point.
good card. You have to get to it, and then on top of that, even if you do get to it, nobody ever fucking swings, so it just sits there completely
Look,
useless.
do
The
you know?
problem with Icewall is the decks it's good in are basically the hybrid decks because you have so much spare space.
Yeah,
Sorry,
get
do you not
turned
remember the
back
other
in.
night? I'm
Yeah.
a chaotic person.
Again, I would like to put as well. God no, does it ever come back to 4 or above 1 in any sort of way while BT11 Mirage still exists? Just no.
I don't think it
That's
should
a
exist.
later
at all.
conversation.
Yeah,
We'll get to it.
that's a one-off. It
There's a
can't
reason
go
it's
higher.
top of the list.
Or 0.
Anyway, what are we on?
Agumon, Digi's
Stays at
option with inheritable.
It's Blossom on with Inheritable. It stays at 1.
Disney's option's stupid. It should probably go to 0,
And the very first
actually.
banned card the very first restricted card that should be banned.
Hidden
HPD.
potential. It should be banned.
should be
A cost of 0, suspend to trigger your effect, and then your next Digivolve costs 5 less. It should be gone.
Here's the thing though with HPD. I think keeping it at 1 is fine. Because green is so irrelevant.
I think green is relevant because of that card.
Green might be irrelevant.
They literally
Still
they
does
balance
damage
every single
whenever it
green
gets
deck
around.
around that card.
Wait.
You're right.
You only need green
Wait.
source,
I
but
want
you
to
did
pause
say-
the conversation. I want to revert to something you said. You said green's only relevant because of this card, and
No.
earlier you said
No, you misheard it.
No.
It's irrelevant because this card exists. Because they balance every single green deck
Around
around
that
this
card.
card. Every
they know that card exists.
every
No, well-
mediocre green level 6 is 5 cost because this card exists.
yeah. Well, I'm saying they're all balanced around this. Green's only irrelevant because of this card type thing. So, but to back what you said, Zephyrdramon is the only relevant green deck right now.
To be fair, do you run hidden?
No, and I can tell you right now, as someone that's after I'm playing, it's looked at multiple lists.
And the reason you don't play it is
there
because
is
there's
zero-
no 5 cost Digimon.
There is 0 lists that play HPD.
There's no need
Because-
to play HPD in it though.
Yeah,
you
you're
just
doing things for cheap anyway.
Yeah, like
No. Saying all that is just going to prove my point even more. Here,
Zephyr is a deck where it has normal Digivolution cost, whereas
I was
most
about to say,
green decks
this is going to
usually
prove my
have
point
higher.
even more though. As a deck that doesn't play, it still should be hit. It should have got banned.
I was going to say as well though, the fact that Zephyrtramon doesn't run this is because Zephyrtramon kind of needs to use the memory to pass the turn in order to do what
there's
it wants
that
to
as
do.
well.
Having this just
I feel this card should have had a memory cost tied to it. Like 1 or 2 memory costs that then reduce.
I feel though like
Then it's just a
Strong.
green
It just
trainer.
needs to be at 0.
anything that can use green though, because it doesn't reduce a green Digimon's devolution, it just reduces, doesn't it?
No, green Digimon.
It is a green Digimon?
It says green,
Okay,
like,
well,
couple
as long as you're playing
different
part green though, you're like,
I'm gonna be honest, it should just go to 0. It's a boring card in terms of how it's designed, and it makes the game boring whenever you use it.
Can't wait to go into Leopardmon for free, then go into Leopard
He's off
X
the
for
list.
That one's
This is
free,
not
off.
Cherubi for
Digimon
0.
just needs to
And
stay.
then Eismon stays out. And that's just the end of the list.
Yeah, Eismon stays. Doesn't need to come.
Tell you, we weren't that, like, honestly, this isn't that long as you think it is.
It took a while.
It did take a while.
We took a while because there were certain things that need to be discussed. And honestly, the longer it takes, the more likely it is this is just a Digimon Banlist podcast, not to have to tie into Yu-Gi-Oh! Just make up the time.
Woo! Okay.
Adam seems very happy about that.
Yeah. I'm not going into a Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list.
I think we're just going to Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list right now.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that's a
guys,
good right.
so Ash
Pot
Blossom should be hit to
Pot
1.
agreed, back to 3.
No, pot agreed to 1. I feel like we need pot
Back
agreed
to
back to 1.
Digimon, where you go. Okay, guys. So
Wait, what
I-
does that card do?
Draw 2.
Yeah, I'm saying, right, it allows me to draw 2 cards from your deck.
Everyone
I
knows
love
what
them
pot...
too.
This card allows me to draw 2 cards from my deck.
Well, he actually says 3 additional cards in the video.
No, actually, keep that card at 0 because Mirage would abuse it. Anyway,
It's a 0 cost option.
so
It is a 0 cost option to draw 2, that's pretty good. Like.
That's pretty
now
solid.
I've got a list. Now, I don't agree all these cards should be put on the ban list. These are just cards I think maybe could be looked at. Some of these I will fight hard that they should either be hit to 1 or 0.
Sadly, I forgot my boxing gloves today.
Very first and foremost on the list is BT11 Mirage Gal. That
You think
thing,
any of us are going to argue with you on this?
I just need to say this one last time. As a former Mirage player, back in BT11 when it came out, it was a fun card. I liked it. It played more of a control style. It's now been in the format 19-20 months, the same deck over and over again, a few different
I fucked up against
innovations.
as well.
A few different innovations to make it even more fucking oppressive every time. It just needs to go.
Pseudo is.
This paired with the Galaxy stuff is stupid. It's just good blue top end.
Yeah.
It keeps your opponent's turn.
I don't even think it should
It's
go to
ice
1.
wall on legs.
I don't even
honestly.
think it should go to 1. I think it should go to 0. I feel like Mirage just needs gone.
No, I think 1 is fine, but
The
because it just
problem-
becomes blue Anubis, and Anubis is fine at 1.
No, it's a
Kinda. It's not as bad.
If you see Anubis in a game and it survives more than 1 turn, you win the game.
The thing is, though, it's the same thing with Mirage as Anubis. It's super, super good because you have 4 of it in your deck.
The problem with Mirage
It doesn't
now,
have protection, you just kill it.
The problem with Mirage now is you can play
It's just
bodies
seven
out for
bucks.
free. You can play bodies out for free.
Yeah.
You have
And
them.
every
have
single
power to
good
put them.
deck has high draw power.
Yeah. That's the thing. This card literally says, oh, cool, you play for consistency? No,
On top of that,
no,
they're-
you don't play now.
They're running Zudos just to go over Zudo with it.
They
so
don't
that you
even run
even-
Zudo anymore. They don't even...
Okay.
You know what they do, Trevor, now? You know what egg they run? They run BT7 Bukemon that gains you a memory when you play Digimon from sources. They go into Honkumon from EX6, play out the level 3 Galmon, both players draw a card, they then gain memory from Inheritables there, they then go into Mirage, refund,
Yeah.
you're at like 12 cards,
Yeah.
they've gone into Mirage for 1. Then go swing the Mirage, use the Honkumon Inheritable to tuck the Galmon back under and unsuspend. They've made
Pretty
BT7 Bukemon an irrelevant egg again, and I hate it that it's not fish.
I'll be honest. I do not think this card should go to 1. I think it should go to 0.
I agree.
Because
I
I
think it should be
feel
0
like
as well.
all that happens at that point, the 3 level 6s that you replace are level 6s that are designed to stall the game out until I see my line. And I'm just holding onto that Mirage, ready to go, alright, cool. Pop off.
Yeah.
The issue is you've already got your level 6, you need to get like a whole new line now. Which is like, I'm fine with that because I can deal with the new lines. As with Mirage not being there, it's easier to deal with the new stuff coming up to go into Mirage.
Speaking of
Mirage being there is the
the
issue.
way you were saying Mirage playing, I feel you've touched on a card that actually I want to bring up, and that's Kaiser Neil.
Is this on the list?
It's on
It's on the list, even better. We'll
It's
get
on
to
the
it when we get
list.
to it.
I've also put BT16 Galgamon on the list because, again, it's also BT16 Galgamon. The level 4 that is not only good for Mirage because it's a in-house jamming
Yeah,
inheritable.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Both players draw a card on Digivolve, and then if your opponent has 8 or more cards
That's
in hand,
the
gain a memory.
Is that the Lightfang Nightclaw one as well?
Yeah, so it's also used in the Galaxy engine. I
Yeah,
think if you
probably
hit that card, you
the
hit the
one.
Galaxy engine.
Yeah.
And
You could put that to 1 though, and it would be
yeah, I think it needs to.
Ban the Galaxy engine, yes.
I've got also the Tamers from the Galaxy engine on here. But yeah, I put BT16 Galgamon because I'm like, if they're pussies and they don't hit BT11 Mirage for the 10th Banlist in a row, they might hit Galgamon instead. Which is not, it doesn't solve the issue. It doesn't even really make it better, but it'll at least calm my nerves a bit.
I'm
Maybe
trying.
it's like a free rounds for
I'm
everyone.
trying to calculate if have we even had 10 Banlists in total in Digimon?
No, but it
No.
feels
No.
like that
He
sometimes.
feels like that. This card has been around for so many bad lists that Adam just feels like there's been 10.
I'm gonna be honest, the fact that they hit Grand Kuwagamon and the promo Garurumon after 5 months of being relevant, but they refuse to hit BT11 Mirage when it's been around for
I had a month
year
of
and
Gabamon and Gurumon.
Sorry, you guys have to go right to complain. I had a week of Greymon X.
There you go. But they didn't say in Greymon X.
Technically, the
they,
set that was I had 2 weeks.
the reason they put was the card speeds up and blah blah blah. The reason they put for the promo Garurumon and the promo Grand Kuwagamon was these cards have been around too long. This card's been around for a year and a half.
Oh, I 100% agree.
Yeah,
It's so
Get it.
dumb.
It's a type of thing where, like, yeah, like they can't use the reason for one card and then just ignore every other card.
and then
attack
they
with-
ignore an actual broken
I
card.
feel like all of us have been in agreement with these two, so what are we going to next?
I feel like it's a disagreement. If I'm reading that right,
I have put AX7 Shoto on the board.
Hang on, no, well, hang on. Before we move on, actually, because you said something
It's
that
kind of lost its umph.
what we think, and then what we think Bandai will do.
yeah. So
I think it's actually lost its umph.
no, real
I
quick.
put it on a list of
So
wow.
Mirage, what about what we thought? Now what do we think Bandai will actually do with the cards?
Oh.
So that's what we're saying. So we honestly think that the card should either be banned or limited to 1. What do we think Bandai's going to do with it?
I
Put it
don't.
Probably limit it to 1.
I don't think BT16 is going to get hit.
I don't
really-
think it's on the radar. I really hope it is, but I don't think it is.
I think Mirage will definitely probably get some sort of hit. If it's not the BT11, I'm going to be depressed. But the reason I say it's going to get touched at least is because every single tournament has had Mirage top. Every single one.
Okay,
What
so
about
what do you
you?
think?
So what do you think Bandai's going to do?
I think they're going to pussy out and hit something out.
I think they're gonna. It's just gonna fly under the radar.
If it does fly under the radar, all that's going to tell me at this point
Is their radar is broken.
Never mind their radar's broken. It's going to tell me Bandai has fucking favourites.
Fair. So what do you think they're gonna do?
With how long it's been around, I think it's probably more of a hope than think that it is going to get put to 1.
It's bad. That's more of a hope than think.
It's really hard to say what we think Bandai will do because Bandai doesn't do what we think.
I know,
Bandai
but
will do.
Maybe
just
they
talking.
genuinely think when they're bringing all these blue decks, oh, it'll be rotated out of the format.
That's
And then we realise, this is the card we printed.
this is
It's
the
actually
set
really
that-
good in Mirage.
Here's the thing,
This
they
is
were
the set
so
that finally
close to
power
that.
creeps it.
They were
Oh, it
so
hasn't been
close to
power
it. They were so close to it back in BT17 with Ancient because a lot of Mirage players did start to go to Ancient Garurumon, and then they went, hold on a second, Mirage was better, and they reverted back.
On top of that, can we point out one thing though, just with the they almost dealt with it with Park Creep, and then they realised all the cards were really good in that stack, and then they just...
So, Shoto.
I think, honestly, when I put this on, Shoto was more of a problem. It's kind of lost its umph now, so I don't really care. It could stay at 4,
I feel like...
and I think Bandai will keep it at 4.
I think it'll be like the decks it's using are like, other than just whack-em on, are just like gatekeep decks. I don't think anyone's playing the decks
Seriously.
to win tournaments.
Yeah.
I feel like...
They're not contenders. They're just kind of annoying.
They're just
It's too
exist.
generically
See-
good though, is my problem. I can feel it becoming an issue.
I'll see if you agree with me with this. Now, what I'd hope they do is limit the idea of anything of the Mother Shoto combo stuff. Any of that stuff, I'd hope they would choice restrict.
If they don't,
I don't. That's why I hope they do. What I think they're going to do is they're going to do nothing about it.
I'm going to join you and just hard slam
I want to point
out.
out. I want to point that out straight away. So, like, I want them to choice restrict Mother Shoto, Mother.
Oh, if they
you-
don't, by the way, if they don't, I'm going to Mother Shoto Master, just pointing out here right now.
But-
Like, if they don't, I'm just going to hard slam level
But no,
4.
I want them to also like choice restrict between the Demon Gate 1 and King Drazel's. I want them to do that. Do I think they're going to? No. I think they're just going to leave it all alone. It's all fine as it is. And I was watching a video that someone compared the idea of Mother Shoto and all that stuff, and it was strictly Mother between Shoto between these 3 eggs, and they were comparing it to a Yu-Gi-Oh standpoint. And when they said it, I kind of semi-agreed.
Sorry, hang on, you do it as well. Sorry, I'm going to join you two and slam
Yeah.
hard.
I love how he's the one I'm mainly talking to, and I'm getting light. Comparing it to the idea of Mystic Mine.
No, I disagree. Mystic Mine is a lot worse. Mystic Mine.
I'm on Trevor's side here.
Mystic Mine stopped your opponent from actually doing anything.
I'm not trying to pick a side or anything. I'm saying, like, I've heard this. I kind of semi-agree. What's your fault?
Shoto, I feel like, is way less power level than Mystic Mine.
No, it's not just Shoto. It's the idea of
No.
the combo of
The combo of Mother Shoto. I even feel like that. No, like there's still ways around Mother Shoto.
Honestly,
Mystic Mine was like you had to open one of 3 cards you were running in your deck, or you lost.
all the good decks.
in that aspect is why people compare it, because you say there's so many around.
I don't though. I don't see that.
But no, you say like there's so many ways around Mother Shoto. When people were comparing it, like at the time of the video, especially, like I'm talking about now, but it's just like, how do you get around Mother Shoto? Be unblockable or be bigger. Have one of these 2 strategies, and that was the same thing with Mystic
feel
Mine.
like-
With Mystic Mine, it was like get one of these cards to out Mystic Mine. That's how.
But you were only playing 3 of them. This is the thing with like the whole Mother Shoto that I disagree with you on. So you weren't only playing 3 because you knew Mother Shoto existed.
It's not even just that. It's the fact that it just depends what deck you're playing.
I feel like everything's bigger.
Not that everything's bigger. Mother Shoto just came at a time where a lot of the strategies were playing small bodies and rushing. Now a lot of the strategies aren't doing that again.
God.
A lot of the strategies are playing tamers and rushing, and they don't care about if Mother Shoto is on the board or not.
To be fair, honestly, I
So
think back when it first released, yes, I agree with that. It was probably a Mystic Mind style play. But now I feel like he's not the boogeyman he used to be, to use your words.
But I think they'll leave it alone. I don't think they need to touch
it's
it.
right.
anymore.
100%. I think they're going to leave it alone.
Imperial was really big at that time, and like Imperial just struggled a little bit against Mother
Yeah,
Shoto.
that's the other thing. Like, you also had decks like Imperial Dramon where they were looking to swing a couple times at their
Yeah,
lower
they had to go up their
Now
line. to do-
nothing wants to swing at low stuff. If you're swinging at low stuff, you want it to die.
God forbid you're level 5 with Geoman and can unsuspend, etc. with Partition.
God,
That
Doesn't
can
have to do its checks.
can bottom deck the Mother. Oh wait, no, can't because it's unaffected.
Like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
I feel like though, if it became,
Most of the people that complained about Mother Shoto were playing
I'm not
a
going to
degenerate deck.
I'm not going to lie though. A low, I don't think they'll touch it. I feel like Shoto is too generic. A Mother is too good an egg that it's going to lead to something down the line. And I feel like that's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's the way a game goes. They forget about these
It's
really
a
stupid
potential
effects.
future ban, but I don't think it needs ban.
Yeah.
Not
at
right
the
now.
moment.
I feel like it's not doing enough.
BT14 Patamon. We talked about this in length. It
Put to
should
one.
be put to 1. It's
Yeah, put to
disgustingly efficient.
I feel like it should go to 1, but at the same time, hitting the TK kind of did kill it quite a bit.
It didn't really though.
No.
I mean-
Patamon itself is still. I still don't like the idea of I get to know what's in my security. I get to digivolve from my security for plus a memory because I then add a card to security and it sees that and gains
So,
a memory.
I mean, to counteract this though, like the
You
first...
have Emissary.
Emissary costs memory and can miss. Patamon costs no memory and can miss.
To counteract this, the first point you made of seeing a security, bees exist.
I'm sorry. There's a
Bees
difference.
don't actually allow you to see security.
Yeah, there's a difference between
Masking
seeing
exists, so-
security, there's a difference between look at top cards of deck and reveal top cards of deck.
To be fair,
There's a difference between looking at security and
Yeah,
both players can
there's a-
see
there's a-
my
yeah,
security.
there is a difference. The difference is how many eyes are on it, but you still see it.
Again, though, if you're saying about seeing security, Geograze, another one, you can look
Yeah,
at security.
but, honestly-
There's a lot of cards that say
I-
look at security, but you have to pay memory for them. Patamon goes, oh cool, I'm out from breeding. Let me have a free look. Oh cool, I like these guys. Let me go do this.
I'm going to be honest, like
I feel like, yes, I feel like it
free.
should probably.
It's free.
I feel
Nothing
like there's,
free should be.
It's not even free. It's a net positive.
it's a net positive.
If
potential.
you
net
have
positive.
TK board, you're digivolving into level 4 for -2 memory.
It's a potential.
You say that the amount of cards that can do that in current
No, it's
meta.
level 3.
My personal opinion on it is, first of all, they're not going to touch it. I think Bandai's not going to touch it.
I think it's.
I don't
been-
think they're gonna.
I don't think
Because
they'll touch it either.
honestly,
I feel like it could though. It could
Do
go
I
to
f-
1. I understand the arguments for putting it to 1.
I can understand the arguments, but that being said, I'm on the side of I don't care because
I don't think it's doing enough.
I was about to say there's nothing doing anything with it right now. There is no relevant deck that is running Patamon right
I
now.
think
Only
3 Great
because
Angels will be very
vaccine-
relevant.
Yeah, as soon
When-
as they do more stuff with 3 Great Angels, as vaccine it stopped being as relevant because they lost their best tamer. As soon as they get a new tamer that's as good as TK was,
And then at the moment, Patamon becomes
But again-
immediately the target.
yeah,
But this is the same way. So we've hit TK. TK's kind of fucked it slightly because it doesn't do what it does anymore. So it's the same as Shadow Mother. It used to be a problem. It doesn't feel as big a problem anymore.
yeah.
Like,
I still think Patamon is probably the best rookie in the game apart from Ugomon.
again, it's up there. I just don't think it does enough now to because it can miss. It's a 1,000 cost or 1,000 DP. Sorry. It's-
1,000 memory.
I'm sorry. Here's the other thing with
But like-
Patamon. Even after you miss with Patamon, you just go, oh, cool, I've missed. I didn't get my free Digivolve. Oh, well,
I guess
Patamon. You just Digivolve it like a normal rookie then. It's not like there's any downside to it.
Again, I feel like although there's no downside to it, the upside doesn't really get you that much anymore. It used to. It just doesn't do enough anymore.
I don't know. I played against it today. The fact that you can still go even like if you go into a Gatomon, you're going +2 memory. If you can go in like Shiro said earlier, you can get into your level 6 and then spawn a board of things for like 3 memory, 4 memory. It's
Well, I mean,
nuts.
most things can get
Again,
up
though,
there for 3 or 4
Diminimon has to very much
Yeah, there's some like
high
turn
roll.
2 though.
Yeah, but I mean, like most decks that are good, turn 2 get to what they need to.
I think it's a problem card. I don't think it should have been printed the way it was. I don't think it's doing anything now anymore.
No,
But
I
it
think
could-
it will.
It
It will
will
become a problem.
become a problem.
will
Now, I
become a
will
problem.
say, on real quick, on the subject of future potential before we move on, it is a card that we definitely need to keep our eye on for the upcoming thing because we are aware from what's potentially been leaked. It's Greymon Garomon deck and Garurumon Patamon.
So it's going to be interesting, yeah. So it could be very.
So there could be potential down the line. So it's
Oh, they're probably. Did they not say about doing something about cross universe stuff?
Yes, they have talked about
Maybe that's what the decks are about then. It's crossing two things that don't normally go together.
maybe.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And
It could be
it could be a
anything.
DM.
Honestly, it could be a problem by the time these structures release, as you say. Yeah,
It's
Like-
it's definitely a card to keep an eye on. I don't think.
especially depending on the
Anything like
TK. If we get a TK and Matt, depending on what the TK and Matt does, it could become a very good.
I
I
will
think-
also just again bring up, I don't like the fact that it can go into a 4-cost Evo Digimon for free with the Rapidmons. The BT8 Rapidmon and the ST17 Rapidmon are meant to be 4-cost level 4s. They have insanely good effects. They're armor purge. They can then go into like Magnas or like Rapid X's over the top. You skip a level.
Again, though, to go into this, there's like super high amounts of stuff that just let you Digivolve for
Not
basically
into
nothing.
a 4-cost 8k, 7k level 4 that minuses DP, has armor purges, blocker, suspends 3 things, minuses D. Goes into a level 6 for cheaper. Like, it's too much value.
I think as well, like 3 Great Angels is actually going to be like tier 1 deck at the moment.
I honestly think when the structures come, it'll be a problem. I don't think it's a problem at the moment.
Like 3 Great Angels in a purple format with protection. And you've obviously got the security loop that you can do with Magnange Woman.
But it is what it is at the minute.
I've
That security loop's annoying, by the way.
I've got BT11 Mervamon on the list, and this was because it's basically played alongside the dog engine, except recently they've stopped playing it, and now the deck that only plays it is Purple Hybrids, and they only play it at 1, and so it becomes irrelevant to be on the list.
Honestly, I don't know enough about
Kinda
the dog
sucks.
combo to like
Same.
comment on it. I don't know enough about Purple Hybrids to comment on it.
Well, you see,
Essentially,
Trevor, you go into your new level 4, that goes into your new level 4, and then you delete itself. And you pass it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You
And then you
do-
change colours, yeah.
do
I know
more
it
than
changes
that.
colours.
Changes
more than
colours. Level 4, swing, end of attack, pop.
You're
take-
forgetting you mill on Digivolve
Sorry,
equal to the
sorry,
colours.
yes, you
You
mill.
mill from both decks equal
Yes.
to the colours your opponent controls.
You gain a memory from, if you've used the right tamer, you gain a memory because
Okay, I
and you
can see
play
that.
back
and,
as
then,
in
and then you play the exact same tamer back.
Yeah.
And
issue
it pops the lowest level on your board.
The
Ah,
issue
gotcha.
I have with
So if your
Mervamon,
lowest level is level 6, well, it's RIP.
What are you talking about? My level 6 is going to be Ancient Gorman, so you're going to pop it and I'm going to get food by my tamer.
that's
So-
cool. I just go another 3 tamers into your security and look, you're dead. Cool. The issue I had with Mervamon was the fact that I actually think this was the more broken part of the Anubis combo. Because you just played Merva off Anubis, you Digicross to reduce it even more, and then you just played 2 more bodies and trigger Anubis more.
Yeah,
This was always the issue.
Merva could become a potential issue. I think she's in that same space as like Pada and stuff where she's not doing much.
I was actually talking to Connor about this. BT11 when it came out was like not a great set, but it is aged like fine wine. BT11
Actually,
cards are
believe it or
stupidly
not,
good nowadays.
like even BT10 is it for Angel Woman and Lady Devi, or was it BT11?
no, that was BT11.
They
That was
are
BT11.
actually coming up really well by actually
Yeah.
in playing.
You've got
So they are. They're actually super fun.
what
and
are you
good.
doing?
Go on, keep going.
The
Okay.
amount of times I'm getting memory of playing stuff.
Totally wasn't a great set. No.
I mean, this card's
Okay,
really
it
good.
was good for this. What else at the time from BT11 itself was actually
But even
relevant?
this is getting better as it goes. It just doesn't have a deck around it that works.
We just need Greymon X.
You just need Greymon X. That was the only really powerful thing from BT11.
Honestly, BT11, they weren't the meta because that was obviously back at a time when only 1 or 2 decks were the meta.
Yeah.
But in terms of
The
BT,
meta.
but in terms of what did BT11 give us, that was really good time. Massimon got a decent
It
but
got good
as I
support,
said,
but it wasn't like...
a deck that I would argue that
It's aged
that's
better.
not had support since. It's aged better, but it's also had new support since then.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was going to say is a deck that hasn't had support since BT12, but the main chunk of it came in BT11.
All Force.
Yulfos.
Yeah, but like... Was it even that good back then? It was like a standard blue OTK.
It was good, but Yulfos and Masty faced the same problem of they were gatekept by their tamers' prices, but
Yeah.
people were more willing to pay into as Mirai to play Masty, because you could buy Masty structure decks, get majority of your deck, buy
Yeah.
the rest of it. Where for Yule Force, you have to get the entire set of the deck from the set. Then you also have to go out of your way to
So for
get
you,
some
so
promos and stuff.
For you that don't know, we're talking about waifu decks right now for the gamers.
I've heard of a new waifu deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually.
No, we'll not talk about that. Waifu decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! is horrible.
Some Malice deck or something.
No.
Oh yeah.
Again, but like a lot of cards from BT11 keep popping up. Like you've got Murder that keeps popping up in purple decks. You've got Mirage that keeps popping up as blue top end. You've got black stuff that keeps BT11 Mamemon keeps popping up.
I'm not gonna lie, playing against Pilgrimon today, I have never. I changed the ratios a wee bit of my Angel Woman and Lady Devi gamers, or by ratios. The ones that give me memory have been so good lately, and I'm like, where have these come from?
Because memory is nice. You've got just good things coming from BT11 that, like, Galacticmon stuff is pretty decent nowadays. It's like tier 2 again. It's because it just needed a tiny bit of support, and it's good now.
But playing them from the Omniswart is very nice as well. You know, playing the 2 Lady Devis and getting like 3.
Plus, I mean, giving back Mega Digimon Fusion.
I still think the card that should have been hit from Numamon was the BT11 Garamon. That was a trash 1-draw 2.
That's pretty bad as well.
That was strong, and that came from BT11.
Anyway,
I honestly feel if that was strong enough, if it was the strongest thing, Numi would have stuck
we're
around.
running back to cards that we were talking about. That we can get to them. We'll work through what we think should be.
I've got BT14 Lugamon and BT14 Baumon on the list, which is the egg.
I don't like
Are they
the
doing
DNA
anything?
deck that comes from Fenligra.
I don't like that the egg is not once per turn anymore. Like, I liked it when it came out. Now it's like, cool, I can go full combo from...
I feel like it does too much for too little. Because, like, it recovers you before it trashes. So, like, I mean, it just does too much. Like, every other card that you have that trashes from security, you have to trash in order to get that recovery.
Yeah.
And, like, it feels like they just circumvent it. They just recover and then send, and then you just can't do anything. That's it. You win from there.
It is a deck, though, I feel like...
I will say, Shira has like, said it before, it can't OTK unless you're force security.
Yeah.
Indeed, but I also feel like, I was about to say, it also feels like one of those decks where for it to pop off fast, it really needs the high roll. Otherwise, it's a very slow, I'm just waiting for the right time. And like...
Didn't feel slow.
It doesn't feel slow
It doesn't
at all
at
when you're
all.
playing against it. Like, I played against it once in regionals, and it absolutely outpaced Blue Hybrid, and I was just like, I was a wee bit bricked, but I literally see my pieces really quickly, and it already killed me, and I was like...
Honestly, the deck requires absolutely zero skill to play, and I have the deck.
Again, it's the fact though
You're just putting 3 pieces in your trash.
I think the 14 Lugamon is very good because it recycles your AGs. And as Jiro put it, like, so bluntly when we were practicing, like, back for regionals with Dexter Agora, he hated that because he would pop my tamers, and I'd just be like, cool, I'm tucking them from trash and gaining memory because of it.
It just felt too much.
did.
I
It
feel like
gains
it's
a memory
'cause
inheritably as well, and, like,
it's a cross of, like, 3 decks, right? Because you have the support from... Obviously, the Ricky of the Lugamon stuff is not just X antibody, but it's that,
SOC.
it's Dark Animal, it's SOC.
yeah.
Like, it just has too much generically at the Ricky level.
I don't think Lugamon needs tip though. Like
I think the Lugamon
only
is
got one
fine. I
relevant
think that to hit Takamikazuchi, you do just hit the egg because it's not once per turn. Like,
But then again,
BT14 eggs are a little bit.
It doesn't
broken.
matter if the egg was once per turn because DNA is a new line. So
It does matter because they
It
just
does matter.
trash
Ah,
all their.
does
Yeah, so the egg
Essentially,
inheritable.
they trash, and then the egg inheritable. If you the card you trash, if you can digivolve into, you can say.
I read.
okay, yeah, then take that egg. Yeah,
Yeah.
And
that's
then
easy
everybody who
enough,
digivolves trashes on your
Yeah.
cards to use
Say for
digivolve.
example, Trevor, you're in for security. I raise with my level 3. I go into my Doragora. I trash my level 5. I go into my level 5. My level
Yeah,
5.
okay, yeah, no,
My
Trash
level 5
goes into
crashes
the
my level
sets.
6. I go
Yeah.
into my level 6.
Not even.
100%
It
the
doesn't
egg.
matter how much memory you spend as well. because you just DNA into your level 7 at the
If you
end,
put me
which
to
sets
one
you
memory,
back to
I
3
win.
and then gains a memory. So
Yeah.
And also just
So the turn
recovers
doesn't
you
pass.
and then just trashes. And
the-
then trashes your opponent. And
it's
you
the
swing
fact
for
that you
game.
can go full combo, not care about how much memory you're spending, because you just always set it back to where you keep turn.
Yeah,
So
I
the
feel like
reason-
that. Yeah, I feel like the egg needs to go down.
The reason as well you play Dorogoramon is you go into Doragora, you then attack the Doragora with the hopes that Dax Doragora in your cross. That gives you the one security check you need
The
to get.
the level 4 one you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Doraemon,
Anyway,
Doraemon.
I
Doraemon.
feel like the egg should probably get hit. Bit of a wild take.
The thing is, I think if you
Wild
were hitting
take?
the
A
egg,
wild take. Something Bandai might do to try and push BT20/2.5. They might just hit the level 7 to 1.
That could
No, they wouldn't.
And
They won't.
could.
They'll just power creep it into a super rare, and then it becomes irrelevant, and then I have to spend more money.
the problem.
You spend the money anyway, so what difference does it make?
Makes difference.
The problem with the egg is you need to hit it to 0 if you're going to hit it.
I think Balmon should be hit. That's it. I hate saying that, but
The problem is Balmon will need to go to 0.
I don't think it will. I think it's like a big one
will.
situation.
Say for example you start the game and you don't see it as your first egg. Well, you just raise that Digimon and swing it into your security. It doesn't matter what happens to it. And then
Yeah.
you'll keep doing that till you hit the right egg and then you're so TK.
The issue is if you put it to...
Oh, you just put on deletion down in errors, and then
Yeah, exactly.
you get the draws, and then you get to see your
And
pieces.
you
and
run
then-
Ukamons in the deck.
Or, to be fair, if it's hit to 1, you just switch to the Dark Animal engine and you don't even run that egg.
Honestly, I could just see people, if it was hit to 1, you just run the one egg.
No, the issue with that is then you lose Ukomons if you just run the
No,
one.
I feel like you just run the demi mirror, so
Every
deletion you
single
draw.
Digimon in that deck has essentially an on-play. So like the Doraemon, the level 4 has an on-play, where you cross one draw one. Your level 5, where it's end of turn, you delete it to draw 2 cards.
You just demi mirror, right? You just because on deletion draw 2 trash one.
You would
like,
go into a situation where you would run 3 of your other egg and 1 of that one. You know the way like you do with the Jamin.
Yeah, but you probably run the 3 on deletions just so you can draw.
I don't even think Takamitsuchi is that big of an issue though.
Honestly, it felt really brutal when I went against it, but
It can feel brutal, but it could also it's very hard. It's very easy to brick like a motherfucker because the thing is, like,
well, I wish fucking people bricked against me, Lumus.
the big thing about the
I
deck,
played it against Adam and I bricked like 2 games in a row.
the big thing about the deck is everything inside the deck is technically searchable by all the memes you say, apart from the level 6 Pulsemon. Like that one you've got to hope you draw into.
I'm going to be honest though,
Or you get
in
you
future
do,
people are starting to use the Great Memory Boost and the, I forget the name of it, but the ones that search green and purple and yellow and purple specifically in Takamikizuchi, because then you have a search for the green yellow
you got
level
search
6.
But like right
So
now,
that becomes untrue in future.
in future, yeah. But right now, it's just like they've got to hope that they get that level 6 because
I mean, I will say in future, we're saying in future, by the time this airs, that set releases in English market and it's around now, technically.
Anyway, what do we got next?
We got a twofer. We've got the EX5 Sayo and Co. and the EX5 Co and Sayo Galaxy Tamers.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like any of this stuff. I think like the whole.
Honestly,
honestly,
Engine is
I feel
fucking
like
stupid.
they slipped up when they made these tamers.
They're too generic.
Put
They're
it all-
I don't
weirdly
even.
too generic.
I don't even think it's just the team because we were talking about this. I was like, you can technically run that entire galaxy as a bottom end, and then you can use the tamer to DNA and Omni Alter S.
You can use the red
can do
tamer
that.
to
Yeah, you can. You can literally go the whole way to the level 6, and then you can just go boom.
you can use the
Yeah.
red tamer to free digivolve to any blue or red level. Not even blue or red. Any level 6 that can digivolve from blue or red for nothing. It is an HPD in blue and red on legs that is just free value.
I feel
And
like
you
it's
run
just way too
Paladin
much
mode
free
just to
value.
recycle your entire deck so you never deck out anymore.
I think
It's
the
so
whole
stupid.
line just needs banned and they need to read out.
I don't think the whole line needs to
Or
go. I think if you
errata.
hit the tamers,
You need to hit
line's
the
up
level
first.
3s. The blue level 3 is broken.
Honestly,
The red level 3 ain't much better because you just Rowdy Rocker more underneath.
This is what I was saying.
It's just a very convoluted deck.
When I played against Eddie, I was just like, hey, I can just run Alter S with this fucking engine at the bottom end, and it works perfectly.
I've
It
tried
does nothing problem.
I've tried it. It doesn't work as well as you think.
Why would it not work as well as you think?
Because you don't really DNA what you need to together as easily.
But what I'm saying is, like, the entire way up, the Tamer is just way too generic, as you say. Because you just throw down stings and then you DNA. Like, even, you can literally run everything up to the level 5s, and then for your level 6s, you could run Metal Gromon and War Greymon, and then Digivolve into one, play the other, and DNA.
Like I say, you can't really. You can, but it's not as easy as that. I have tried on DCGO. And it sort of works, not very consistently.
Your inheritables are also much better.
You kind of don't care about the DNA part.
You
kind of don't care about the DNA part. All you care about is the fact that you're going into things for 0
but
or
what I'm
cheap
saying is
or
the
getting
fact of
chance.
red and blue DNAing in general, that just becomes really stupidly broken.
I think we're in agreement though that whole Galaxy engine needs...
I think hitting the Tamers
It needs redone or something. Like, it's just...
Hitting the Tamers
it was a mistake.
It was an oversight for definitely.
Honestly, you could just choice restricted. They have to run everything with a
thing
certain
was,
trait.
it got slept on so hard because it came out
Well,
and
I
it
didn't
was
even
like...
mention the dog walking there.
It did nothing.
Anyway,
It was
It's
scary
still a
thought.
possibility though.
It's a possibility
we'll
that it did
continue on.
nothing.
I don't think they'll touch
first
it,
of all,
but-
just to touch on it real quick. The blue tamer's already been choice restricted. The blue tamer was getting used in dog walk, and
For more infinite combo loops.
for more infinite combo loops, and the red tamer was getting used to as a way to cheat out Quartzmon real quick.
Will be. Will be when we get BT19.
There
Yeah.
there's Mirage.
was in
There was
Japan.
Mirage
Yeah,
using
it
it
is.
as its bottom end as well.
So
Used.
the tamers are the big part of the galaxy. Like, these are an oversight, and they're getting abused in ways that were definitely not what they were designed for. Way outside of the spectrum of abuse type, like outfit card. Like, they were a complete oversight. Both cards need to be put to one. Massive trait restriction. Ideally banned, and like say need to be redone, like you say.
Or added.
Something is done about them because
The thing was as well, like if you read the cards, they've got the traits listed on them. And when you read them, they look like they're in the right place of like, oh, this can't be abused. Like, it took me forever to realize how generic the red one was. They actually read fine. It's the fact that like they're generic in a surprising way that you don't expect. Reading them, they read fine. In practice, they're awful, and they should have had just the traits fucking stamped in ink, like black ink all over that card. It should have been after every other word. It should have been Digimon, Lifefang Lightclaw with Nightfang Lightclaw, trait Nightfang Lightclaw. It should have just been every other word, and then we might have been in a fine situation, but still somehow people would find a way to abuse it.
I can just imagine this card just reading Nightfang Lightclaw, Nightfang Lightclaw, Nightfang Lightclaw.
I think I get the point. Jesus.
And still someone would go, I could use this in Mirage.
Next.
Yeah. EX4 Heaven's Judgment.
This needs put to one. I feel like it should maybe get banned.
I don't know. Argo today used it on a rookie. It came on security, mind you, but I used it on a rookie.
But honestly, the further we go into the game, more triple colours are appearing.
Yeah. And
now,
again, there's only one triple color Digimon in the game that doesn't have yellow or green in its colors.
Now,
One.
it was
one.
It was
One.
fine when it was a thing of like, okay, I can spam the board. I've got many different colours. Like, okay, you've earned.
It is
the bit-
Digimon, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, okay, I was
Yeah.
just checking it didn't count tamers because that would have been
No,
better. I
it
would have
doesn't.
been really need
If you,
banned
ha-
if it did.
if you have a green tamer, you may play it,
Yeah.
but it counts the colours of Digimon.
Yeah.
But like,
For
say,
the DP minus.
but if you had the ability to spam many different coloured Digimon on the board and stuff, it's like, cool, you've earned the ability to have this many colours because you've spent so much money to do it. When now it's like, I Digivolve once, and now I have 3 colours.
I neg 24.
And it's just like, that alone is enough to like make the card like stupidly overpowered. And keep right, that's 24 minus not all. You could do it on a single card, or you can spread it out per 6,000.
I will also say, see when we found this out when it released as well, the fact that it doesn't activate just for once for every color, it activates once for itself and then an additional time for every color. That was also just a mistake. It should have just been once for every color, because at the
if anything, it should have added to its effect for every color.
Yeah, it should have just been like increase, not so you had to do it on the one target. Rather than it being a board.
No,
if it was all on the one target, it would kind of fix it. Because then you couldn't board wipe.
You say that, but on top of that though,
I would like to
you
be
have
able
stuff
to,
like partition and stuff, so not having one target is really good. But
Well, no, because partition would wait until you've picked all your targets.
oh, you have to pick out your targets. Fair. But like, I mean, there's that many spam across the boards. Like, I mean, it's a pretty good sort of board clearing one. Like, while
easy,
it is quite easy. I do.
I honestly think high cost option cards are like the others, the way the option cards need to go.
I think that it needs to go to 1.
there is still a lot of high cost option cards though. Like
7.
It needs to go to 1. I feel like it's fine at 1.
Like
It's
I
fine at
think
1.
like high cost option cards seem to just be a damn breed.
I don't think it will go to 1, but I think it'll be good at 1.
Like all the 7 cost option cards, for example, that came out in the latest set, you never want to actually play them. You just put them in the trash.
I'll be honest, like a lot of the high cost option cards these days, you're only playing because they're incredibly busted or they've got another effect on top of what they're doing. So, for example, like say Biting Crush,
Yeah,
like
the trash effects.
You're playing that because
you play Leviamon for free off of it.
Yeah, it's like if your opponent dares play a Digimon Mind Effect, you're going to free Leviamon. As you play Heaven's Judgment, because like you say, oh, I've got a free color Digimon. That's minus 24 on 1, minus 12 on 2, minus 6 on 4. Like, it busted that way. So you're no longer playing a card like Gaia Force, where it's like, cost of 8, what to do? I delete a Digimon.
Yeah.
That idea of a high cost option card that does one thing is just not a thing you play anymore.
Would putting it to 1 even affect it though? Because most decks are not have it at 1.
What, Heavens?
Yeah.
Most people would have it as a 2 of.
Honestly,
No,
I feel like putting it at 1 though
is
is like really good because you have one use of it instead
it
of
could be
like
insecurity and only do minus 12.
it could be the best use or it could be the worst use.
I actually will say something.
It could be
The
the turn of
only
the game.
good part of how they designed that card was instead of going security effect, activate main effect, they went security effect, do
minus 12, yeah.
They did kind of like limit that a bit.
Yeah.
But I still think I completely agree with you. The fact that all but 1 3-color Digimon in the game, all but 1, which is Zed Millenniumon, every other 3-color, the fact that I can activate from green or yellow is stupid because you've got so many more
It does feel
decks
weird.
you can play in it.
It does feel super weird for it to be to activate from a green.
It's because it was a Troopymon card.
Yeah.
I'm just
It
going to
was a
say
bunny
one.
card.
I was going to say one thing about it that's really fucking stupid is with new hybrids though, you can literally have so many colors on, say maybe a Chimeramon, and then play that, and it's just going to be like that one.
It would probably be fine if it just says delete DPX, like that, you know, like Gallant.
Well, that's what they're saying if it was 1 as well. I think at 1 though it's fine. I think it's 1 power card.
I don't think it does
it's
anything
not
to put it
the-
on.
It's not the end of the world if it's a 1.
People are stopping to play it. Do I think it should be hit? Yes. Do I think it will be hit? No.
The issue is like DP minus is also the best removal in the entire game.
Actually,
There is that as well.
I still agree that putting in the security is the best removal in the game.
I don't think so anymore.
The partitions
Depends what color you're playing. If you're
partition-
playing yellow, where you just go, cool, it's in security. Did you evolve into it again?
Yeah,
Not
but
really.
like, you know, this is what I'm saying though. Like,
The best
from playing
removal in the
Mastermon,
game,
which I play a lot of Mastermon.
the best removal in the game, Trevor, is putting your top Digivolution card underneath something else.
Yeah, well, that's good as well.
Using Bagram or
Yeah, because it's actually still on the board, so it doesn't actually have any protection effects for that.
No,
It's not leaving the area.
it doesn't matter though. If a Digimon says when this Digimon would leave,
The battle
Digimon,
area.
Yeah, the Digimon has left the battle area. The Digimon's not there anymore. We've had this argument.
We've had it.
The Digimon is not there.
De-Digivolve then. Technically De-Digivolve
De-Digivolve is the best removal. Because the Digimon stays. Because you can't protect from that. Because the Digimon line is still there. That's what cares
Just be
about.
careful with your banging.
Anyway.
That's what it cares about. The Digimon still recognizes itself.
I think
being
DP reduction's good. I think it's the third best removal. I think security's the second, and I think Digivolve's the first. But
I think DP minus is better than security removal only because protection effects. You can go, right, I'm DP minus to 0, I use my protection effect. You're still 0, you still die. Security, you go, I'm going to put you in security. I'm going to use my protection effect to protect. Cool, I'm still on the board.
yeah, except like 90% of cards, because of the way they worked, DP reduction was there was a lot of cards printed for DP reduction, whereas until recently there's been very little for security.
I mean, in terms like, I think DP minus is the best. Digivolve second, and then bottom decking's third.
Nah, Digivolve's definitely the best at current point in time.
I think Digivolve's the best one.
There's two ways
Very
you can look
dependent
at it.
on the deck you're playing against.
Digivolve is good because it makes things weaker and it removes problem effects. The issue with Digivolve though is it's not really removal of the line.
Yeah, the main
you're
benefit to
removing the
Digivolve
problem
is-
right now, but that could come right back.
I think it's better. It's not about removing the problem. It's removing about a future potential problem in the sense of, yes, I've made you weaker and stuff like that.
I've
But
maybe
it's just
removed
like
partition, I've maybe done this. I've
maybe
done
remove
that.
partition. But I was going to say more the fact of right, you've been clearly sitting like you've ended on this level potentially for an ace.
I'm sorry, this
Digivolve.
podcast has just made me realise how much of a hate boner Trevor has for partition.
Hi.
I'm like, it's not that bad anymore.
Well,
honestly.
Trevor, you just strip the source.
I hate partition. I actually do really hate partition.
Just strip the source, Trevor. Just strip the source.
Don't make me eat your fucking appeals or card.
I think they did
we'll move
good,
on.
but at the same time, it's like the body's still there.
Yeah, the body's still there, so it's like
You know what?
it's
Just give me the
pretty
whole deck.
The upside is that it pretty much gets past protection effects
good. Well,
or like removal effects. Like if this would leave the battle area.
yeah, it gets past that.
anyway.
the body's still
So
there.
what's the next card?
Honestly,
the,
a
the
card.
main thing with Digivolve is when you Digivolve, the Digimon underneath usually is now removable if you have a deck that lets you do it.
90% of Digivolve decks, but anyway.
I don't think Digivolve is good removal. I think Digivolve and then do X is good. So Digivolve and then I'll delete it,
So we're all
and then
agreed.
I'll bottom deck
Dave
it.
More Money is the best.
Digimon S is probably the best.
It's really good.
I actually wish I had more of them, I'm not gonna lie.
The next card is actually something I don't think should be looked at. I only put it on because I realised Quartz could swing twice with it. Grand Gilmon from AX7.
Well, if technically going off that, it's also the structure deck Grand Gale.
Technically, but I prioritized the AX7 one because it had the protection effect.
I mean,
The fact that
associated with it.
Quartz could swing twice.
Quartz can also swing twice in a Jesmon deck.
Yeah, could Digivolve over
Because
black.
you just
This
change
one's
the top
easier.
end.
This
You
one's
just change
easier.
the top end of Gankumon, have a Sistermon on board, 2 swings.
Yeah, but this one's easier.
Yeah,
You just
that
swing at
one's
a
just
Digimon?
swing on spin swing.
I don't think it should be hit. It won't be hit. I just put it on because again, Quartz
It's
swinging
kind of
twice.
scary. Like,
When I realized Quartz is when
Lick him,
attacking once per turn. Wasn't once per
What I
turn.
want you to think about, a really scary thing, and this is something I've not done in Vortex, but some people have, is first of all, you can declare attack with Quartzmon onto a pause Digimon, so then trigger your Grand Gale to unsuspend. Your Quartzmon can then go, I'm going to trash cards and security for every 5 suspended. You do that first, even because your Quartzmon's suspended. So you've got there's 10 cards suspended with trash 2. Grand Gale, unsuspend. I'm now going to tap Shoto to swap from attacking your Digimon to attacking your security for a third check.
You actually wouldn't do that though. You would actually just still hit into the Digimon because the great thing about
would
that is
depend.
you're not hitting security, so the Quartz can't hit a security.
It would
No.
depend. It would depend on the number of security cards left compared to the number of.
Yeah, if you have
cards.
redeem, I suppose.
If you.
That's what I'm saying. Like that is an idea.
If you would,
combo,
if you would
it's
switch it and you're putting them to keeping them at enough suspendeds on the board to trash the last of the security while hitting one to remove it, you're pretty much going to do that.
I mean,
But again, you probably wouldn't. You'd probably just go cool. On my next swing, I just trash again.
You could
Because
probably
when
put
attacking,
blades.
Yeah,
it's a
but what I'm
once per
saying
turn.
is, if, like, say, you trash 2 and they have 3 left, and you can trash another 2 by keeping that, you'd switch it into security because you hit that one that reduces
they've
them
only
to
got
2,
one- if
and
you've
then you
only
can
got-
swing and trash the last
Yeah,
2.
If you've only got one body, so
Sorry, I was
it's a very
I was
situation.
misunderstanding the
You
fact
could,
on
you
that
could
one.
probably put Quartz, Death X, and Rune Mode in the same category.
Yeah, I always have.
I feel like there's they're on tiers, so. But honestly, do I feel like we can put Grand Gale? No, they're not going to touch it because honestly, out of
They're not even gonna. It's not even gonna be.
We're gonna leave the
the
next one to last because it can be a very big topic.
honestly, but real quick though, real quick on the subject of Quartz room modes, and I'm not even going to talk about where it should be, type thing. If room mode's the next thing on your list, I'm not even going to talk about that yet. And the subject of Def X, Quartz, and room mode. It's like you're saying, put them all in the same category. Yes, I put them all in big level 7 power cards, but they're also very different power cards. And out of the 3 of them, I feel like Quartz is
The
weakest and step back a bit now. Like, it's a very powerful card, don't get me
At
wrong.
the time, it was hell.
Oh, at the time,
Nowadays, it's
yeah.
like, cool, I
I feel
can
That's
kill
what I
that.
mean. Like, it was hell at the time. It's
Yeah.
still a very powerful card, but in comparison to the other
I was
two,
going to say as well, Defax is only good because we've just discussed it. The Digimon is probably one of the best things,
Yeah.
and then Delete.
and especially with the amount of tamers people play now, and Digimon.
I mean, to
so-
be fair, I got to play my Defax for 2 against Lara and like remove her entire board.
So-
I'm sorry, have I told you yet?
Death X
I
is
think
one
I
of so
have.
many games.
In my Ultimate Cup,
It's broken.
in my Ultimate Cup, when I was playing Shine, so the first one, I had my opponent on 4 memory. They were playing Mother, like D Reaper, like pure D Reaper deck. I had my opponent go on 4 memory. Go, you have 6 tamer or 6 Digimon and tamers. I had 2 shines with 2 level 5s underneath with no others. It just go into level 4s. He went cost of 2 Death X, de-digivolve them both, delete nothing. You still have 6 on board. Cost of 2 Death X, de-digivolve them, then now delete them, and now I have 2 Death X's on the board.
I'm going to let you continue this conversation, Mick. I'm going to be right back.
Anyway,
That was my leg.
Guys, this is a coup. We are now taking over the channel. You're welcome.
we'll just move on to the next one. That's fine.
Yeah, he'll come back and understand because the next one is Quartz.
What, the next one is Quartz?
Yeah, because
I
we're gonna
honestly
leave the
think
other one
Quartz is not
to the end.
good enough to where it was. Like, it used to be you could just go into a Quartz and you could completely lock down the board and your opponent could do nothing until they removed it. Now it's kind of like, I already have basically every way to remove this just by digivolving.
Again, I put this on the list, one, because newer cards are kind of making this more relevant again. The fact that I can swing twice with Grand Gale. The fact that in future you can cheat into it using the Galaxy stuff.
The Galaxy
And
stuff we know
the-
needs to be dealt with.
The Luminamon level 5 that's coming in BT19.
I feel like we can't just keep ignoring the problem and banning the ones that are benefiting off it. I think the Galaxy stuff is the ones that needs to go.
I agree
think
with you. I
Quartz
just
is
put it on there.
I think Quartz is probably the weakest of the 3, as we talked about as well. I do agree. It's not where it used to be. It used to be very strong.
I just put it on there because
It's
Quartz.
Naruto.
Yeah. I agree. I don't
It used to
think
be really strong.
I don't think I'll get
It
touched.
lost its fox, and then that was just dead.
Yeah.
One Piece is Rune Mode.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
So
Death
we're talking
X is
about
Bleach.
Yeah, so...
So I heard that as we're going upstairs.
Yeah, so 5 words or less. Quartzmon.
Quartzmon, I can't use 5 words, but I can quick sentence. Unless the deck is specialised in it, so like, was it Hunters? That was
Hunters, yeah.
So unless
Hunters, Rival Hunters, whatever.
unless it's Hunters, anyone that's playing it is not really playing it as more as a one of. So if you were to hit Quartzmon because you're trying to hit it, you have to ban it.
I'm actually going to disagree. A lot of the time when I put Quartzmon on a deck, or see Quartzmon on a deck, it's a 2.
Honestly, I
I'm
don't.
going to say it's not good enough to be
It-
Yeah,
it's not good enough. No.
No, the reason that is, though, is because the colours that Quartzmon are the colours that don't have any good level
It
set.
is, though. It is unidentified and can be searched in Dearborn Month.
But no, honestly, I feel
That is true.
like these days, like any deck that you run Quartzmon in, most of the time it's a green deck. Let's be honest. And at that point, you're probably running one Quartzmon Paladin. Totally not what I'm thinking about doing in Vortex.
So the next card is
You stay away from
Protoform. EX5 Protoform, X Antibody Protoform.
Now, do you generally believe? This me just want to check the state of your mentality here. Do you generally believe it needs hit, or do you generally believe you want it hit because it's too expensive and need too many?
I genuinely think, one, we're getting a lot of X Antibody support in every set now. Two, there's engines like the dog engine in purple that abuse this card to basically never pay
Wait, actually
memory.
finally finished the first list.
Yeah.
I feel like you've just gone.
left that card.
I feel like I feel like you've just gone.
Sounds like the dog engines.
I feel like you've gone down the same route.
Right, I was just trying to read it.
What I said
No
before
figures.
there, when you said that, it's like you can't keep banning the cards that benefit from the problems.
But Protoform kind of is the problem.
It's not.
You get to add cards back to hand. You add itself back to hand if the thing gets removed.
The problem with Protoform is, in decks that want tamers that have Axe antibodies, you really don't have a lot of room.
I was going to say though,
You either pick Protoforms or
like
trainings. and
90%
scrams.
of X
Protoform-
antibodies
when
been
Proto-
made for it.
But the thing is, when Protoform came out, it was a 1 of index. It was. You ran out 1, 2 at most if you're feeling spicy.
Yeah, but
It is
Protoform.
now
I would-
mandatory 4, and it's stupid.
And why do
I
they
would
run it at
argue
4?
that
So you see it.
No,
Because it's that
because they don't need tamers.
No.
Leviathan doesn't run tamers. Lord Knight Axe doesn't run tamers.
You're on mats.
Lilithmon doesn't run tamers. And
You're
they're
on
all running at
mats.
4.
You're on mats.
Yeah, they're
So you're
running one
running-
of
you're
a
running
mat to get their
yours.
fucking option card back.
You're running a one-off mat. That I mean, you can't say that's running tamers.
But the thing is, I genuinely think there's no reason that
I
a
feel-
card that can add itself back to hand should be a required 4 of in deck.
I think it's select decks. I don't think there's a lot of X antibody stuff that's doing a lot with
There's
it.
only one deck.
Like I mean,
run it-
bees
run
are
it 3 or
doing
4.
nothing with it.
There's only one
Bees
X
are
antibody deck.
bad. I don't want them to be bad, but they are.
But I
bad.
have an issue with decks that do
There is
nothing,
only one
still
engine.
requiring it at
There's
large.
only one engine that runs at the 4, and it's the dog engine.
And then, no, to be fair, bees do run out of 4, but bees don't do anything with
They
it.
run at like 2 or 3.
They
But
still don't do anything.
they go into their level 4 for free.
Oh yeah, I go into my level 4 for free. I do nothing with it.
It's
run it
the,
at 2 or
it's the
3
way
because
they
they have
recover
tamers.
in bees.
But like, this is the thing though. Like,
I still don't agree that a card that can add itself back to you once you remove it from the field
I mean, we should probably just quickly,
from its own thing.
just to quickly clarify. Obviously, when you're saying add it back to you, you're about the fact that you put some security and
Yeah.
security effects that back to hand. Just so no one starts commenting below, going, he realizes it goes to security first. When you're saying add back to hand, you're about it goes to 7 security and security effects just put back to hand.
again, like,
What
there's-
Adam doesn't realise is who checks security these days?
everyone
Apparently, a lot of people.
No one.
I trashed down 4.
You trust security.
It doesn't matter when you're running a 4.
Who checks security these days?
It doesn't matter when you're running a 4 though.
What are you talking
You
about?
have 4 of them in security.
I choose this guy.
Bees adds itself back to
put
hand
it-
because you just go, I'm
I
going to
put him in the bottom.
I'll grab that.
Oh,
It is
that's
a-
how
it
it's
is a very
thing,
broken
so you put it
card.
at the top, you put that
It's
at the bottom,
very
trash
broken.
till you have 4.
But it's
It's
only
a
broken
zero.
in.
It's a 0 cost reduced by 1.
It's only
You're
broken
going
in the
into
dog
all
engine,
the
though.
broken level 6s.
Again, no, you just, if you do anything with it, you take it away, they just replace it with X antibody, and then they swing to go into it. It's the same.
But you pay the memory. You pay full memory for shit.
But
It's a more aggressive playstyle, which
Hey,
I want to get back
I feel
to.
like you're using 4 spaces, right? You're using 4 spaces for X antibody, right? Protoform. The reduced evolution cost. Cool. Trainings do the same thing. They do it.
They
per-
run trainings as well.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's their prerogative.
So Lord
But-
Nightmon runs
I
4.
feel like the problem where we're seeing the fact that a lot of decks wanting to run more of the protoform over the old one is because they're designing cards to benefit the protoform more. Because obviously in the old, when we had the
discussion
BT9,
we had when it got revealed.
because when we had the BT9 X antibody stuff, when protoform was just coming out, every deck benefited from the idea of
Digivolve
swing,
and non-attack.
digivolve, get a digivolve effect, and I do nothing else with that. Where now it's a matter of, no, I want to be digivolving and then swinging.
I honestly,
also
I
bring
don't
up-
feel like it's good enough to be
It
banned.
is though, because not only are you putting it under reducing and then getting the immediate effect of whatever you're digivolving into, you're also getting the effect of everything you digivolve on top of that line for the rest of it. So you've gone cheaper into the first thing, which then gives you the memory to go into your second thing and then get its full effect. Then you're going into your boss monster getting its full effect because you've got X antibody.
I'm just saying, I feel
you don't
like
need
the,
to X antibody climb
the
anymore.
amount of reductions though that are in the game at the minute, it just doesn't feel good enough to hit.
Honestly, it's only broken.
Play against Lord Nightmon, you'll see.
It's only broken in that deck.
Fine,
Honestly,
I'll trash it out of the security.
It's not in security. It's in 3 of their Digimon
Yeah,
across
but
their
I'm
board.
Gonna
But
keep
Adam-
putting their Digimon in the security.
honestly,
and then trashing
real
them.
quick to move on from this, otherwise we'll be stuck in it. So, honestly, I feel like it's only one deck. I honestly feel like Bandai's going to do nothing with it. They're not going to touch Protoform. If they're going to touch the deck that Protoform's been a problem in, they're going to touch other cards outside the Protoform.
It's the fact that it's
And the other thing that I was going to bring up,
I mean, on top of it, I don't even care if it goes to one. I only play one of his decks.
but the other thing to also bring up as well is if the thing that Protoform is doing that's causing a problem is the fact that it's really just Digivolution reduction. Again, like you say, by the time this podcast is out, we're going to be to a point where the LM set things out. We've got scrambles, and their on play effect is reduced Digivolution.
You still pay memory for them. It's a 0 cost reduced by 1.
But it's an extra reduction though. Like they reduce even more for that memory you're paying, so it could still technically even out. You know what I mean? Like it's not perfect.
I
But
don't see it that way personally. I still see anything where you don't pay anything for it is better than
Can I just
I'm going
say,
to pay memory for a little bit more.
Can I just say it? They only run it. It's only broken in the dog engine, and the main reason is in the dog engine you will go into an X antibody raw. So as in, you'll go to your level 4, and then you'll want to go into say Lilith X, right? Which has a normal Digivolution cost for some fucking reason. Like it costs 3 to I think it costs 3 to Digivolve.
Well,
It's
all
4.
X
It is
antibodies have that. They have a higher cost for Digivolving.
No, but not
No,
the, not
it
the stuff in
doesn't
the dog
have a
engine.
higher cost.
That's why it's broken. Because
They
you're
have
Digivolving
normal.
for
It's a 3
the
cost.
normal cost.
Yeah.
that's an issue, but it's one deck.
Yeah, it's only broken in the dog engine, so ban the dog engine.
I don't think it's only broken in the dog engine. I think it could easily get out of hand in every other X antibody deck. I think it already has.
Well, say for example in Gallant X, you so all your X antibody resolutions cost 0 on top of the Digimon you're running, apart from War Growl and Gallant X, which cost 1 each. So you're saving 1 memory in them decks.
Naga.
It's not about the fact that you're...
It only gives, like, you would run it say as like a 2 of to gain consistency if you can't find say a normal War Growl and you want to go into War Growl X to have X antibody underneath to then gain the effects of War Growl X.
Just to touch on something you just briefly said, I don't feel like we can't. Future potential means we have to keep an eye on it, but I don't feel like without truly knowing what these future cards can be, it's hard to say. You know what I mean? Like it's a possibility. Like it's.
I can see it being.
I'm probably misinterpreting this meme, but it's like shrugging his cat type thing. Like we don't know what the future's going to hold in the sense of like it's broken, but it's not broken. Like you know what I mean? Like all the cards that come out.
I think it is still really bad, and only because you see it more now, because you're playing it more, you're having it under multiple lines now, not just the one. So you can't remove anything without the risk of giving your opponent more security, which then just adds back to hand. Which then they can just
engine.
We don't want it banned very soon because we're going to be putting Bs and we needed a 4. But
even when you played it against me in Bs, I just avoided the line that had a nice swing at every other line.
I think the main issue with Protoform is the dog engine. Because the dog engine with Lord 9 in the top plays out bodies
dog engine
easily.
is an issue.
I feel like I just don't feel like it's enough to ban or reduce to 1. I don't think that there's enough going on with it.
And as well,
100%
Lord Nimon's not even doing as well as people thought it would.
I think in the future it might be an issue. I don't think now it is. I don't think it's enough. I think
the
there's
decks are
more
running
broken
4
things
over
than
like
X antibody
tier
Protoform.
1.5 decks now.
I think there's more broken things than X antibody Protoform.
We'll move on to EX4 Kazuhamon.
don't see it.
What the?
I
what?
do.
What?
Kazuhamon.
So Kasuyamon,
You know
it's
the
the
blue, yellow Sakuyamon?
I can see it being a problem.
Oh yes, put that the one.
Yeah, see, Cheryl's on my side here.
I actually agree with them as well. I think it's too much. It's a Kaiser Nail without being a Kaiser Nail. On top of that, it also plays a free option. It just goes too hard, too much, and it also gives you a second line to again just go into another Sakuyamon, just go from there and continue on. Like
Again,
you can go Kazuyamon, play a thing, play down my level 4, Digivolve, because I've used the option to Digivolve for free into my level 5, then go into my another one of it, then use it, play another option, play out another one.
You play out the level 5.
Yeah, you can even play out the level 5 and Digivolve for free.
No, you always play out the level 5.
Here's the thing: the only
It only plays at the level 5 if its name is Talmon.
yeah,
The issue is Talmon Loop requires that.
yeah. Here's the thing: the only deck that, to my knowledge, that has ever ran this as anything more than a 2 of is Tau Loop.
It doesn't matter, even at 2. Like,
It's the fact you can get into a multiple level 6s with pretty much no memory.
the issue
That's
is,
from Talmon Ace mostly.
but the Kazuhamon is
The enabler.
also an enabler. All the parts of it are problems. I think we got a hint of how bad of a problem this card was way back whenever people were using it to cheat out Cross 7 Superior mode.
The
they
same
were
with
just going to Ed and use Kaiser Nail to pop out?
it's Kaiser
Nail
Nail, but it's better. I've been on board of Kaiser Nail needing gone for a long time.
I've got Kaiser Nail right underneath it.
Yeah, Kaiser Nail has been needed to be gone for a long time,
It should be at 1.
especially with Superior mode and stuff.
I do think
I mean, again, you're saying especially with Superior and stuff. Like, this is coming from a time from someone that has played the version of Blue Flare that was designed to abuse Kuzamon and Kaisernail, and honestly, it didn't feel that great. It's like, cool.
I played against Crossheart and got absolutely
I played against that. I hated it. I hated that.
It,
X7 Superior mode, while it's on the board, is just a delicate plan for everything. It just turns off all security effects, not even just option cards. Or
I'm not gonna lie.
all security effects. Tamers don't trigger. Option cards don't trigger. Digimon don't trigger.
The Kahuza itself,
I
play Taos with Kaiser Nail, with all of that, it just becomes way too much.
I would actually like, bringing that up, I would like to revisit, not right now, but I want to look at X7 Superior Mode's effect wording, because I think I've checked it before. I want to see if it turns off the security effects from field spells and the bees.
I think it's in my binder, so while we talk.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Kazuhamon needs gone, Kaiser Nail
should have been gone a long time ago.
I
It's led to way too many problems.
Talmon Loop is definitely the most important thing.
Talmon Loop needs hit. And
I don't think Talmon Ace is going to get hit, is the issue though.
I
No,
think it will.
I don't think it will.
Bandai's proven to us time and time again that they give 0 Fs about how new a card is. When
It's
they
not even about how new it is, I just don't think they'll use Talmon
we
as the
definitely disagree on this.
I mean, because here's the thing.
target.
From just this podcast alone, we've talked about, I had this card for 2 months. I've had this card for 1 month. I had this card for 2 weeks.
I've
had this
had
card
BT11 Mirage for 20 months.
Yeah, but it's just like... But I mean, when
22 months.
When a card is a problem, they hit it almost immediately.
I'm a good boy, Trevor, and none of my decks have ever been hit by ban lists.
What about Chessmon?
He's on ban now.
Yeah, but he was banned.
Sorry, what about your Alphamon? But no, I mean, a prime thing that also talked about as well, like, as they announced a ban list.
There's Kuzamon.
Yeah, this is Blue Flare. This is the Blue Flare page.
Should be gone.
But no, and it's just like they announced the ban list before a set was even out, hitting cards on the set.
Yeah, actually, sorry, I was mistaken. It is only option cards.
Yeah,
but even
But don't activate is very interesting wording when it comes to the field spells.
yes, do the field spell work?
What?
Your bees work. They're not activating.
They're Digimon. That says option cards.
It's not even just that. It's the on play return all of the devolutions of one of your opposed Digimon.
I know. I only brought it out to check. I got it out to check.
Return Digimon to the bottom of the owner's deck. Doesn't have to be the one you strip. all your point security options to effect, and then to make matters even better, you can put as many Digimon cards with cross-hearted blue flare as you want under it for the Digicross, and on top of that, it's also 17,000.
Do
It's
we
the
want to
highest
talk
DP
about?
Digimon in the game.
It is.
I only got it out to check that effect. I actually think that would be very interesting to see if it negates
It's the-
the spells.
it's
I don't think it
also-
works to not activating those
You-
B and then.
You
passive.
immediately chuck Rush under
But it
it.
depends.
Then again, I'm going.
Chuck
I'm going to give you
I
a
also
terminology.
I don't know if
Unsustainable under
that
it.
means they can't activate when
we-
they're slotted in though. Maybe.
Do we maybe want to talk about what we would do to sort out time on loop, like each person?
Honestly, like
Ruin mode to 1. We'll get to it. Kazuhamon to 1, Kaiser Nail to 1, and then maybe even stretch it further, because I don't think Talmon would be hit. You put the BT19 Sakuyamon to 1 as well.
Lemmy.
Honestly, I'd hit 2 cards and I think it would fix the entire deck. Room mode and Tau.
I feel Kuzumon to 1, Kaiser Nail to 1, and then ban the room.
Yeah, I agree with Trevor. Them 3 cards, I think, are the ones that need hit.
Because
I didn't even
they-
say what I'd put my stuff choice. I did 2 cards you hit.
I don't. The two cards that I put to 1, I feel even if they aren't as big a problem at current point, they will very very quickly develop into big problems future down the line, and there is no doubt in my mind on that because they are
like I
just
say,
so strong.
the Kuzahamon is only a problem because of Talmon Ace, because its effect is a Talmon or a level 4 or lower blue
I can't.
or yellow.
I disagree with
think it's
this
specifically
on
blue,
one
actually.
thing.
Is it specifically blue?
Might be.
Can I disagree? I have to disagree with this on one thing. It also enables level 7 DNA super simply. Like it's just Kaiser Nail but on steroids.
Well, no. You say it enables.
It's not on steroids.
You say it enables level 7. Like thing. Again, to play out the level 5 specifically has to be a Talmon. It can't be any level 5. And
You run down monster.
yeah, in the loop you do. But out of any other deck, the only reason you're playing a Talmon is because you're playing Sakuyamon. And Sakuyamon's not DNAing.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is there's no way to stop there being a generically good Talmon. There's no way to stop you abusing that generically good Talmon. There's no way to stop you from playing any option, including Kaiser Nail with Kazumon.
Also, I feel like another reason I would.
And there is, Trevor, we're talking about it. It's called banning.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard about this thing. It's
I
called,
like that there. Tell me more about it.
it's called a restricted list. They've
Also-
done it in a few card games.
Ah, this sounds really good. How come I've never thought about that?
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it just the Talmon Ace, or is it just Talmon in general for the people for abusing for the Talmon OTK?
No, it's actually the BT17 Talmon.
Is
No,
it 17 Talmon? Okay.
As I say, honestly, I feel like they could become big problems future shots. Just saying.
Kaiser Nail should be hit to 1. Kazuhamon should also probably be hit to 1. I think the issue is there's also just too much good that can come from just spawning new lines out from your line.
Now, let me ask you this then. What do you think Bandai's going to do?
I think they're going to leave Kazuhamon alone. I think they might hit Kaiser Nail. I actually think they might, because Kaiser Nail has popped up a few times again and again and again over the years. It's kind of got the history behind it. I think they will hit it.
I think we'll hit Room Mode 1 and maybe Kaiser Nail. But I do think Kazuhamon needs the 1 as well.
I think they'll hit Kaiser Nail. I think they'll just completely avoid the other two, and I hate my life for it, but that's probably what they're going to do.
Honestly, I'm just not seeing it. Like, say, as a guy that... Just the last note, as a guy that's played a deck that was designed to abuse those 2 cards as much as possible before the idea of a Tau Loop, which was the blue flare, it just didn't...
Again, I'm not even talking about from the Tau.
Played against it, I hated it. You may have played it and felt like it did nothing. I played against it, it felt like it did everything.
See, again, it's like, because every time I seen the Kahuzamon in hand, I just never wanted to go into.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think Bandai's going to touch Kaiser. I don't think they're going to touch Ruin. I think they're just going to touch Kaiser.
Because you'll get rid of your Melon,
just
which means you'll
Kaiser
get
does
rid of
nothing to
your
hurt the deck.
token.
I know, but I think that's what
just
And
Bandai
every time I
are
see Kaiser Nail, I'm just like, cool. I'm just waiting for this.
When has Bandai ever killed the
deck?
decks?
And now I'm waiting for
If they're lazy, they'll just put Talmania Stone.
Yeah, honestly, I just can't see them dealing with it in the way we want them to. They're going to do something stupid and it's not going to help.
I feel like when it comes to just the Talmon loop, I feel like the entire deck could be put into a reasonable standing if Ruin Mode and Talmon Ace are hit to 1, because it drops the consistency of seeing the Talmon Ace and it drops the ability to not make a comeback play against them, because after seeing on stream once where they literally on stream once they go Ruin Mode, pass the turn, minus 5k to your board. It came back to them, swung with Ruin Mode, do some more loop shenanigans, Digimon Ruin Mode, minus 10k.
I feel
Next
like
turn
we
it
should
was minus
continue
15.
on before we really kind of go into the late points here.
The next one's a 3-for, and it's all the 0 cost options. So you got Jack Raid, Blinding Ray, Gravity Crush.
Honestly, I just take
no
it all
tropical.
on.
Put them all under
That's
the same
never been
blanket
run in
line.
any deck ever.
All under the same blanket, just put them to one. I agree, sure.
They need to all go to 1.
If you're going to do it, you do it all of them. You don't give any colour a unfair advantage over the other.
I don't think they'll do that though.
when you have
I don't think they'll do that
Jack
either.
Raid.
I don't think they'll do any of them, but
I think they'll hit Jack Raid for purple hybrids.
maybe
you have-
they will. I don't know enough about purple hybrids, as I said
Listen,
before.
purple hybrids will be at like 20 trash at turn 2.
Okay, yeah, fair play. I did have to hit Jack Raid. Honestly, though, I feel like they should do it to all of them. Just equal the umbrella.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to do it, but they won't.
But it's the thing is, like, all 3 are being used currently. Jack Raid is getting used in purple hybrids, Gravity Crush is getting used in red hybrids, and Blinding Ray is getting used in Magna to proc Magna effects every turn.
I feel
They're
the
And honestly,
good.
it's still the most shittiest thing I feel ever when you go security and I see Blinding Rays hitting security. I'm like,
it is, but
You
like,
just go,
your blinding ray though when you use it is insane.
Tell me, is there any difference between seeing a Blinding Ray hitting security and seeing a Vmon hitting security?
Actually,
Yeah.
there's a lot of difference there.
Here's
if
what
you've
you
hit
do
with a
is
rookie that's got 1000 DP, at least that Vmon did something.
you take out all the binding rays. You put 4 promo Lubomons in and 4 Ancient Gurumons in.
Yeah, there you go, you fixed the problem.
I've got EX2 Deathslinger on the list because it's the next thing that will just gain you a memory
I mean,
from
to be
being
fair though,
milled.
if you're doing that, you have to hit Wizardmon, and then it just becomes a slippery slope.
No,
honestly.
I say Deathslinger is worse than Wizardmon because Wizardmon in your hand is just a Digimon you Digivolve into. Deathslinger in your hand, or in security as well, is I kill up to anything. Because it goes up and up and up with your trash.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like so many cards.
It's a
people
4
that do
cost
that.
kill at level 7.
I still don't think it's enough, but
Again,
to get banned.
we're saying to touch on what we were saying earlier, though, like option cards that do destruction effects really are just going to the idea of costing less. So its cost, I feel like, is irrelevant with where the game's going.
I don't think so.
The memory gain is just.
I'm gonna be honest. Every time I think of Deathslinger, I just think of what Ashton used to say. I want to see it everywhere. I want to see it in my deck when it's milled. I want to see it in my hand. I want to see it in my security. I want to see this card in every
I feel like
possible
it's just kind of
place
become.
possible. And if you want to see a card like that, it should probably be limited.
But I mean, he was also playing Beelzebub that abused it the most, and
Purple Hybrids is getting like that. I've seen it used in any deck that mills. It's used in.
I honestly, I don't
just
think
there at the
Deathslinger
moment.
should be here. I don't think it's got enough merit to be here. But
Especially
that's
when
personal
Purple
opinion.
Hybrids is now going the sort of same way as Dogs of being an engine in purple decks.
Again, I just personal opinion. I can't see Deathslinger being enough.
So what you're saying, the purple decks are cringe.
A little bit. I love being a purple player.
He says this as he like throws all his purple cards onto the bus.
Look, I am good at
You know,
recognizing
well,
problems within myself.
While we're at
okay?
it, how much of the purple hybrids do you think should be limited?
What of the new stuff?
Yeah.
It's nothing within actual purple hybrids itself is
Hmm.
bad. Like they're all dealable with. You hit Jack Ray, like there's ways around it.
The Velgramon's pretty broken.
It's pretty broken, but like
Pretty good.
Pretty broken, but not good enough to ban. Yeah, okay,
I feel like if you were trying, honestly, with as much knowledge as I have with the deck,
probably had Koichi.
I don't even know Koichi. In my head, I feel like if you were to hit anything at all, the first thing that comes to my head, and even then, I don't think it'll happen. This is just a shot in the dark. Would be, I think it's Dustmon, the one that can play a tamer back. I think that's.
Honestly, Velgramon is like a level 6 that has level 4 printed on it.
It doesn't matter even if the one that plays back is gone, because they just bounce themselves into another hybrid that can do the same thing. It's not going to make a difference.
You don't know how the deck's played at all, Trevor.
I don't, but I'm still going to say that because that is true, right?
I'm just mad that they printed them cards and then they printed the Emperor Greymon, and we're like, these are pretty good cards.
The issue is they clearly designed the Duskmon purple hybrid stuff to be a counter to both of the other hybrid decks that they created, which is the Magna Gurumon Emperor Greymon stuff. The issue with doing that is they inadvertently made the deck counter almost every other deck in the game as well, because it just cares about colours.
Kind of an issue then, which means you need to remove the thing that changes colours. But anyway,
it's not the thing that changes colours, because I'm going to be honest, I brought this up before to someone. When you play against a single stack deck, if you play against something that has one thing on the board and only cares about having that one thing, has no tamers or anything, changing its colour feels like shit, because you just change its colour, you delete the one thing, and then the rest of your plays don't trigger because you care about your opponent.
I can't imagine any decks that falls under them.
I was going to say, like, yeah, that seems really, like,
Jesmo?
not great. Like,
Fenrir.
Here's the thing, though. He says, he doesn't feel great, but he's the backup play that he never runs into. If somehow his play gets stopped before he can delete that line, that colour change lasts until the end of your opponent's turn.
That's what I'm saying. You don't care about changing its colour because you just delete it. Unless
that's what I'm saying. If you somehow can't delete it because that colour change, so say it's, for example, because it came up in a game, a practice match we did on DCGO, of I'm sitting there with a flipping metal Greymon and he colour changed it, and at which point I went Digivolve to Metal Greymon X, and we both completely forgot what the colour change, but Metal Greymon X has the black text box of Digivolve over Metal Greymon, so hence I could, and all of a sudden I can't Digivolve to Black Metal Greymon because it's not a black or a red Digimon anymore.
I'm gonna be honest though.
There
is so many.
And on top of that, because I was also completely rusty with the deck. I had red Orgamon X on field, and I mind linked with my Black Tamer. I now have a red and blue on field. I don't have a red and black to play my Hades Force.
That sounds like a skill issue, honestly, to me.
So it's just like, this is the type of thing where it's just like, if he doesn't get it against a single line deck, yeah, like cool, I delete it, he doesn't get the rest of it. But if his line somehow stops at changing the colour of the single line thing, he stopped the entire thing of the
It can work against
me
because when I played against it, he gave me the colour requirements on my 3-cost option.
But the other thing as well is, as we found out recently,
I think it's a fun effect.
The other thing we also found out recently, because this whole colour changing thing, the requirements for Blast DNA Digivolution is both the name and the colour. So if you're sitting there, for example, with you today, when you kept having like Lady Diva and Angelwomon, if you were against purple hybrids and they go, that Lady Diva and Angelwomon's now red, you can't use that to Blast DNA now. Because it's not the colour.
The only one you can go into is Omnius.
Because it's names, not colours.
It doesn't have colours on any of its deck box.
It does. It has the normal Digivolution cost, but you don't care about that for blasting.
It also said in what was it? DNA, not Blast DNA, just DNA. It's level 5 with Metal Gurumon in name, and a level 5. Level 6 with Metal Gurumon in name, and a level 6 with Greymon in name.
Yeah, so it's just like
Omnius to counter the purple hair.
Yeah, that's it, right?
So
probably actually.
Apart from the fact that it's the lowest level Digimon, which is your Omnius.
But yeah,
No.
in a long
don't worry. You have the protection thing, and then when they go to kill this line, you pop it and you DNA with card not.
But yeah, so what I'm saying, even in the long term, if they don't get to do their loop, the ability to change colour alone is enough to ruin your play.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I don't think that's strong enough on its own.
Oh no, I'm not saying that's strong enough to hit.
The upside to Omnius is a
one last thing.
No, there's 2 last things, but we'll get to the other one.
The last thing, technically, that I've written down is the dog stuff. which is the Dober X / the
we
Cerberus X.
we know that needs sorted. It just needs fucked.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know which card you hit in it to.
I just roll them, yeah.
Both to 1.
Okay, cool. Then you just move back to Garurumons. And then you've got the same issue again. I hate that they keep printing this in purple.
Just take them. Just ban them until they're fixed.
The issue I find looking at this even, and I agree that they probably do need hit. The issue I find is they just keep doing this in purple. They just keep printing draw trash and then refund memory in purple.
They need to
and it
look
makes
at
it
purple as a
boring.
colour on them and just be like, you know what, let's just redo all this.
They
At
don't.
least purple has its identity, though. A lot of the other colours feel like they've kind of lost their identities.
But the thing is, I kind of like that in a way. They innovate in other colours. Purple hasn't innovated.
Ah, yes, red,
And
all that
fucking-
innovation.
Yeah, but like red's kind of lost its identity.
Hasn't
It used
it
to be
a-
about aggression.
Hasn't
Now
that a
it's
new
kind of just
keyword in
about
over a year?
Sorry about being that. It's still about being aggression. Red's still aggression. It just can't have its aggression.
We know that just needs sorted. We don't know how we'd sort that. No.
I think the Cerbex is probably actually the hit. Because it's the unsuspend and the inheritable. It's the
I'm never going to
play
get to play
something.
purple Gurumons, I've just realised.
You play something back.
The unsuspend is very strong in Lord Nightmon because you're alliancing twice.
Not even that. In the Takamikazuchi build, it's strong. In Lilith, it's strong. In a lot of decks, it's strong.
I'm never going to get to play purple
Especially Lord
Melga.
Nightmon.
Let's continue. I'm never going to get to play purple Melga. No, that's just what that says to me.
Ruin mode?
Banned.
Banned.
Limited to 1.
Just one of them.
Yeah, limited to 1.
Guys,
We're 2 for 2 here.
As the host, I have the deciding vote. It's like being the president of a club, right?
we have had many debates on this. It is just way too generically good at shutting down
to go
somebody.
to go into the whole thing we said about Quartz, Defx, and Rare Mode. They are kind of like those big power level 7s, but it honestly feels that you have Quartzmon like kind of here on one step. One step higher is Defx at the moment, and depending on what the format is, they change, they get to the same step, whatever. But about 2, 3, sometimes feels 5 steps above them is Ruin Mode. He feels like he's in his own league.
I'm gonna be honest. We're still in this middle point between a blue and a purple format. And I'm going to be fully honest.
Oh, sorry, I just realised I made a...
When we were in the more blue format, you didn't see Ruin Mode because it was a blue
decks
format.
can't run it.
Yeah, blue deck. It wasn't there. Blue was better. You preferred bouncing shit and like gaining memory
Yeah,
and
but even
have
I'm
jamming.
pretty sure if Blue Decks could run it, they probably would.
yeah, I mean, like there would be no downside, right? You shut off like Rookie Rush. You shut off Partition for most parts. You shut off pretty much 90% of decks at level 4. I don't think I have a single deck that can play around
I
Ruin Mode.
think as the game has progressed, Ruin Mode has kind of equaled out in its power level. You kind of don't, unless it's abused in Town 1 loop or set in Town 1 loop beside a second, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, obviously.
In our thoughts.
If we were putting Town 1 loop into any form of equation, I would say you're crazy for not wanting the card banned.
I don't think it would need ban. Again, just putting it to 1 solves the issue. Then you can't abuse it.
But I think even putting it to 1 doesn't really matter because you still have Calling from Darkness. You still have stuff that recycles it.
That you have to pay memory.
It does
I
hit the
think people
consistency.
really, I think people really underestimate the idea of getting something for free and getting something for a cost.
Can Tsukuyamon play Calling from Darkness?
If you have a purple source.
If you have a purple source, yes.
If you have a purple source, yes.
Can you get a purple source?
No.
Not easily. You could just run a purple tamer.
I can tell you right now. So you're on about Sakuma in terms of Town 1 loop. All their colours are blue, which is a blue egg and a blue rookie, and blue from the Kazuza.
I know, but
I'm not
I mean,
gonna
if
lie.
Raymond gets hit to 1, can you?
You don't.
I'm just
find a way to do
saying
No.
you
don't need
run
to
a
get-
purple tamer. What would stop you from running a purple tamer?
You have a Ruin Mode. You have the purple source in Ruin Mode. You just play Calling for Darkness, delete the Ruin Mode, add the Ruin Mode back.
That's true.
He's got that as well. But what would stop you from playing a purple
Just ban
team?
calling them.
But to be fair,
Well, stop
honestly,
here. Technically not one.
What would stop you from running a purple egg and just running different purple stuff
What would stop you from purple egg? You know why they're in the blue egg?
for Kaiser Nail?
Yes.
But you
just
just
makes
have
sense.
you get into the Kazuha before you need to use the Kaiser Nail, and then you have the blue source.
But no, that's the reason they run the blue egg.
I feel
because
like-
you can't guarantee the critical.
I think if they hit room mode to 1, it solves the issue.
I'm gonna be honest. You give me a situation earlier where you compared a card to Mystic Mine.
Yeah. Well,
Real
it was
mode.
a combo.
Is Mystic Mine?
Ruin mode is not Mystic Mine.
It is.
It's not Mystic Mine. You can still play cards under Ruin mode.
5,000. Sorry, sometimes 10,000, but mostly 5,000 DP.
I think
Or more.
The main
Sorry,
problem,
more than 5,000 DP.
the main
That's a
problem,
lot of cards now.
The main problem with Ruin mode is
90% of
the level
flipping
6 underneath
4s
it.
and 3s die.
The main problem with Ruin mode is level 6 underneath it. So usually when you go into your level 6, you're probably disrupting your opponent's board in some shape or fashion. And then you put a Ruin mode on top, which turns them off the next turn.
Yeah, but a lot
And then
of...
turns them off to turn off.
I would
They don't do
argue
anything.
you kind of want to sit on your level 6 more because level 6s are becoming more broken.
But even so, the Ruin mode shuts your opponent down for potentially 2 turns. Potentially 2 turns. Because if you leave them a little enough memory, what are they going to do? I have a rookie down here, I can't raise, so I'll Digivolve over it. I still don't have enough DP.
I'm
You
sort of-
swing,
I'm sort
I'm
of
minus
agreeing
5,000 again, I can't do anything again. I Digivolve, oh look, you've won. That is the issue.
I would argue if you ruin mode in the right area, yes, you shut your opponent down. But if you're doing it at the right point, that's just outskilling your opponent. If they're not prepared for you,
It's not even
if they see you play yellow and purple and they're not prepared for you to go into a ruin mode, that's their fault.
But even so, sometimes it's not about being... Again, to make Digimon as fair as you can, you need to try and make every deck as much of a level playing field as you possibly can. Room will give yellow and purple a massive advantage over everyone else because of Ruin mode.
But there's other decks that have access to those sorts of board.
But they're not as good as what I'm trying to say.
Venusmon has been around
But Venusmon, I can still do stuff. I just can't.
barely.
I can't even
Barely.
raise under Ruin mode without it
You've got
dying.
Valkyrius that is a ruin mode on yes till
For
the
a
end
turn.
for
The
a
end of
turn.
the turn.
You can blast Digivolve into it.
You've locked me out. Your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn.
Technically, you don't want to raise.
You've locked me out 4 turns.
You can bounce ruin mode. You can put ruin mode in security. You can put ruin mode to
Bypassing
the
the
bottom of the
turn.
deck. You can Digivolve ruin mode.
It's done its job, though.
You can still out ruin mode. You can hard play rapid. You can hard play rapid and go, cool, it survives. Now it can't be deleted. Now it can't be bottom deck. De-Digivolve the ruin mode.
Okay,
Ruin mode is
hard
removed.
play rapid. Great. I'm going to pay 7 memory to hard play rapid. Cool, look at all the memory you have. I'm probably going to
I've
lose
done
from
that in one.
Yeah, maybe.
Either, but the issue is you've de-digital one to your.
Not
as
every
you said,
deck has it.
you're really
card like
powerful
that,
level
though.
6.
Not every deck
I'm
has a
not
level
saying-
5 you can slam down.
Anyway,
I'm
Right.
not saying it's a
Right.
perfect solution. I'm
Right.
just saying ruin mode is not as bad as it used to be.
Right.
I feel like it's worse.
It had a peak.
I
It hit
think
the peak.
Rumo should go
It's
to
kinda
1.
succeeded.
I think Bandai will ban it.
I don't
You think it
Bandai
should go to
will.
1?
I think it should go to 1, and I don't think Bandai will touch it.
I think
it should be banned.
I think the reverse to you. I think it should be banned, and I think Bandai's going to put it to 1 for Talmon Loop, and I feel like that's not enough. I feel like it is. I feel like out of every card,
I'm actually the
mine
opposite
is-
of him right now.
huh?
I'm the opposite of him. I think it should be banned and it's not going to be touched.
I hope
Yeah,
it's actually ban because it's in our fucking LM sets.
But no,
is the
I
other-
feel though like it's a type of card where like any card on its own merit alone, outside of combos, just the card itself existing on its own text box, like say minus any outs to a card, minus any combos with a card of like, oh, I can loop it with calling or anything like that. I feel like ruin mode at this current moment in time is the top of the list that could be banned on its own text. I'm not saying about outs or anything like that, just on its own text. Now, just because it is the top of that list,
I don't even agree with that. I think there's other cards on its own text that just do way more than Ruin Mode. Like, you've got Mega Gargoyles and Lord Knight X that have literally 50 effects printed on them.
Maybe 50 effects, but it doesn't affect your entire board, including your breeding area.
Lord Knight does. Lord Knight says they can't digivolve. Mega Gargo
There's only
does.
one Digimon.
Mega Gargo says they can't unsuspend or
That's 2
digivolve.
It's only one Digimon.
It's only 1 or 2 Digimon. It's not your board, is what I'm trying to say. It's your entire board, including your breeding area, is affected by that.
Your breeding area isn't affected.
Yeah, but if you raise it, immediately dies. So yeah, it is.
It's not the same.
Like I say, by proxy, I've always said Ruin Mode, under the right circumstances, may as well have had the effect written on it of your opponent may not raise next turn.
Or the turn after, or your opponent's turn if you can.
Again, it depends on the deck you're playing.
Did you not play Ruin Mode against me the other night when I was playing my Emperor Gremlin?
Yeah, probably.
I think I raised on purpose just to get the stuff in the trash.
It depends on the deck you're playing. Sometimes Ruin Mode can be beneficial towards you if you're playing a deck where you want to die a lot. Sometimes you don't care about Ruin Mode. Just because it's gone out of fashion. Remember, Digimon used to be sit on a level 5 in the back till you're ready to raise.
I'm sorry, can
Ruin Mode would have done nothing.
Can I
back in
point
those
out
days.
one more thing about Ruin Mode?
At that point, people were just trying to like go Ruin Mode swing.
Can I point out one more thing?
I'm talking about like BT9 here.
Can I talk about one more thing about Ruin Mode, which I think we're just walking past this.
It's an X4 card.
Not just a recovery.
Ruin Mode BT9, I don't remember.
Ruin Mode is vaxing.
So?
Literally, you can emissary it.
You can't. It's a level 7. We've been over this so many times.
Sorry, you're right. Emissary can't.
That's
But
the
even
fact
so-
I've told you this so many
Like, even in its own deck, it's stupidly good though because of the whole Marcus swing when it becomes suspended. Digivolve
You know the
into
funny
Ruin
thing
Mode
is,
for
you
free.
say in its own deck it's stupidly good, but yet in every shine list I look at, they don't run it.
I've seen it in Shine List.
I think it
That's
should
a
be in
one-up.
every shine list. I think it's too good not to be.
It's weird, like, I agree, I feel like it should be run in the shine list, but every list I've looked at, they don't run it, and I was like, clearly I'm
Here's the
missing
thing.
something.
Ruin Mode is one of those cards. I will say it depends on the format. Because right now we're in a very aggressive format. Ruin Mode isn't an aggressive card. Ruin Mode is a slow down. We're going to wall this here.
Hang on. Ruin Mode's not aggressive. Cost of 5, I'm going to remove most of your board. When it dies,
When
I'm
I
also
talk
going
about
to minus
aggressive, I mean
5,000 your
attack.
board. And
When
I'm
I
also
say
going
aggressive,
to
I mean
recover.
attack.
I would argue its effect can be seen as aggressive.
I wouldn't.
I understand what you're saying, what you're saying aggressive. I understand that.
When
but I feel like what I would
delete
say,
itself,
like, say, for
delete
like
your
you say,
opponent's
long.
highest level, then minus 5k board.
So,
I forgot about that.
And then recover.
so what I was going to say is, like, I'd still see Ruin Mode as aggressive in the sense of the playstyle. To me, this feels aggressive anyway.
I see
Where,
it as
like,
aggressive.
you swing with Lord Nightmon, aggressiveness, do your stuff, and at the end of all that, you're going to, I'm going to pass turn by the cost of 5 Ruin Mode. And then
Ruin Mode
my
is
DP
control
that,
slash
like,
To me,
aggression.
that's controlled defensiveness.
What are
That's
you
not
just saying?
aggression.
Shoto's Mystic Mind, Ruin Mode is Mystic Mind.
I don't
Again,
think
I
so.
said it.
Do you know what Mystic Mind does?
Yeah,
No.
it's a stock space in Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's a what space in Yu-Gi-Oh?
A stock space in Magic is like stops your opponent doing stuff.
It stacks, yeah, he's not wrong.
Fair.
It
Flood.
is. It's worse than a flood. It is a stacks.
I genuinely think Ruin Mode right now isn't even doing a lot. Like, genuinely...
If
it's
you've made
no-
it this far in the podcast, let's get your opinion on this. Just a small debate. Do you think Ruin Mode should be banned? Should it be put to 1? Does it affect the breeding? Does it not?
That's probably a better option because, like, on top of that, I mean, it
Imagine being
The amount of
absolute-
times I've gone Ruin Mode against you, and when you either have something or you like have an empty space in the breeding, you just cool. It's a level 5, and then I go swing Ruin Mode minus 5k to your board again, and you go cool. Riz, I'm on 2k, Magna X or Zephaga or any other level 6, and then you go, I can still play the game. You
Literally
only saw
every
me
single
down
card you've
turn.
mentioned there becomes unaffected by Digimon effects at some point in that.
Yeah. Do you know how many cards are getting printed with that effect now, Trevor?
Again, yes, that's fine, but there's a lot of fucking decks that don't have them.
Yeah, there's other decks that go, I'm not going to be on the board at the end of turn anyway. I'm going to delete myself to play back a Tamer and then grab back a Hybrid piece.
Yeah, but then again, you can't really do anything with them because they can't really survive on the room.
To answer your question, how many times have I done that? Practically none.
You've done it a lot. I've watched you do it.
I've never done
If I've done it, it's been Magna. It's not been Zephyr.
It's not been Zephyr. I don't think I've played
Shane
against
Graham
Zephyr.
on
Because a lot of decks,
That's
besides
100%
Magna,
what this is.
and even in a Magna sometimes I want to, I like to stay as low as possible to get as much out of my effects, and it's what kills me times.
I'll be honest. I feel Ruin Mode promotes an unfair game state in Digimon.
I'm going to be honest, I think the exact opposite still. Only because the gameplay in Digimon currently, this moment, actually promotes a play style of, I'm not going to play Digimon. I'm going to play things that don't stay on the board. Or if they do stay on the board, they can't be touched by you. I
didn't today.
I like Ruin Mode because Ruin Mode is
Not a single card I had protection.
Ruin Mode is a strong card,
How much
but
DP
it
is
can
level
be
4
touched.
purple hybrid?
Ruin Mode can be removed.
One
It can
is
be
6,000,
touched.
one is
It
5,000.
can be I can be stunned so it can't attack.
So it turns off
It
purple
can
hybrids
be-
is what you're saying?
Turns off purple
It can
hybrids.
be
Turns off.
tucked.
Literally turns off in Pilgrimon because you swing, you delete, they partition, they're minus 10k, so they lose their board.
Sounding pretty good to me now.
It turns off blue hybrids because they can't go Lobomon. It turns off red hybrids because they can't go.
Did we not
Arcanimon.
discover
Actually,
it's
no.
a 6k DP
Actually,
Digimon?
Canimon can. Yeah, but I can't go up my line.
I
I'm
think
stuck on. I'm stuck in Kendo.
The main problem, I will say, the main problem I've always had with Ruin Mode is
Sorry,
the fact
red
that-
hybrids is the only one that does survive because it gets DP buffs.
Yeah, the only one. The thing that I've always felt with Ruin Mode, the thing that I've really never liked about it is the fact that DP minus does last until the end of your opponent's turn, and because of that, it does feel to me personally
It's 4 turns of
that
not playing.
that it affects the breeding because it just means I can't raise, and because I can't raise, it means I can't do a counterplay now. I can't deal with this without leaving this thing in the back, forcing Digivolve up it to have nothing on board that's going to give you too much memory. Because at the end of the day, you've done a Ruin Mode, which means okay, you've got a big level 7, or
And most games
which
have probably
at that
ended
point, as if I
like
give
the
you
point
enough
of a
memory,
Ruin Mode.
I'm going to put you in a game state board. Like if I do a big cost thing to get rid of this Ruin Mode, I'm going to give you that much memory that your next turn of setup is going to literally be, I have game unless you can do something now, and there's going to be too much to deal with. I need to give you as little as possible, but to do that, you've put me on little as possible to go into Ruin Mode, so I can't put you on little as possible.
and I can't do anything.
I'm
It's
forced to
stuck.
give you more than enough memory to the point where, cool,
I die.
if your next turn you choose not to swing and I can raise, you've got that much now. It's like, well, I can't deal with anything. Like, if it...
You're in the
that's-
game. You're
that-
past the game-winning position at this point.
To
with
me,
Ruin Mode.
it's kind of like a reverse effect of the Uko, where it's like, because I can't raise, again, I'm put back by that turn. And
I lose like 90% of my effects.
I think the same thing is achieved by just removing a board when your opponent has literally on the previous turn just raised.
I think
Cool.
the problem with
The
Ruin
thing
Mode
is, you have the choice to do that, and then your opponent has the choice to do it back.
Ruin
Mode stops you.
I still say Ruin Mode is not that bad. It's a very strong card that can be touched. It doesn't go destroy your board and hey,
You say
can't
that though.
touch me for turns.
You say they're right, but purple and yellow that uses Ruin Mode. So, say the yellow decks, say I don't know 3 Good Angels or something, because I got Ruin Moded today. Likes to play out a lot of bodies. Then they minus 5k your board. Then the turn after they have 4 checks.
And then they can minus 5k your board again.
The purple decks like to play out a lot of bodies. They go up in the Ruin Mode with 3 more bodies on board, something stupid like that there. You're at 3 security. Oh, but you've got 4 checks next turn and you have no counterplay.
Unless you play a massive cost something that's going to hand them the game anyway.
But there's nothing. There's no option in the game that's going to delete a Ruin Mode on the whole board.
Yeah, there is.
What?
It's called 7th Divine Cruise. You just have to be on 0 security. And then you delete all of their Digimon until they have as many security cards as you have. And if you have 0 security cards, you delete all their Digimon.
Again, now, it's the same problem. They minus 5k you again, and then they set up, and you're still in the same situation you were in because you've played that for a big cost, and Ruin Mode's died, so they've immediately minus 5k themselves again.
Ruin Mode is obviously for the Shine Grey deck, right? And Shine Grey does not play out bodies.
Shine Grey apparently doesn't even run
If
Ruin Mode.
If Ruin Mode's on the board as just a stack of one stack, and there's nothing else on the board, and you remove it, it's right. You can deal with it easily. But when you deal with Ruin Mode in the decks that it's played in, they have 3 or 4 more things on the board you have to kill, which are going to do free checks the turn after, and maybe they're going to go into 2 level 6s because purple and yellow does.
And on top of that, purple and yellow have mass days. So
I'm going to be honest. In a lot of the
like
decks I face Ruin Mode in right now, as well, and this is coming off 2 Ultimate Cups. I face it off in decks where they kind of just immediately kill the Ruin Mode. It's a 1 turn minus 10k, and they already before that cleared my board. The Ruin Mode literally did nothing apart from.
Well, then they're bad players.
And what deck was it this in?
Ancient Greymon.
Well, then they're bad players.
They're not bad players. That's the combo. That's just what it's used for in those decks. It didn't do a lot. When I face a Ruin Mode, it doesn't ever feel like it does that much. It does things. It just doesn't do.
You're in the same
enough
thought process as you were with Lumi.
If Ancient Greymon went into Ruin Mode and didn't win, I'm very confused.
Honestly, I feel like we can't use current or anything. Like, all the past, it was abused. It was abused a lot by Nume. It was abused a lot by well, not a lot, but it's getting it like they're abusing it in Demon Lords, looping it and stuff. And it's one of these cards where it just takes. It doesn't take that one piece again for it to be like right loop abuse and everything like Talmon's doing and stuff. Even at one, it's just going to take one card, and it's one of these cards where it's like this card needs gone. It needs banned for the future of the game.
Because it just gets to a point where everyone has a Ruin Mode or is playing a Ruin Mode in some way, shape or form.
And the issue is
I think it's plateaued,
so everyone will have a Ruin Mode.
Again, though, it's unhealthy game state. It is. That's what it is.
I think most things in Digimon right now are unhealthy game state. I think you can't single out Ruin Mode for that.
I think Ruin Mode's in a category of its own.
It is. I feel the same way. It's a category of its own. It's how I personally feel.
I don't. I think there's
like tier 0 and then there's Ruin Mode.
We're not saying it's overly tier 0.
To give Adam a voice here, what do you put in the same category as Ruin Mode?
As we would put Ruin Mode.
I would put things like Venusmon in the same category as Ruin Mode because it literally goes. You can't activate your effects. I would put, and you have security minus for the whole board, so you can't even hit me. You can't hit the Venusmon. You can't do anything. Cool.
There's one thing I can do into that.
What?
I can make a block. I can make a blocker to defend.
You can also build the board. There's no stopping you building a board.
On players, draw cards. Ruin Mode stops all of that.
Ruin Mode literally says you're stuck here.
Next one.
I think the Volcanic Dramon.
Hello, here, but actually, before you go on to that, though, speaking of Venusmon, I do feel Venusmon needs touched as well. Yeah, I feel like Venusmon is too much and needs sorted as well because that is promoting unhealthy game state as well. But go on.
I think disagree with you.
Well, you can disagree with me, but I believe.
I agree with you, Trevor.
I do believe it needs touched.
I think if you guys want to bring up the argument that Ruin Mode touches the breeding, I think we've got to bring into the fact that there is actual cards that say you can't move from the breeding, which is the EX7 fucking Volcanic.
Again, no, this is something that I have.
It's a meme.
It's a meme. It's a meme card only because it costs. It's a 5+ red level 6. As soon as red becomes relevant again, it could eat.
That is a problem.
Volcanic Dramon only affects moving Digimon. It doesn't affect your current board.
You can still play cards. You can still do stuff.
Kills
you can still
things.
Use own play.
No, if I remember correctly, doesn't it also stop you playing 6
It stops playing as well.
Yeah,
so it's just as bad. It needs sorted as well.
It doesn't need sorted.
It's only for one turn though.
It promotes its unhealthy game states that way.
It's for one turn. A turn you Digivolve or play into it, whatever. But I would also argue that
it could potentially become a problem.
I would argue that it's not going to potentially be a problem because you'd only ever play it in Dragon Link.
I kind
It
of.
can digivolve from red or black.
I
I think as soon as you get any sort of line in either of those colors that is as generically good
You know
as
what?
like purple has or yellow
I would
has.
say that's the problem right now. So like,
it does promote unhealthy game state.
maybe so, but
It is
this is the
to
problem.
me
So
it's
this-
as accurate to ruin mode as you can get.
maybe so,
To make the argument that printed in different colors, ruin mode is not that bad.
so
Ruin mode is bad because the colors it's printed in.
maybe so.
no,
I'm gonna
but
say
room
the
mode hits
main
the board
problem
as
is like you say the
usually
color. Like the main problem, like you're saying, like,
Well, Charactermon and Raymond are not in the same category.
but the main problem is I can get to it, please. Is red and black at this moment in time, and I don't think they ever will become toolbox. Purple's toolbox.
But even so,
I think if you look down the line in Digimon, every color will become toolbox.
I think
Purple and yellow just got there first.
I'll be honest.
I think it would more become toolbox in their own lines, like Greymon toolbox.
I'll be honest. I think that needs looked at. But again, as Shiro said, it won't affect the things you already have out.
No.
So you already have them. So Rumo's going to deal with most of them.
Again, most of the time when ruin mode's played against me, my board's gone anyway.
Well, you have been lucky then, because my board is not gone when remote hits, and it feels like a shit ton of bricks hitting you. But anyway,
Again, shall we go back to the decks that don't play boards anymore? Hybrids don't play boards of Digimon anymore. What am I killing? What am I killing?
Hybrids never.
but yeah,
play
but you
boards
shut
with
down most hybrid decks because they can't do their normal play.
Most of their hybrids are 6k Digimon now.
No, because your
Yeah,
other
they
level
can't.
4 is 5,000, which means it immediately ties.
Not purple hybrids.
Well, the purple hybrids is one of the lucky ones.
Not the new stuff from fucking like I think all
You mean the stuff that does nothing for
I think all the new stuff from BT. Yeah, for you, Trevor. This isn't just about you, Trevor.
But this is what I'm trying to say. It's not promoting healthy game state. That's what I'm trying to say.
I
Because you
think-
can't progress your play.
I think
You're
we can all
literally
agree.
shutting you down.
Adam's
I think-
opinion on Rumo is pretty cooked.
You know how we talked about green being limited by HPD because all the green level 5s are 5 cost because HPD exists?
Sure.
Level 4s are more and more being printed at 6k to get around ruin mode.
tapping.
That's just
The
coming up.
vibration will hit the mic and it'll
That's
really be loud in the
just
mic.
happening, and it's not going to be too long before they're printed with 7k, 8k, now, and ruin mode becomes irrelevant. This has just been a trend that you can look on easily.
I had
So what
Gatomons
you're
for the
saying
last
is-
set and they're 4,000.
Hold the show here. You're telling Bandai to power creep the game instead of just banning a card.
I'm not saying I'm not telling them to power creep the game. I'm saying they're going to do that no matter what. So
I honestly, if
I don't think ruin mode is that big of a problem.
I feel though that you've just sort of
It's-
said something. Sorry to butt in there. I feel like you've just said something though before there that literally proved the point of what you felt. So you said all the like greens are cost 5, but you still think HPD should be banned. Was that not the opinion? Your HPD?
Yes.
So in other words, so even though they're all level 5 or cost 5s, HPD should be gone. So even though that exists,
because it limits game design within that color. I don't think ruin mode actually limits game design. I think it creates game design.
I would argue
you've literally
no.
Okay,
I would argue almost not the game design aspect. I would argue Bruin mode being around limits deck building. Because if you're building purple, one of your first processes is I'm putting a Bruin mode in, and how can I abuse this? How can I get this cheaply, and how I can make the most of it?
It also
A
hurts.
lot of purple decks don't run ruin mode now.
It hurts.
A lot of the top ones don't.
It
Purple
hurts.
hybrid doesn't.
Purple Hybrid doesn't go past level 4.
Takamika Zuchi doesn't. It has its own
It
better
doesn't
in.
need to.
Okay, but we can't sit here and go ruin mode is in every purple deck, and then
I
me
didn't say
name
that.
purple
Any
decks
deck
that doesn't
any
play
purple
it.
deck that can run
Okay.
it runs it as a one of.
Hang on. Okay, so if you're
Every
going to name
purple
purple
deck-
decks that don't run it, let's name purple decks that do run it. An option to it. Because for every deck you can name that doesn't run it, there's a deck that very much runs it and very much abuses it.
I can think of
Lord
2
Nightmon
decks
runs it.
that run it.
Lord Nightmon,
Lord Nightmon.
Leviamon, Lilithmon,
They're all the same deck.
Seven Great Demon.
They're all the same
They're all
deck.
different decks though.
They're all the same deck.
Lucimon.
They're all the same deck with
that's
like a
six.
change of one
That's
card
six.
in every deck. They're
That's
all.
because
Lucimon
how
doesn't run it.
generically good
Lucimon doesn't run it.
I just named like 5 different decks.
They're all the same deck.
They're not the same deck.
Leviamon and Anubismon and Lilithmon have always and will always
And
be
Lord
the same
Nightmon.
deck.
That's 4.
They're all the same deck. What is different amongst those decks?
Top
up-
one's different.
Master, Angel.
One set of a card of 4 is different amongst them. In fact,
That's enough for a
actually,
tournament, to
in
be fair.
fact, in Lilith, Levia, and Anubis, I've seen those decks named those conventions, and they play the exact same ratios of all their level 6s.
Don't forget you
and
also
it's
have yellow
all
decks.
crossover. So Levia will play Liliths and Anubis.
3 Great
Anubis will play
Angels.
Levias and Lilith. Levia,
Magnamon.
Lilith will play Levi.
Magnamon runs it.
Mastermon runs it. What else runs
I'm
it?
sorry, does your Master
Red
run it?
hybrids. Mine doesn't.
Let's-
But I'm very much an outlier in that.
I'm about to say, let's rephrase that question because I'm pretty sure this question is valid. Do you own a room mode?
No, I do not.
Trevor,
And do you know what was funny? Do you know for how long I lent Adam's room mode?
Go on.
Quite a while. Do you know how long it was in my Mastermon deck?
The entire time?
Exactly.
I actually always thought that was the wrong move. I don't think Room belonged in Mastermon.
It's searchable, it's usable, and it slowed my opponent down for a turn. It was 100% the right call in Mastermon. And it worked. It won me so many games.
You're obviously entitled to your opinion on them.
Don't
It's
think
pretty,
it's that bad.
pretty,
When I see a Rune mode,
pretty saucy.
I
though.
never get scared, I never get angry, I never get annoyed. I see Rune mode, I go, Rune mode, cool.
Cool. In my decks, I see a
means
room mode and I get to
nothing
go,
to me.
go, I don't get to play.
I want to be honest.
I can't
I'm
get,
not looking to
I
play
can't
bodies,
actually
Trevor.
get that across strong enough.
Imagine playing
Oh, no, no, no,
I-
no, I get
Rune
it.
mode.
I genuinely, when I look at a Rune mode, I just don't get annoyed.
You know what? Let me say a bit, because there's something I've been wanting to chime into before, and you interrupted me.
Sorry, go ahead.
But first of all, you say, like, I understand it's your personal experience, so that's why you don't feel like it's as bad. Personally, my experience with room mode, every time I see sort of play the room mode, I normally leave in that table of, if you didn't have fucking room mode, I could have raised last turn. I didn't have to give you free extra fucking... Like, it's normally that line of conversation in my head. Every time I've seen room mode played against me, it's normally a... Well, good game. I'm sitting there looking at my security at 4 and a room mode's played against me, and next thing you know, I was like, cool, next turn there'll be no room mode because you've just swung with it this turn. Oh, I'm dead. And like, that's normally the game state it goes into. It's just always, by the time a room mode hits the board against me, I'm normally leaving that table of, if you didn't have room mode, I'd at least have a fucking chance. So that's why I've got my opinion on it, and I understand you've got yours, because it doesn't feel like an impactful against
Do you
you.
know there's not
But-
a single Ganamon that has more than 5,000 DP?
Fair, but that's about the thing I'm about to go into, is DP thing. You're saying like you feel like Bandai's going to eventually power creep these things, because they kind of are in a way.
They already are.
I'll be honest. I will be super disappointed
If that's how they fix for him.
if not even fix remote. If that's the idea of power creep for them, of just like eventually we're going for the cost of 2, I'll digivolve into my level 4, and it has 10,000 DP because at this state in the game, the level 6 has 30. Like if that's the state of the game, it's just like, sorry, I don't want to play Digimon anymore.
That already feels like the state of the game sometimes.
But I'm saying no. If that's like without any DP buffs, like if it's just hard, like at that point, it's like I don't want to play Digimon at that point. If the idea of power creep is just let's just casually, slowly raise DP to the point where a level 4 can feel like a level 6 back like 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
To
Like,
be fair, though, I mean, like,
I think that's every card game.
yeah, but
Like,
you have to do it at a reasonable pace, is the issue.
I'm not saying they're
I don't
not.
think it's every card game. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh as an example to give. Like,
Well,
when
we
it-
barely go by 3,500.
well, yeah, but I mean, when you
As
look
BS.
at a level 7 stat blocks to its effect, it's like, yeah, that feels about right. You look at a level 6 to its stat blocks to it, that feels about right.
mean, no.
Like, there's no point where I kind of go,
Let me.
that's stupid, because if this was like 5 years ago, this would nowhere near be like this.
No.
Again, no, let me. Even if you compare that, like, at the same point, like, you look at Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are printed today, and you look at Yu-Gi-Oh cards that were maybe a few years ago, even, and like the levels of difference for the same type of card is just phenomenal.
I just
Yeah,
want to.
there is-
But the stat blocks
leaps
have
in-
always stayed the same, roughly.
I just want to point out, we should
I mean,
maybe.
the stat blocks in Yu-Gi-Oh is not what matters. It's the,
The
effects that
the
matter.
stat blocks in Yu-Gi-Oh have always been wildly random.
To be fair,
Digimon
stat blocks in
blocks-
Yu-Gi-Oh have always stayed around the same because 3,500,
That's what-
3,000.
that's what I mean, like,
you know,
But
But,
it's
for
the- it's the
example,
effect that matters.
there's been level 4s that have been printed as low as 100 or 0 attack points, or as much as like 2,000. Like
there's
what
a
I'm
level
saying-
1 that can become 11,000.
What I'm saying is Digimon's stat blocks
Boys.
have always been relevant
Boys.
to each other, like on the equal.
Boys, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no, I just went out.
We've just spent an hour on ruin mode.
I know.
This is always going to happen.
Why did I leave it to the end?
This is why I left it to the end, because we've had this discussion off camera
Heated.
about
He
4 or
did.
5 times. But
I will
no,
always stay the same one.
So us 3 are in agreement. Ruin mode's fucking busted.
yeah.
Do you think it's
I
okay?
think it's very powerful. I don't think it breaks the game. I think it breaks the game in Talmon Loop. It's the only time where I've looked at it and gone, yeah, if you limit it, it solves the issue. And like you put it to 1 and it can't be abused.
Just to check what you've said, just to make sure I'm understanding what you've said here. You feel like the only time room mode is ever breaking the game is Talmon Loop.
Yeah.
I will disagree with you on that. Over the deck you played, flipping Nume.
It didn't break the game. The aces were worse than Rune.
The combination of the aces and room mode.
Nume
work for
Mon's
flipping-
whole
Again,
idea-
that's combinations. Here.
I'm
Nume
sorry, hang
Mon's
on, my
whole idea-
line dies. I play Platinum for pretty much 2 plus memory. Sorry for interrupting. And then Digivolve for the cost of 5 into room mode. Sorry, go ahead, sure.
Nume Mon's whole idea was to get a really wide board, pretty much go into level 6 for free, and then play a ruin mode turn 2.
To be fair, honestly, he's not.
And then it turned your opponent's game off for 2 turns while you had 5 fucking Digimon on board.
We're gonna be at this a while, guys. Thanks
Oh,
for
you know,
tuning in.
We're literally about to end this now.
Yeah.
Because people need to get home. It is 3:15 in the morning.
And if you didn't get ruin mode, you went into Venus one. I said the same thing.
So I hope you've all enjoyed this podcast. I think it's like
We just heard it. Venus One does the same thing.
no, we don't. But yeah, I think we're like 3.5 hours long. Maybe 2.5. I think it's more 3.5.
We started. We
Part
started.
2 of the
Quarter to
podcast.
12.
What do you call it? Room mode to be at.
People tune in to find out at the very end.
It's just
Yeah.
a time stamp, ruin mode, 3 hours long.
But no, yes, I hope you enjoyed this podcast where we talk about Digimon Banlist stuff, as we should be hopefully getting a Banlist actually soonish.
I swear to God, it better hopefully be soonish.
Yeah.
Big
But
date is the 6th, so.
yeah,
Actually, sorry. I'll go. Sorry. Finally say it. Actually, just to go back to the very start of the list, Mirage is in the same category as Ruin Mode.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Shush! I'm trying to end this. I'm trying to end the video. Please stop. But yes. So on the 6th, which was like 2 weeks ago at this point, we had the Digimon podcast. Hopefully, give some good information, stuff about products to come. Is the hopefulness there? I don't know when the next podcast will be. We're going to try and do these regular. We've been trying to do planning and stuff, but yeah. The next podcast we'll probably talk about what was on that stream, talk about details and products and stuff, as well as any reveals that have came out between now and then, which is something we didn't get to talk about with all the reveals between this and the regionals and what we thought about them all, and not just like individually, just overall. But yeah, catch you all next time. More deck profiles and that to come. Plenty. Still trying to figure out problem solving for lighting in my own house for matches, as well as at the shop. The shop's the difficult one. So yeah. Catch you all next time. Adios.